Sunlight filters through the wooden archway, shining upon the two-story wooden house of the orphanage. The orphanage director stands in the center of the lawn. All right, let me introduce someone. Starting from today, this girl will be living with you all. Dana tightly clutches the hem of her skirt with both hands. Hello everyone, I'm Dana. Please take good care of me. I clutch the apron at my chest with my right hand, my knuckles turning white from the strain. My gaze remains fixed ahead. That is the youngest daughter of the Illard family. Am I dreaming? After meeting my death at the Illard estate, I have actually returned to the day Dana entered the orphanage. What a cruel joke this is. One day ago at the Intelligence Union headquarters, light pierces through the tall, pointed windows into the hall. The head of the Intelligence Union leans back behind his desk. What wind blew you in today? To grace me with your presence? I step forward, my leather boots treading upon the wooden floor. Director, according to our agreement, you should give me a mission today. I press my right hand over my chest, my gaze sharp. You haven't forgotten, have you? The director rests his chin on one hand, the corners of his mouth turning up. Is it that day already? I suddenly lean my body forward. Director, among all the first-class agents, I am the only one who hasn't received a formal mission in over 1 week. There should be a limit to how much you ignore my abilities. The head of the Intelligence Union speaks. A formal mission? Don't worry, Leah, I haven't forgotten. And this time, it's a major mission. I hold my breath, my pupils suddenly constricting. The head of the Intelligence Union raises his hand, his index finger pointing forward. I will be heading out for tomorrow's itinerary. Complete the task I gave to Jade before I return. You can do that, right? I place my right hand over my heart, the corners of my mouth turning up. Leave it to me. I let out a cry of surprise. Go where? To the Illard family estate. I lean both hands on the table. Is the director really sending me to infiltrate the Illard family? Jade holds up a wine glass. Yeah, I've been acting all this time. With your skills, this kind of mission is only natural. I furrow my brows slightly. You're usually always mocking me, so why? The sudden praise. Jade averts his gaze. Everyone knows your strength. It's just that because the director favors you so much, we were unwilling to admit it. I clench my fists. Favoritism? I retort loudly. Searching for lost handkerchiefs? Helping lost children find their way home? If that's what you call favoritism, then I've truly had enough. Jade closes his eyes. Forget it. Think whatever you want. Didn't you say before that you knew someone from the Illard family? I snap my head around. When did I ever say such a thing? Jade says. Don't you remember? The first time you drank after becoming an adult? You mentioned things from when you were a child in the orphanage. I burst out laughing, slapping Jade hard on the shoulder. That was just drunken nonsense. How could I possibly have any connection to such a prestigious noble family? I look at the clock on the wall. Oh no, it's already this time. I have a mission tomorrow. I'm going to sleep now. I walk toward the door. See you, Jade. Thanks for the treat. Jade raises his hand. Laya? Wait a second. The sound of hurried footsteps fades away. The heavy door slams shut. Jade stands inside the room, lowering his head in silence. A silent smile spreads across his face. The Duke of the man known as the Sword of the Empire. Just as Jed said, I have an unbreakable connection with the Illard family, even though 10 years have passed. My memories are still clear. Ellard's gaze is as sharp as a blade, making a merciless decision. Of course, that past won't affect today's mission. The shadows of the trees swayed. Leah covered her mouth and nose, crouching on a thick tree trunk. Looking down at the mansion from above, the head of the Intelligence Union said, Find out who is entering and leaving the target mansion. Find out what they are talking about. Leah pondered. I thought a big figure would appear, but this atmosphere is too suspicious. The Duke's entire night order has assembled, yet the courtyard is dead silent. It doesn't look like they're welcoming guests. Leah lowered her center of gravity. What on earth are they plotting? The sound of wheels rolling came from a distance. Is that the guest? A white carriage drove through the gates. Guards stood solemnly with spears. The carriage doors on both sides opened. A mysterious cloaked figure stepped down. Duke Illard extended his hand. A smile played on the corners of his mouth. Welcome. We have been waiting for you. Leah held her breath, staring intently at the figure below. It wasn't a servant, but Duke Illard himself, welcoming them. This is definitely no ordinary guest. She suddenly kicked off the tree trunk, leaping through the air in a single bound. I must follow them immediately. A sharp blade cut through the air. A cold blade was pressed against her throat. Someone gripped a sword hilt tightly. The tip of the sword pointed right at Leah's neck. Who is it? Leah froze on the spot. Her pupils constricted suddenly. The eldest son of the Illard family. Lucio's eyes were icy. His voice had no emotion. Show yourself, or I will kill you. Leah turned her head slightly. Why did it have to be Lucio of all people at this time? I've run into the person I least wanted to see. The intel Jed gave me clearly said Lucio wouldn't be at the mansion today. That bastard gave me false info on purpose. Lucio's profile was cold. The longsword in his hand didn't tremble at all. Surrender quietly. Tell me who sent you. I might spare your life. Leah twisted her body suddenly. Her short blade clashed with the longsword. Lucio suppressed her with one hand. His strength was as heavy as iron. Is this your answer? Then, I don't need to show mercy. The blade swung down suddenly. The black mask on Leah's face fell off. Lucio saw her face clearly. His movements froze instantly. His pupils trembled violently. Why are you here? Leah covered her face. Her eyes darted away. Has he already recognized me? He couldn't possibly remember an ordinary brown-haired girl. After 10 years, there is no way he would recognize me. Leah clenched her teeth. You are the last person I want to see me like this. She turned around abruptly. Her hair traced an arc in the air. Lucio reached out hurriedly. Wait, please stop. His fingertips brushed against her fluttering long hair, but ultimately caught nothing. Leah's steps faltered. Blood blossomed across her back. Her body lurched forward. Her pupils dilated from the intense pain. Lucio. His outstretched hand froze in midair. His gaze trembled. He rushed forward. He caught the falling Leah in his arms. Wake up. Guards surrounded them with spears raised. We caught the intruder. Seize her at once. Leah suddenly coughed up a clot of blood. Warm liquid splashed onto her collar. Damn it. I was actually so careless. Lucio's eyes turned red. His expression was shattered. He cried out in a trembling voice. Leah was stunned. To think I would hear Lucio call my name. At this final moment, it actually came true. Lucio roared. Leah, please wake up. Leah's hand fell powerlessly. But did I ever tell him my name before? Lucio tightly hugged the cold body in his arms. His voice echoed in the empty courtyard. Leah. The guild leader looked down at Leah. Do you think that by acting like this, others will recognize you? He reached out his hand wearing a black glove. His fingertip poked Leah's forehead. As for me, I will never become your mentor or friend. Don't get it wrong. He lowered his voice. Remember, Leah? Never. Trust me. Leah suddenly opened her eyes, panting heavily. Sweat soaked her temples. She sat up from the bed. What is going on? Am I still alive? My heart was clearly pierced. Yet, I can't feel any pain. How can this be? Leah looked down to examine her body. Her gaze froze. She rolled out of bed. Stepping barefoot onto the wooden floor, it made a dull thud. Impossible. The old wooden bed. The torn curtains. This is the orphanage I grew sick of seeing in my childhood. She grabbed a mirror. Her fingertips turned white from the grip. If what I see in the mirror isn't a hallucination, I've returned to the past. A call came from nearby. Leah suddenly snapped out of it. Her breath hitched. She looked to her side. What's wrong? A long-haired girl was staring at her. Are you feeling unwell? You've been dazed while eating. Aren't you eating your bread? Leah pushed the tray away. I'm not very hungry today. Emily, do you want it? Emily looked surprised. Really? Can I really eat it? Thank you, Leah. Leah looked at her with a smile. The sensation of losing blood is still clear. Yet, like a dream, I've returned to the past, continuing life as if nothing happened. I simply can't believe it. The sound of leather shoes stepping on the floor approached. A boy held out his palm, a sneer on his face. Since you don't plan on eating it, then give it to me, Leah recalled. He is Thomas, the one who played king of the orphanage by relying on his size. Leah looked at him coldly. Don't be ridiculous. Why should I give my things to you? Thomas's shoulders trembled. What did you say? You dare talk back. A cold voice spoke up. Don't cause trouble here. Do you want to be scolded by the director? Thomas whipped around. Jack, who do you think you are? Meddling in my business. Jack's gaze was stern. You're the one who started the trouble. Thomas was confused. What is wrong with these brats today? Usually, they wouldn't dare say a word. He glared at the bread on the plate with gritted teeth. Emily cried out. Watching helplessly as the bread was snatched away, Thomas grabbed the bread, turned and ran. Taking it. Leah suddenly stood up. That despicable bastard! Stop right there. Emily reached out and grabbed a corner of Leah's clothes. Her fingertips tightened with force. You're not actually going to go settle the score with Thomas, are you? Leah turned her head back. What? Whispers began to spread through the surroundings. What is wrong with Aya today? Is she not afraid of Thomas anymore? What if she gets beaten up? She looks like a completely different person than before. Leah fell into deep thought. My past self in the orphanage was indeed weak and timid. Changing too much overnight isn't a good idea. I should keep a low profile for now. She smiled. You're right, Emily. Be careful. Thank you for worrying about me. Jack stood in the back, watching Leah's back. A dull roar echoed from her stomach. Leah clutched her belly. She slumped down beside the water bucket. So hungry, I don't even have the strength to clean anymore. No misunderstanding matters right now. I really should have chased him earlier and snatched the bread back. Jack's voice drifted over. Idiot. Leah jerked her head up. Jack had his arms crossed, leaning diagonally against the doorframe. Why did you act like a fool? Giving up your bread to a guy like that? Leah knit her brows. So, are you saying this is all my fault? Jack was expressionless. That's right. If you hadn't given the bread away in the first place, none of this would have happened. Leah clenched her fists. Arrogant brat. I really want to punch him. Let's just end this. Jack reached out his hand, holding a piece of bread in his palm. Fine. Just take this. Leah stared at the bread in front of her. Is this for me? Jack said. If you don't want it, throw it away. Leah cupped the bread with both hands. I'm definitely not throwing it away. She lowered her head. Back when we were in the orphanage, we hardly ever spoke, but now, I suddenly feel very grateful. Leah looked up. The corners of her mouth turned up. Jack, you're a good kid too. Jack's pupils trembled slightly. You really are strange today. Urgent footsteps came from outside the door. The director's voice rang out. Everyone, gather in the hall. The new child has arrived. Just like that, on the day I returned to life, back to the day I returned to the Eller Duke. Dana, the youngest daughter of the Duke's family, arrived at Teasel Orphanage. Could all of this really just be a coincidence? Leah gripped the edge of her skirt tightly. Her knuckles turned white from the strain. What on earth is going on? Dana stood in the middle of the crowd. Looking around blankly, the surrounding children whispered. Their gazes were cold. Another mouth to feed. We're already starving as it is. Dana hung her head low. Her hands were twisted tightly together. Shadows loomed over her face. Leah's pupils shook. If Dana had never appeared here in the past, Duke Illard would not have destroyed the orphanage. I wouldn't have been reduced to a beggar overnight. Suffering through all that torture, she released her grip on her skirt. If I blamed everything on Dana, perhaps I'd feel better, but blaming her won't change anything. More importantly, an innocent child shouldn't bear this responsibility. Leah stepped forward. Dana, how old are you? Dana opened her hands. A smile bloomed on her face. I'm 4 years old. Leah took that thin, small hand. You actually remember your own age. You've grown up. He led Dana forward. All right, let's wash your face first. Dana followed obediently behind him. Okay, Leah thought deeply. Perhaps this is the opportunity. The chance to change the future for Dana and me. Dana sat on the wooden bucket. Her arms were raised high. Leah took off her clothes for her. Great. Well done. Her hands entered the basin. She forcefully wrung out the soaked towel. Let's wipe here first. It's not cold, right? Dana squeezed one eye shut. Her cheeks puffed out slightly. It's not cold, Leah said, looking at the child before her. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly. Heavens! It wasn't until the dust was wiped away that she realized this child had silver hair and blue eyes. Anyone could see she possessed the bloodline of the Elord family. The director calls us stupid every day. In fact, he is the stupidest one. To actually treat a noble child as an orphan, Leah let out a sigh. All right, Dana. Next, let's wash your feet. Her movements suddenly froze. Her gaze fell upon Dana's feet. Those little feet were covered in scars. Dana flusteredly waved her hands. She shook her head repeatedly. It's okay, Leah said, softening her voice. It's fine, I'm not angry. You can tell me the truth. Dana looked up. Really? You won't yell at me, Mama? Leah gazed at her. Of course not. Dana's fingers uneasily fiddled with the corner of her clothes. She whispered softly. Actually, it hurts a lot. Leah held up Dana's foot. As expected, she was afraid of being scolded. She showed a smile. Don't worry. Sister will make it stop hurting soon. Dana's eyes widened. Will you help blow on it for me? Leah shook her head. No, I will do something even better than that. A blue light burst forth from her palm. The light enveloped Dana's feet. The scars dissipated within the light and shadow. The light faded away. Dana's feet returned to being smooth and clean. Leah withdrew her hand. How is it? It doesn't hurt anymore, right? Dana suddenly leaned in close. Her eyes were sparkling. Sister is so cool. This is simply miraculous. Leah scratched her head sheepishly. Oh, it's nothing. Luckily, I learned various magic tricks from my master, although I was born with weak mana and could barely use it once. With just one healing spell, my mana should have been completely exhausted. Leah lowered her head, looking at her own hands. Originally, there should have been only a trace of mana left. Why does it feel so abundant? This isn't right. Dana suddenly lunged forward. She hugged Leah's neck tightly. She held Leah firmly, pressing her cheek against her shoulder. Thank you, sister. Dana is so happy now. Leah froze in place. The sense of chaos from yesterday until now gradually dissipated. Her racing heart calmed down. She raised her hand, gently stroking the back of Dana's head. Sister is also very happy to have met Dana. In another week, Duke Ellard will lead the knights to arrive and search for the missing noble descendant. In my memory, to sell Dana to slave traders. The director lied to the knights. Ultimately, the lie was exposed. The entire orphanage suffered the Duke's wrath. If I can take good care of Dana this week and gather evidence of the director's corruption to give to the Duke, the future will definitely be different. Night shrouded the orphanage. Starlight filtered through the narrow window. Dana curled up under the covers. Sister, can you read me a book? Leah turned onto her side. There are no books here. Can't you sleep? Dana nodded. Yes, Leah said. Then let me tell you an old story. Dana asked in confusion. Sister. She pointed at the red stone on Leah's neck. What is this? Leah pinched the pendant on her chest. It's beautiful, isn't it? I was wearing it when I was left at the orphanage gates. I always felt like I shouldn't take it off. Her eyes suddenly widened. When did it break? I had always kept it as a keepsake to find my parents. I had cherished it with great care. And now it has actually cracked. She gripped the pendant tightly. Her body trembled slightly. Dana stared at the cracked red stone. It's still beautiful even if it's cracked. Just like you, sister. Leah was stunned. Am I beautiful? Dana nodded vigorously. You are very beautiful, sister. Super beautiful. You're sparkling. Leah lowered her eyes. No one had ever said that before. She had never felt this way before. The corners of her mouth turned up slightly. Thank you, Dana. You're the first person to call me beautiful. Memories flowed back. Young Leo stood before the mirror. Back then, I always thought I was beautiful. Every time I washed my face and looked in the mirror, I would be stunned by that face. But no one around me ever offered praise. Was I just full of myself? If I were truly beautiful, surely at least one person would have said so. I used to think everyone was just jealous of me. That's why I ignored it. Until I heard those words, a girl said. Annie's hair color is so pretty. I wish I had that color too. It really is special. Leah leaned in toward her. What do you think of my hair color? Isn't it very unique to... It's nice, the girl said, stopping in her tracks. She turned to look at Leah. Your hair. Her gaze was cold. Your hair is indeed very smooth, but it's just an ordinary brown. Leah stood frozen in place. A water bucket tipped over on the ground. Water spilled everywhere. The girl asked Leah with concern. Are you okay? Leah knelt on the ground. How could my hair be brown? Could it be that the way I see myself is completely different from how others see me? Leah looked around. Hey, friends, in your eyes. My hair. What color are my eyes? A girl said. You have brown hair and brown eyes. Jack nodded slightly. Your eyes are dark brown. Your hair is a little lighter in color. Leah stood alone under the moonlight. Everyone said the same thing. So are my eyes really that strange? Even so, I still couldn't let it go. I even went to ask a painter. Leah lay on her side on the bed. Her fingers lightly stroked Dana's silver hair. Those internal conflicts are all in the past. Now I have more important matters to handle. The long table was filled with people dining. Cutlery clinked against porcelain plates. Dana put down her empty bowl. Sister Im finished eating. Leah was holding a piece of bread in her hand. Are you finished already? Dana, you have quite an appetite. Dana lowered her head. She stared at the tabletop. Her stomach let out a faint growl. Leah watched her. Are you not full yet? She's still young, so it's normal to have a large appetite. Leah handed over the bread in her hand. Dana, you should eat this too. Dana looked up abruptly. Her eyes were sparkling. Really? Thank you, sister. Leah was lost in thought. Actually, I'm still a bit hungry too. But I'm already an adult? Of course I can endure this little bit of hunger. Leah held her stomach. Her body swayed on the grass. I can't do this. I'm going to starve to death. I originally planned to do the laundry and fetch water. I didn't expect my body to be this weak. I can't even sense the mana within my body. If the orphanage's water supply system were a bit better, I wouldn't have to suffer like this. Dana ran ahead. She pointed at the shimmering light in the distance. Sister, look quickly. There's water over there. Leah leaned against a tree trunk, panting. As long as Dana is happy, it's fine. Nothing else matters. Sunlight fell upon the lake's surface. The ripples refracted a blinding light. Leah slumped down by the stream. We've finally reached the clearing. She looked at Dana. Be good and stay right here. Wait until I finish the laundry. Okay. Dana nodded vigorously. Okay, Leah picked up the filth-covered clothes. No matter how I look at them, they're still filthy. I need to finish washing them quickly and go back. A strange noise came from deep within the woods. She whipped her head to the side. What was that sound? A wooden sword sliced through the air. It made a dull, heavy sound. Jack gripped the hilt with both hands. He was practicing in a forest clearing. Leah hid behind a tree trunk to observe. So it's Jack. I didn't realize he had been secretly practicing in a place like this since he was a child. He is practicing with great focus. His movements are precise. His mind is clear of distractions. He has never received formal training. As expected, Jack is no ordinary person, one of the future 3 greatest knights of the Empire, a swordmaster destined to awaken, and more importantly, Dana's fated loyal knight. Jack put away his wooden sword. He raised his hand to wipe the sweat from his forehead. Leah suddenly pulled her body back. She grabbed Dana to stop her. Oh no, we must hide. My stealth talent is perfect. There's no way it'll be discovered. Jack's gaze turned toward the tree trunk. I've already seen you. Come out. Leah's body froze. Cold sweat slid down her temples. She slowly shuffled out from the shadows of the tree. A smile was plastered on her face. You found me? Jack's expression was cold. I knew from the start. Leah scratched her hair awkwardly. If I had known this, I should have just come out and said hello. Right, Dana? Her stomach suddenly let out a loud rumble. Leah clutched her abdomen. Why now of all times? Jack let out a soft sigh. He looked down at Dana. Why? Did you give all your food to this brat again today? For someone so small? She eats more than anyone. Dana's eyes turned red. Tears welled up in her eyes. She pressed her lips tightly together. Leah waved her hands awkwardly. Jack, what are you saying? A child obviously needs to eat more to grow tall. Dana stuck her tongue out and made a face at Jack. Leah thought to herself, this is the young lady you will be loyal to in the future. Be a bit more polite. Jack threw a piece of bread over. Stop talking nonsense. Take this. Leah held the bread. Isn't this the lunch you were saving? Jack turned his face away. Just eat it. If you don't want to keep relying on my charity, then take better care of your own portion. He pointed at Dana. And don't you even think about stealing my food? Dana puffed out her chest. I would never. Leah watched as the two of them started bickering again. He took a bite of the bread. Jack, have you been practicing here all by yourself? Jack swung his arms. I'm just playing around? Leah stared into his eyes. You actually really want to become a knight, right? Jack stopped his movements. Do you think commoners like us can easily become knights? I'm going to be a mercenary? Although there's no honor in it, at least the pay is high. Leah rested her chin on her hand. To be honest, I think you will eventually become a knight. Jack turned his head sharply. What do you know? You have no idea how hard that is. Leah nodded. I know it's hard, but as long as you work hard, you can do it, right? She flashed a smile. Jack, you really do want to become a knight, am I right? If you keep working hard like this, it will definitely come true. Jack froze in place. A slight blush crept onto his cheeks. His gaze drifted away. He picked up the 2 water buckets. He walked on without saying a word. His steps were steady. Leah held Dana's hand. Watching Jack's retreating back, although Hayes always complaining, he has actually been taking care of Dana all along. Hayes just not good at expressing himself. If it weren't to protect her, he would never have rushed forward when no one else would. That is the spirit of a knight. Protecting the weak. A sharp pain struck her. Leah looked at her feet. She had walked too fast. She had a cramp. Dana tugged at the corner of Leah's clothes. Sister, I'm tired. Can you hold me? Leah endured the pain. Forcing a reluctant smile. Okay, I'll carry you. Wait a minute. Jack stopped in his tracks. He turned back to look at the two of them. He questioned loudly. Are you trying to get yourself killed? You haven't eaten anything just now? Dana shrank her neck back. But I want to be with sister. Jack turned around abruptly. Squat down, hurry up, and get on. Leah was at a loss for what to do. Jack's tone was blunt. You hold her? I'll carry you on my back. Leah waved her hands. What kind of ridiculous idea is this? Even if you're very strong, it's impossible for you to carry both of us at the same time. Her eyes widened. He actually managed to do it. Leah let out a long sigh of relief. Luckily, we didn't run into anyone. Thank you, Jack. That must have been very hard just now. Jack jerked his face away. Avoiding her gaze, it's nothing. Leah stood in the afterglow of the sunset. She was smiling. I just wanted to say, he is a good boy. She took Dana's hand. All right, Dana, let's go inside now. Dana responded while hopping along. Okay, sister. Heavy footsteps stopped behind them. Hey, you too. Leah trembled violently. She turned her head stiffly. The director's shadow loomed over the two of them. At this hour, where do you think you're going? Dana screamed and lunged into Lias's arms. What a scary old man. I don't like him. Leah looked panicked. Of all times, they had to be caught right at curfew by the director. I spoke up and said, we were just going to do the laundry. The director looked down at me. How old are you this year? I froze in place. I am 8 years old. Why ask this? The director rubbed his beard with his fingers. The corners of his mouth curled upward. Very good. No problem. Now get lost and get inside. I want to let you off a second time. I stuck my tongue out at the director's back. That guy must be going to get dead drunk again. Dana poked her head out. Sister, has that scary old man gone? I patted Dana's head. Hayes already far away. Don't be afraid. Let's go inside and sleep now. Okay, Dana nodded. I want to sleep with sister. In my previous life, on the day Duke Gillard visited the orphanage, he rescued Dana and Jack, who were locked in the attic. Then he swiftly executed the director. He punished this orphanage. I tightly held Dana's hand. That day is not far off. To protect Dana and the other children, I must find evidence to get rid of the director. Duke Ellard stood by the window. The moonlight traced his cold silhouette. An attendant reported, "Your Grace, we have searched throughout the territory, including all orphanages and back alleys. We still haven't been able to find the young Miss." Duke Ellard turned his head slightly. "Expand the search area." He waved his arm. "From now on, thoroughly investigate every ship docked in neighboring countries. A few days ago, Dana went missing during the festival. I thought she had just wandered off and would be found quickly." Duke Ellard clenched his fist. His knuckles turned white from the force. "My friend, do you feel this way too?" He spoke up. "Taz, I heard you haven't eaten or slept for several days. Are you protesting?" Taz suddenly straightened his back. He pressed his palm against his chest. "I just want to find the young miss as soon as possible," Duke Ellard said. "Yes, we must find her no matter what. But in your current state, you are useless." Taz lowered his head. His gaze wavered. "I will reflect on my actions." Another lieutenant watched him in silence. His eyes were cold. "I originally just wanted to spread fake news, saying he was removed from the young Mrs. Guard detail to cause him a little trouble." The lieutenant showed a dark smile. "Things have developed beyond expectations. Taz has completely lost the Duke's trust." Duke Ellard turned around. "Taz, follow me to the west. The area there is wider. Sid, you start tracking from the east. Also, notify Count Marietta to meet us in the west." Taz and Sid spoke at the same time. "Understood." Late at night in the orphanage main building, moonlight spilled over the roof. Dana curled up in the blankets. Her breathing was steady and calm. I quietly pushed open the door. The floorboards made a faint sound. I walked light-footedly toward the end of the hallway. I inserted a metal hairpin into the keyhole. With a click, the lock cylinder turned. I pushed open the heavy wooden door. My leather boots stepped into the darkness. I exhaled a long breath. I looked around the empty office. It's been a long time since I snuck in like this. I walked toward the desk. Let's see what the director is really hiding. My fingers flipped through the pages. The rustling sound echoed in the room. Ridiculous ledgers for food and water costs, and even toys. The ledgers were full of traces of embezzlement. But the director's secrets are definitely not limited to this. I closed my eyes. I must focus my mind. Utilize the flow of mana. Searching for anything suspicious, suddenly, blue light explodes beneath my feet. Found it. I lean down. I pull back the heavy carpet with both hands. There is something wrong with this carpet. This is an item with cognitive interference magic. Why would something this expensive appear in a dilapidated orphanage? I grip the edge of the floorboards, applying pressure with my fingertips. Just what kind of secret is hidden beneath here? A heavy wooden box is revealed. I hold my breath. Found it. I swallow hard. I reach out to touch the latch. The wooden box slowly opens. I take a thick ledger out of the box. Compared to the ones on the desk, these are the key. What kind of shady business needs to be hidden this deeply? I flip through the pages. This is a record of all the children in the orphanage. Why do these names look so familiar? My pupils suddenly contract. I remember now. Those names written next to them. Back when I was an intelligence agent, these names belonged to the criminals whose slave auctions shocked the empire. I grit my teeth. That bastard? He has been colluding with kidnappers all along, selling the children to the slave market. Calm down. First, I need to copy the ledger and the transaction records. I press both hands onto the pages. Mana converges in my palms. An eerie blue light covers the entire record. I will leave the copy here and take the original to Duke Ellard as evidence. As long as I can hold out until Duke Ellard arrives, they will find out sooner or later. Blood drips onto the floor. Splashing into dark red blossoms, I freeze. My fingertips touch the corner of my lips. A sticky sensation spreads between my fingers. I cover my mouth and nose. My body cannot handle the intense consumption of mana, but I cannot collapse here. I must erase all traces. I cannot let the director find out someone sneaked in. A glimmer of mana flickers at my fingertips. The bloodstains vanish in the light. I must hide the evidence. Well, I absolutely cannot reveal my identity before the Duke arrives. I wipe the blood from the corner of my mouth. This is my goal. A few days later, the orphanage hall is bustling with noise. I hold a rag and wipe the window frame. My gaze looks out through the glass into the distance. A voice calls from behind, calling my name, Leah. I turn my head. "Good morning, Annie. Did you sleep well?" Annie nods. "I slept very well. What about you? You've looked very pale lately. Are you really okay?" I force a smile. "It was just a cold, and I've already recovered." Annie sighs in relief. "Really? That's good." I clench my fists. I had a high fever after infiltrating the director's office. Now, I've recovered enough to use simple magic. I tilt my head and smile. "Thank you for your concern." The door is kicked open roughly. The director shouts, pointing at the two of us. You useless brats. Slacken off again. Stop the chit-chat immediately. Get lost and go clean. Annie runs to the corner with her head down. Yes. Sorry. The director irritably ruffles his hair, cursing under his breath. Damn it, my head is about to explode. Duke Ellard. Impossible. It absolutely cannot be him. I suddenly widen my eyes. Is he finally here? Duke Ellard. The director's finger suddenly points at me. Bring that new girl over here. Do I have to repeat myself? Move. Right now. Leah was running. Her footsteps echoed on the stone tile floor. What should I do? Should I run away now? No. If I miss the chance to meet the Duke, if they take Dana away now, it will surely be like the past. They will lock her in the attic to hide her from the Duke, although the search party will eventually find her. But by then, the Duke's wrath will fall upon all the orphans. I must stop this outcome at all costs. Leah pushed the door open, gasping for breath. Dana was huddled in the corner. Her eyes were red. Sister, she said, her hands deathly tight on her apron. The fabric was covered in filthy mud stains. Leah rushed to her side. Dana, what happened? Dana sobbed. Sorry, I fell down. Even though sister washed me so clean, now it's all dirty. Leah reached out to stroke Dana's cheek. It's all right. Don't cry, she said, pulling Dana into her arms. You don't need to feel sad about this. Everyone falls down. She cupped Dana's face. If the clothes are dirty, they can be washed again. No more crying. Understand? Dana stopped her sobbing. Okay, sister. Heavy boots shattered the silence. The director strode into the room. Why are you so slow? Bring her here quickly. His gaze fell on the two huddled together. So you were hiding here? He reached out with his broad palm. Now that I've found you, stop dawdling. Come here immediately. Leah held Dana tightly. I can't let them take her away like this. Even if I'm the only one locked up, I must protect her. Jack took a step across. Blocking the way in front of Leah, he looked directly at the director. His eyes were cold and fearless. The children are scared. Jack turned his head. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Leah held Dana tightly. I'm fine. The director's facial muscles twitched violently. Veins bulged on his forehead. You insolent brat. Are you looking for death? He swung his arm suddenly. A dull impact sound tore through the air. Blood splattered on the ground. Leah screamed. Jack's weight caused the wooden stairs to creak sharply. The three were thrown into the secret room. They crashed heavily onto the floor. The director stood by the door. Shadows covered half of his face. Arrogant brats. Just rot away in here. Leah suddenly turned her head. Her pupils trembled in the darkness. The heavy wooden door slammed shut completely. The lock clicked into place. The last sliver of light was swallowed by darkness. Leah lifted Dana's face. Dana, are you hurt? Dana shook her head. I'm okay, sister. What about you? Leah said. Don't worry about me. She rushed toward the figure on the ground. Jack, are you okay? Jack's eyes were tightly shut. Red, swollen finger marks remained on his cheek. Lia's fingertips trembled. Oh no. Hayes lost consciousness. The injury is severe. We can't leave him behind. No matter how we're going to get out of here. A beam of light pierced the darkness. Lia suddenly turned her head. Her gaze locked onto a gap high up. There, her hands gripped the edge of the wooden board tightly. Her fingertips turned white from the exertion. Wood splinters pierced her skin. Leah desperately shook the sealed window frame. Jack's condition is very bad. Dana was frightened. The Duke will find this place sooner or later, but I don't know what will happen before then. We must escape as soon as possible. Blood seeped from Leah's fingertips. She gripped the edge of the wooden board with all her might. Please, even just a small gap. The sound of wood breaking was piercing. The entire wooden board fell off as expected. Dust danced in the beam of light. Lia looked down. The opening was large enough for a person to crawl through. Outside was a lush canopy of trees. The sunlight stung her eyes. Her hands braced against the windowsill. If I make too much noise, I might be heard. The director will be the first to notice. The only way... Only Dana stared at those injured hands. Sister, your hands. Leah stroked Dana's head. I'll be right back. I will bring your father here. I promise, she said, forcing a faint smile. Before I return, you must take good care of our brother. Understand? Dana suddenly lunged toward the window. Her arms reached out in desperation. Sister Daunt, Leah jumped down. Her skirt fluttered violently in the wind. Duke Ellard stood deep within the dense forest. His gaze swept across the desolate building. I can't believe there's an orphanage in these mountains. The Knight Commander of the Bellis Grand Duchy, Bianca Marietta reported. Your Grace, we have searched this area and found no suspicious signs. Duke Ellard nodded slightly. Good work. Bring the director here first. Bianca bowed her head to receive the order. Understood. The director rubbed his hands together. Fine sweat broke out on his forehead. I had no idea such noble guests would visit. He pointed to the side. All the children are here. As you requested, I have gathered all the children from the orphanage. The children huddled by the edge of the field. Their bodies couldn't stop trembling. Bianca leaned closer to Duke Eli. She lowered her voice. Your Grace. Although we expected the young lady might not be here, the director's attitude toward the children, and the way he avoids answering questions, don't you find it very suspicious? Duke Ellard turned his face. I think so too. He walked toward the crowd. Children? Have any of you seen a girl with silver hair and blue eyes? The children shuddered violently. They exchanged glances. The director pointed at the children and roared. Answer quickly. The children shook their heads repeatedly. I don't know. I've never seen a girl like that. A cold curve formed at the corner of the director's mouth. I spent half my fortune to install anti-detection artifacts in the attic and the vault. Even if it's Duke Ellard, he won't be able to find evidence easily. Duke E took a step closer. If you lie, you will face severe punishment. The director pressed his hand to his chest. I am telling the truth. I really haven't seen a girl like that. A loud noise suddenly exploded. Bianca snapped her head around. Your Grace, there is an abnormally strong magic fluctuation. This is definitely no ordinary phenomenon. Duke Ellard raised his palm. A faint light shimmered at his fingertips. I felt it too. His voice dropped to freezing point. Director, the director shuddered violently. Cold sweat slid down his sideburns. I am here, Duke Ellard said. May we take a look inside the orphanage? Bianca shouted loudly. Your Grace, I found her. Over here, she knelt on the ground. Why is there a child in a place like this? The magic here is ridiculously strong. To think we didn't notice it before? He supported the back of Lias's head. The magic power was completely twisted and out of control. If this continues, his life will be in danger. Action must be taken immediately. He extended his palm. His fingertips touched the violent magic. Then let's do it. A call came from a distance. Papa, Duke Ellard's pupils constricted suddenly. Dana was leaning against the attic window. Tears streamed from her eyes. Papa Duke Ellard turned his head sharply. Dana, his expression was grave. Stay where you are. Don't move, he ordered the knights. Go up immediately and rescue Dana. The knight bowed his head to receive the order. As you command, Leah suddenly opened her eyes. Her body shuddered violently. She let out a short gasp. Bianca supported her shoulders. Child, are you awake? Leah looked around. This was his. Her gaze moved upward. Her body froze. Her breath hitched. Duke Ellard stood in the light and shadow. His cloak swayed in the wind. His gaze was profound. Leah clenched her fists tightly. Thank goodness. He found Dana. Leah suddenly knelt before Duke Ellard. Your Grace, please save us. My friend Jack is in a dangerous situation up there. He and Dana are locked in together. Bianca pointed her finger at the director. Is this the man who did it? The director's body went limp. He was shaking uncontrollably. Leah said loudly. Yes, he has always been cruel. He even wanted to sell us all as slaves. The director's pupils quivered. His face turned deathly pale. Bianca's brow furrowed deeply. Slaves? The director shook his head frantically. That's a lie. He stared fixatedly at Leah. This wench. How dare she lie to the Duke? Bianca suddenly grabbed the director's wrist. She raised her boot. Stepping heavily on the director's back, pinning him firmly to the ground, Bianca looked at Leah. Child. Are you all right? Leah responded in a low voice. Yes. I'm fine. Nearby, the children called out loudly to Leah. You're safe. Where did you go? Duke Ellard turned his face. His gaze was cold. Be quiet. He looked down at everyone. Unless you wish to receive your punishment early? The children pulled their shoulders in. Their faces were pale. Their bodies wouldn't stop trembling. Leah clenched her teeth. He has already seen those children. He has even interrogated them. Progress is faster than I expected. I can't relax yet. I took out a stack of papers. I must use the evidence I hid last time to prove everything. Leah presented the ledger with both hands. Your Grace, please look at this. This is the secret ledger where the director recorded the sale of all the children. The director lay on the ground, his pupils dilated with horror. How did you get that? Emily's voice was firm. Not only are there records of slave trafficking here, but also evidence of embezzlement and other corrupt deals. Leah held the ledger high. The director never treated us as human beings. The reason the children ostracized Dana was because they were being threatened. Duke Ellard lowered his eyes. I see. It is just as you said. The children told me. They had never seen anyone like Dana before. It was just because they were too afraid. Leah gripped the ledger tightly. In order to survive, I had no choice but to do this. I beg of you, please show some mercy to the children. The children knelt behind her, their bodies curled into balls. Duke Ellard, we are sorry. Please forgive us. Duke Ellard took the ledger. Why beg for mercy? Did I say I was going to kill you? I will not harm you. Stop crying. Leah froze in place. Tears hung on her cheeks. Then you mean... Duke Ellard looked down at Leah. It means I am willing to forgive you. Leah broke into a smile through her tears. Thank you, Duke Ellard turned his face away. No need to thank me. Protecting children and upholding justice is my duty. More importantly, the one who should be judged is someone else. The director trembled all over. Cold sweat slid down the tip of his nose. Duke Ellard waved his arm. Seize him and take him away. Interrogate him immediately. 2 guards suddenly grabbed the director's shoulders. Lifting him off the ground, the director struggled desperately. Duke Ellard, you cannot do this. Leah breathed a long sigh of relief. I can finally rest easy. As long as Jack and Dana are safe. Boots stepped through the grass. The sound of footsteps was hurried. Dana came running. She crashed into Leah's arms. Sister Leah hugged Dana. It's so good that you're okay. Are you hurt anywhere? You must have been so scared just now. Dana leaned against Leah's shoulder. Fine, sister. What about you? The adjutant looked at the 2 hugging. That picky young lady has become so gentle now. That we could be safe and sound here is all thanks to that girl. Duke Ellard remained silent. His gaze lingered on Leah. He reached out his hand. Dana, come here for a moment. It's time to go home. Dana let go of Leah. She ran toward Duke Ellard. Papa Duke Ellard caught Dana steadily. He pulled her into his arms. I wanted to scold you, but since you didn't cry and showed such strength, I'll let it slide this time. Dana looked up and smiled. All right, Bianca. Walked to Duke Ellard's side. Duke, it's a long journey. Considering the current state of the orphanage, it's best to set off as soon as possible. Leah lowered her eyelashes. Shadows shrouded her face. I really have to part with Dana now. Although I expected this, I still feel sad. Dana asked Duke Ellard, Papa, isn't Sister Leah coming with us? Duke Ellard turned sideways. If you wish. Then let's go together. Dana hugged Leah, looking very happy. Leah froze in place. No, the plot can't deviate any further. She spoke up hurriedly. Jack should be the one to go with her, not me. The person who was with Dana was Jack. He even got injured to save Dana. Duke Ellard lowered his eyes. Fine. When that child wakes up, I will talk to him. But I'm asking for your wish. Do you not want to come with me? Leah looked at Jack lying on the ground. I know. This is an excessive favor for someone like me, but I feel like I'm stealing Jack's place. Dana gripped the corner of Leah's clothes. Sister, do you not want to go? Leah looked down at Dana's moist eyes. I'll go. Dana's eyes sparkled. Really, she threw herself into Leah's arms once more. Leah, I love you. I want to be with you forever. Leah stroked Dana's head. First I need to soothe her. Then I'll find a way to return Jack to his proper position. As for my life after that, I'll just take it one step at a time. The afterglow of the setting sun filled the forest. Spots of light danced between the shadows of the trees. Duke Ellard stood by the fence. The carriage will arrive shortly. Wait here for a moment, Taz. Stepped forward. He placed his right hand over his heart in a salute. Miss, it is wonderful to see that you are safe. He looked toward Leah. Little girl, thank you for assisting the miss. Leah waved her hands awkwardly. I only did what I should have done. Toss' hand reached into his pocket. Duke, I am willing to bear the price for failing to protect the miss. Please accept this heirloom left by my father. He held up a necklace with both hands. Even if I am stripped of my knightly title, I vow to protect the miss with my life. Duke Ellard looked at him. Fool, besides someone of high birth like you, no one treats a parental heirloom as a mere token. Take back the heirloom. Go home and worry about your punishment there. Taz stood frozen on the spot. But Duke? Leah stared at Taz's figure. Ripples stirred deep within her memories. I have definitely seen this man somewhere before. Wearing a gemstone ornament split in two by a sword. Taz ceding. The sound of wheels approached from the distance. A knight walked quickly toward Duke Ellard. The carriage is ready. We can depart at any time. A luxurious carriage stopped in the woods. The carvings on the carriage body shimmered in the light. Leah looked up and watched. It's magnificent. Duke Ellard turned to board the carriage. Leah pointed at herself. Am I supposed to ride in this carriage too? Duke Ellard lowered his eyes and looked down. Worried it's too crowded? Leah shook her head frantically. It's not like that. Duke Ellard stepped onto the footboard. There is more than enough room for a brat of your size. Don't worry. Dana grabbed Leah's hand. Sister, let's sit together. Leah took a deep breath. Okay, I'll go up first. The interior decorations were even more ornate. The velvet cushions gave off a faint shimmer. Her own tattered clothes seemed completely out of place. She curled up in a corner. Her hands tightly gripped the hem of her skirt. Sitting in such a luxury carriage really makes one feel uneasy. The coachman flicked the whip. Depot. Leah looked out the window. Her companions were waving at her. Memories of her previous life surfaced in her mind. Back then, I could only watch from afar as my enemies drove away in their carriage. Leah gripped her clothes tightly. Her knuckles turned white from the force. Since it has come to this, I will start a new life. Duke Ellard broke the silence. What is your name? Leah looked up abruptly. What? Duke? Ellard's gaze was deep. I asked for your name and your age. Leah avoided his gaze. My name is Laya. I have no surname. I am 8 years old. Duke Ellard stroked the hair of the sleeping Dana. Then I will ask one last thing. Did you already know Dana's true identity? And do you know who I am? Laya straightened her back. Her breath hitched in the silence. Hayes looking at me with a strange look in his eyes. Is he doubting me? Duke Ellard leaned forward. If we hadn't seen you fall from the attic back then, if you were just an ordinary child, we would never have given you a second look. He held out the evidence. Asking us for help in despair? Her thin frame was covered in marks of abuse. Just what kind of situation was it? That would make a child try so hard. Leah kept her head lowered. I don't know the specific details, but I could feel that Dana was someone important. Duke Ellard pressed further. How did you steal the evidence? And how did you know about the secrets in the director's office? Leah looked away. I was responsible for cleaning the director's office, and I discovered those things by chance. In the orphanage, I overheard a conversation between the director and a stranger, and that's how I found out what was happening. The corners of Duke Ellard's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a cold sneer. You really are a brat who likes to look for trouble. Leah shuddered suddenly. Does he think I'm too cunning? What if he regrets taking me with him? Laya straightened her back. I just felt that the children's safety was the most important thing. Duke Ellard's gaze swept over her thin frame. Even though you are just a child yourself? Leah lowered her head. Please believe me. I made this decision to protect everyone. The Duke is even more perceptive than I imagined. The carriage sped through the forest, gradually disappearing down the road. The lights of an inn at the end came into view. The coachman pulled the reins. Lord Duke, we have arrived at the inn. Duke Ellard stepped down from the carriage. Take the children to their rooms to wash up first, and then call for the countess. The housekeeper bowed. Yes, my lord. Bianca stepped forward. Were you looking for me, your excellency? Duke Ellard turned his head. Thank you for coming all this way. Please give my regards to the Grand Duke. The corners of Bianca's mouth turned up slightly. I only came here to help. More importantly, what did you want to see me about? Duke Ellard lowered his eyes. To the countess. This might be an unreasonable request. Persuade the children to prepare for washing up, and could you please stay by their side and look after them? Bianca let out a soft laugh. You are actually hesitating over such a small matter. There is no need to worry. The children's safety is the primary task. Duke Ellard nodded slightly. I am most grateful, Bianca said. Come to think of it, this is actually a good opportunity. There are just some things I need to confirm. Duke Ellard was taken aback. What? Bianca gave a brilliant smile. It's nothing, don't mind it. There were 2 cups of hot milk on the tray. White steam rose slowly. Leah held up the cup, the heat blowing against her face. A hot bath and milk with honey. This is all too luxurious. She pointed at Dana. There is something on the corner of your mouth. Dana pointed back with a laugh. You too, sister. The two sat across from each other holding their cups, their laughter echoing in the room. The door was gently pushed open. Bianca stood at the door. Excuse me, young ladies. She was holding a stack of folded clothes. Are you finished washing? I've brought a change of clothes. She looked at the 2 maids. Thank you for your hard work. You may leave. Bianca stared at Leah. So, you are Laya? Laya's heart skipped a beat. She's been by the Duke's side ever since the orphanage. Yet she isn't wearing the Night Order's uniform. This inexplicable sense of familiarity. Just who is she? Bianca was smiling. All right, hurry and change so you can go downstairs to eat. Her smile suddenly froze. Her gaze fell on Leah's exposed arm. She moved with lightning speed. 5 fingers tightly gripped Laya's slender wrist. Was this also done by the director? Laya's eyes darted away. Indeed, it was Bianca's teeth clenched. Just as expected. That despicable scum. I really want to help, but I don't have a talent for healing magic. Once we return to the dukedom, I will immediately summon a priest. Laya looked flustered. That's far too luxurious for someone like me, Bianca interrupted her. No need to refuse. It's only natural to treat the injured. Leah froze. She is getting angry for my sake. She is worrying about me, as if the pain were her own. What a gentle and upright person. She spoke up and asked, Excuse me, are you a mage? You mentioned healing magic just now, Bianca responded. You might not understand yet. I am a magic swordsman. Leah froze in place. A magic swordsman. A magic swordsman? That title is by no means common. It means she is a knight who has mastered high-level aura? If that's the case, could it be that she is... Leah held her breath. May I ask what your name is? Bianca placed her hand over her heart and bowed slightly. My name is Bianca. Marietta. Leah's pupils shook. Bianca Marietta? The illegitimate daughter of a viscount who came from humble beginnings, relying on superb swordsmanship and overwhelming combat magic? She rose all the way to become a countess, a legendary figure who achieved great military distinction in the war. She is someone I have admired for a long time. Laya clenched her fists. That legendary hero is standing right in front of me. She bowed her head in thanks. When I fell from the attic, it was you who saved me, right? Lady Bianca. Thank you very much. Bianca straightened her clothes. I only did what I should have done. Now, is your curiosity satisfied? A thick towel dropped down. Warmth instantly enveloped her whole body. Bianca reached out her finger. Since we've met each other, let's get ready for dinner. Dana and Laya smiled at each other. Okay. Bianca pushed open the heavy main door. Your Grace, the young misses have been brought here. Leah led Dana into the dining room. The two of them stopped under the light. Duke Ellard sat at the end of the long table. Thank you for your hard work, Countess. Bianca nodded slightly. It was my duty. I didn't do much. Dana nimbly climbed onto a chair. She patted the empty seat beside her. Sister, come sit here. Leah hesitated and stopped her pace. She peeked toward Duke Ellard in the main seat. Our status is so different. Is it really all right for me to dine at the same table? Duke Ellard spoke. Sit down and eat. Leah pulled out the chair. Sitting down? Okay. Dana was smiling brightly beside her. Leah looked at the table full of exquisite dishes. They look so delicious. How long has it been since I've had a proper meal? Her throat moved involuntarily. She swallowed her saliva. A maid leaned over and whispered in Bianca's ear. Lady Countess. Bianca's expression turned stern. She walked toward the head seat. Your Grace, I'm sorry to disturb. There is an emergency that needs to be reported. Duke Ellard put down his utensils. He looked up at her. Can't it wait until we've sat down to eat? Bianca leaned down and whispered, I believe I must return to the Grand Duchy immediately. Duke Ellard listened so suddenly. Bianca straightened her back. Yes, the Grand Duke contacted me via the communication channel. It seems an emergency has occurred. Duke Ellard watched the other party. I originally intended to thank you formally once we reached the duchy. It seems I'll have to let that go for now. Please convey my gratitude to the Grand Duke as well. Thank him for sending you from so far away. Bianca smiled slightly. Thank you for your understanding. Laya listened from the side. Lord, Bianca, are you leaving already? We only just started talking. Now it's time to say goodbye. Bianca turned around. Footsteps echoed in the dining room. He stopped in front of Laya. He extended a hand. Do you want to come with me? Laya's face was full of disbelief. I go with you. Duke Ellard spoke up. What is the meaning of this? Bianca looked at Duke Ellard exactly what it sounds like. I want to take her with me. When I first met her, I sensed the vast mana within her body, but she is not yet accustomed to controlling this power. Her body is being damaged because of it. Now she needs a guide, provided, of course, that she is willing. Duke Ellard's gaze was cold. I'm not sure why you're bringing this up suddenly, but there's no need to worry. The Duke's household does not lack mages capable of handling mana. Surely you wouldn't smuggle an imperial citizen into the Grand Duchy without a legitimate reason. Bianca's expression remained steady. I have no such intention. He turned to look at Leah. What do you think yourself? What do you want to do? Laya's lips parted slightly. Sweat slid down her cheek. My idol is inviting me to go with him. It's like a dream. Dana gripped Laya's sleeve tightly. No, sister, you can't go. You can't leave me alone, Leah pondered. If I follow Lord Bianca, he would surely treat me kindly. I could also witness that power I admire up close. But she lowered her eyes. Shadows cast over her face. Leah made her decision. She looked at Bianca. Lord Bianca, I am truly sorry. I cannot go with you. Bianca's expression was calm. I understand. Though it is a pity, this is your choice. If you wish to see me in the future, come to the Bellis Grand Duchy. I will mostly be at the Grand Duke's residence. Just give my name and you can see me. Leah secretly resolved. If I become stronger in the future, if I gather enough courage, perhaps then I will want to see Bianca. From the moment I saw Dana clinging to me, the option to leave never even crossed my mind. She seems to have developed a deep dependence on me. Of course, if I said I didn't regret it at all, that would be a lie. Responsibility for Dana was not the only reason I made this choice. The intelligence I possess is mostly based on the imperial government structure. In order to utilize this information, I must stay within the Empire's borders for as long as possible. In my previous life, I struggled desperately to gain recognition from others, only to end up like that in the end. I absolutely do not want to repeat that kind of life. No longer being manipulated by others. No longer struggling painfully just to survive. I will control my own destiny. In this life, I will rely on my own strength. Using my current abilities and knowledge of the future, I will live a life of dignity. Lord Bianca should be on his way back to the Grand Duchy by now. Actually, I know very little about the Bellis Grand Duchy. I only remember that Duke Bellis later became Dana's godfather. He was once the Empire's only archmage. By the time I grew up, The Duke's son, Lord Bellis, had a reputation that even surpassed his father's. He was hailed as a matchless genius. Whenever he was present, it was like the sun and moon shining together. I suddenly hold my breath. My heart pounds wildly. I actually overlooked this matter. Since I've decided to stay at the Duke's estate, I will encounter that man sooner or later. He was the last person I saw before I died. Duke Ellard taps on the carriage window. Leah, wake Dana up. We're home? I suddenly snap back to my senses. All right away. A magnificent white mansion stands before my eyes. I lead Dana off the carriage. Wow, it's so beautiful here. Looking at the main gate up close, its presence is entirely different. Rapid footsteps approach. Duke Ellard's second son, Alan, suddenly rushes forward. He pulls Dana into a hug. Where have you been all this time? Why did you only arrive just now? The Duchess stands not far away, her hands folded across her chest. She quietly watches the reunion of the siblings. The servants separate to both sides. Standing respectfully with their heads bowed, the Duchess opens her arms. Dana, come here. Her eyes are moist. I missed you so much. Dana runs over. Mama, the Duchess holds Dana tightly. I stand at a distance watching. That person must be the Duchess. I'm so glad, Dana, that you could return to your family's embrace. But I wonder when that person will arrive. Alan turns his body. His gaze falls upon my face. Who are you? I point at myself. Are you talking to me? Alan crosses his arms. Otherwise, is there anyone else here? What are you doing, clinging to my sister? Following her all this time, you must have some ulterior motive. Dana suddenly breaks free from the embrace. She stands in front of me, shielding me. Don't bully my princess, you little brat. Alan freezes in place. His mouth hangs open. What? The Duchess covers her mouth. Her eyes are full of surprise. My face turns completely red. What are you saying? When did Dana learn to speak like that? The orphanage directors roar, pointing ahead. You vermin. I lower my head, sweating. She must have learned those words from the director. Alan looks panicked. How can Dana say such a thing to her brother? I look at Dana. Those words are terrible. She must never use them again. Heavy footsteps draw near. A dark shadow looms over the two of us. It's that man again. Duke Ellard looks down at us. Once Hayes finished explaining, I'll pull his tongue out first. Cold sweat slides down my temples. I think to myself, he looks truly angry. But what's with that name? I give an awkward smile. I shouldn't have let him hear those words. Sorry. The Duchess approaches, her heels clicking. Dear, speaking like that in front of Dana. How could you be so careless? Duke Ellard clears his throat. Madam, the Duchess looks at me. More importantly, introducing this child to me is the primary task. I bow tentatively. Duchess. Greetings, Duke Ellard says. Sorry for the late introduction. This child's name is Leah. She is the one I brought back from the orphanage. He has been taking meticulous care of Dana. He was a huge help during the search process. Dana suddenly lunged into Leah's arms. That's right. Sister Leah is my princess. Alan reached out his hand and called to Dana. Come here quickly, your brother has been waiting for you for a long time. Dana held on to Leah tightly and refused to let go. She is my princess. Sister, I will protect you. Alan froze completely and his face instantly turned deathly pale. His mouth hung open weakly. The Duchess looked at Leah with a smile. Thank you for taking care of our Dana, Alan muttered to himself, looking lost and dejected. She doesn't want me. Little Dana doesn't want me anymore. After all that waiting, you don't understand your brother's feelings at all? The Duchess clapped her hands. Now is not the time for this. Everyone, go prepare the meals and the rooms. The butler and maids bowed. As you wish, madam. The Duchess pressed her hands together. Today is a wonderful day. We even have a little guest arriving. We must provide the best hospitality. Leah nervously twisted her fingers. I didn't expect it to be so grand. The Duchess continued speaking. While the meals are being prepared, take Leah to change into some new clothes and give her a tour of the castle while you're at it. Leah was led away, surrounded by maids. I didn't come here to be a guest. Please give me some work to do. Dana pushed open a heavy door. Sister, come in quickly. Leah looked around at her. Is this really just a room? It's practically like a whole house. Dana picked up a thick picture book. She approached Leah with it. Look here, sister. Read this to me. Leah took the picture book, a fairy tale book. Is this something Dana likes? Dana nodded vigorously. Yes, so sister must read it to me. Leah stroked the cover of the book. Since the maids are all here, if I demonstrate my literacy, maybe they will agree to let me continue taking care of Dana. All right, Dana, I'll read it to you. The door was pushed open. The Duchess entered the room. Is everyone ready? Were you just about to read a book? Dana puffed out her chest. Yes, the princess is going to tell me a story. The Duchess bent down. Sorry, Dana. The princess has to accompany Mama to a certain place first. Well, read it in a bit. Okay, Dana tugged at the hem of her skirt. Take me with you. The Duchess covered her mouth and chuckled. I'd like to take you too, but if you two are going to play together, the room needs to be rearranged a little. Don't you think the current room is, for the princess, a bit too simple? Dana opened her arms wide. I'll take charge of the decorating. You two go ahead. The Duchess nodded. All right, I'll trust you. The Duchess took Lia's hand. Since we have permission, let's step out for a moment. Leah was stunned. Okay, she said, following behind the Duchess. Why take me somewhere else alone? Could it be that even though I saved her daughter, I am still of humble birth after all? Is she going to drive me away from Dana? The Duchess stopped before a heavy set of doors. All right, we're almost there. Don't be nervous. There's nothing to worry about. The heavy doors slowly pushed open. The hinges made a dull sound. A priest stood in the center of the hall. You've arrived. It's a pleasure to meet you. Leah, Lady Bianca wrote to me. She instructed me to ensure your wounds receive proper treatment. Lia's eyes widened. I thought Lady Bianca had just mentioned it in passing. To think she actually called me here directly? The priest took Lia's hand. All right, let me see your wound first. Leah obediently extended her arm. Okay, the priest rolled up Lia's sleeve. Her fingertips lightly touched the red swelling on the skin. Heavens, this must really hurt. Don't worry. It will be over soon. It won't hurt at all. The priest placed her palm on the top of Lia's head. Close your eyes. White light burst from her palm. The light instantly swallowed the two of them. A warm current of air surged through the hall. The priest's brow furrowed. The Duchess hunched her shoulders. What is it? The priest was puzzled. The divine power didn't work. How is this possible? The Duchess asked. Why? Is there a reason? The priest withdrew her hand. I don't know. This is the first time I've encountered such a situation. There's nothing more I can do. Leah sat on the bench side by side with the Duchess. The Duchess said, Leah, it's all right. The Duke's family has mages who specialize in healing magic. There will definitely be a way. Don't be too disappointed. Leah turned her face and smiled. It's no problem, madam. Please don't worry. Her hands were clenched tightly. Being unable to remove the scar isn't the main issue. That divine power is ineffective against someone born in the Empire, who has received blessings. This is the most serious matter. Could it be as the director said? Is there something wrong with my body? The Duchess pinched a chocolate with her fingertips. She quickly stuffed it into Leah's mouth. Leah covered her mouth. Her eyes were wide and round. Is this chocolate? The Duchess smiled. How does it taste? This is a magic potion that can make a person's mood better. Do you feel a bit better now? Leah held the chocolate in her mouth. The sweetness melted on the tip of her tongue. I feel much better. Thank you. The Duchess clapped her hands. Great. Then let's go eat. Leah followed behind the Duchess. Yes, madam. She watched the Duchess's back. To be so kind even to a child like me, I am truly very grateful. Alan crossed his arms. He sat upright at the dining table. His gaze was cold and stern. Leah shrank into her seat. A dinner of this scale is too overwhelming for me. Her gaze collided with Alan's in the air. Sparks flew everywhere. Alan suddenly slammed the table. Why are you sitting there? Right between me and Dana. Leah shrank her neck. Cold sweat slid down her cheek. Dana raised her fork. The tines of the fork poked a piece of meat. Sister, eat this. Leah smiled stiffly. Alan growled from the side. I don't want to eat with her at all. Dana handed over food again. Sister, eat this too. Leah held her fork. Her facial muscles twitched. I'm really starting to lose my appetite. Alan rested his chin on one hand. He was still eating mindlessly as usual. Dana suddenly stood up. Her finger pointed straight at the tip of Alan's nose. Don't you dare bully my sister. Alan pushed against the edge of the table to stand up. You don't understand my feelings at all? He clenched his fists. There were tear stains at the corners of his eyes. Dana, I hate you. He then turned around and ran out of the dining room. Leah was frozen in her seat. She lowered her head. Her hands twisted together anxiously. Sorry, madam. It's all because of me. A smile played on the Duchess's lips. I am the one who should apologize. For letting you see such a scene. Alan is still young. Hayes just shy. I apologize to you on his behalf. And Hayes even a picky eater now. Picking out the vegetables. Can you believe it? That child still needs to hold a doll when he sleeps. Leah closed her eyes. The corner of her mouth twitched. The future Imperial Swordmaster actually has a secret like this. The Duchess pushed the dinner plate over. Forget about Alan. Let's eat. Try this. Leah put down her utensils. Sorry, madam. Full. The Duchess looked at Leah's plate. But you haven't even eaten half of it. Leah lowered her eyes. I was always starving in the orphanage. My stomach has become very weak because it was so delicious today. I have already eaten a lot. The Duchess furrowed her brow. No wonder you're so thin and small. If this continues, Dana will catch up to you. Dana waved her hands. That's right, sister. Eat a bit more. Laya's body shuddered. I'll just have a little more dessert then. She picked up her fork and sliced into the cake. The Duchess broke into a smile. That's it. Dessert goes into a separate stomach. Leah ate the cake. Her pupils dilated slightly. It's really sweet. The Duchess clasped her hands together. Right? The cakes made by the head chef are the best. Dana approached her sister with a plate. Try this one too. Leah narrowed her eyes. The corners of her mouth curved up involuntarily. The cake is indeed delicious. But the happiest moment is sharing food with kind people. Alan crouched in a corner of the garden, clutching his stomach with both hands, with tear stains at the corners of his eyes. I'm so hungry. The Duchess stood in the center of the bedroom, directing two maids to rearrange the furniture. It needs to be more spacious here. Dana rushed into the room. Mother. The Duchess opened her arms. What's wrong, Dana? Why are you in such a hurry? Dana threw herself into the Duchess's embrace. Clinging tightly to her waist, she was gasping for breath. Sister is seriously ill. Laya lay on the bed. A wet towel was on her forehead. Her cheeks were flushed. Her breathing was heavy. The doctor put away his stethoscope. Simply put, it's physical exhaustion. After her tense emotions relaxed, the accumulated fatigue exploded. As long as she rests fully, she will recover soon. Additionally, her stomach is very weak. Her diet must be handled with extra care. The Duchess's expression was grave. Sorry, I should have been more careful. The door opened. The butler bowed and saluted. Madam, the chief mage has arrived. The Duchess turned around. Taryn, welcome. Taryn nodded slightly in greeting. Duchess, I heard you summoned me. For healing magic. The Duchess pointed toward the bed. Yes, please check this child's wound. Taryn walked to the bedside. Let me see. He lifted the corner of the quilt. His gaze fell upon Laya's arm. It's a scar. The Duchess's brow furrowed. How is it? Can magic heal it? The strange thing is, divine power doesn't work. That's why I contacted you in such a hurry. Talon leaned down to observe. If someone possesses extremely pure magic, they might be incompatible with divine power. Judging from the fluctuations of the mana, this child seems to belong to that category. To confirm the situation, I will explain in detail after the treatment is over. A blue light covered Laya's entire body. Magic seeped into the skin like undulating water currents. Textured points of light gathered at the scars. The old marks gradually faded. Eventually, they dissipated into the fair skin. The Duchess covered her mouth. The scars are gone. As expected of Talon. Thank you, Talon. Turned around. His expression serious, madam. Where was this child originally found? A few days later, sunlight spilled over the castle spires. Snow covered the terrace. The butler pushed open the heavy wooden doors. Madam Duke Elard has returned. Duke Elard stepped into the hall. His black-gloved hand pressed against his collar. His gaze was deep and cold. The Duchess walked toward the center of the hall. Dear, are you all right? Duke Elard said, You've worked hard during this time as well? I'm sorry that, while things were so busy, I left all the children too. Your care. The Duchess shook her head gently. It's nothing. The matters at the orphanage were more taxing for you. Duke Elard asked, How is Emily doing? The Duchess said, Her fever broke last night. Talon was just here. He healed her scars. The scars have completely vanished. It's truly a blessing. Duke Elard said, Thinking back, it really is strange. Divine power was completely useless. Yet Talon's healing magic worked. The Duchess explained. Talon said, If someone possesses extremely pure magic, they might be incompatible with divine power. Duke Elard asked, So does this also apply to her body? The Duchess recalled. Talon was almost screaming at the time. This child hides an incredible amount of magic within her. It's simply unbelievable. Bring her to my laboratory immediately. Duke Elard lowered his eyelids. So that's what happened. He pushed open the bedroom door. What do you think? The Duchess was confused. About what? Duke Elard looked at the child in the room. Do you think it's safe to let her stay by Dana's side? The Duchess turned her face. Although we haven't spent much time together, she is a good child. She has a gentle personality. Even when she was seriously ill, she never complained. I can understand Lord Bianca's concerns. This child, she probably reminds him of his own experiences of abuse as a child. She suddenly covered her mouth. What am I thinking? Now is not the time for sentimentality. I have to go. I can't let a sick child stay alone for too long. The door pushed open. The Duchess covered her mouth. Heavens, when did you wake up? Leah stood in the center of the hallway. Her hands gripped the collar of her clothes at her chest. Hello, Duchess. The Duchess hurried forward. She leaned over to check. Why did you come out alone? Can you already get out of bed and walk around? How is your body feeling? Steady footsteps approached. Duke Elard appeared behind her. Do you have business with me? Leah gripped her collar tightly. I have something I want to say to you. Duke Elard looked down at Leah. You have something to say right after waking up? Come in, the Duke. The Duchess gently patted Laya's shoulder. Aren't you tired after just waking up? Hurry back. It'll be waiting for you in the room. Leah nodded. Thank you, madam. Duke Ellard pointed toward the sofa. Sit down, it's just as well. I have something to tell you. Leah sat up straight. What do you want to tell me? Could it be about where I am going? Duke Ellard crossed his legs. Based on the orphanage ledgers you provided, we have captured all the nobles and merchants suspected of slave trading. The evidence is conclusive. They will soon be severely punished. Leah's body suddenly leaned forward. Then what about Jack? My friend was injured. Is he all right now? Duke Ellard leaned back against his chair. He regained consciousness not long ago. His body has fully recovered. The room fell into a dead silence. Both remained silent. Duke Ellard broke the deadlock. He said he would visit the Duke's residence in a while. Lia's face stiffened. Cold sweat slid down her cheek. Regarding Jack, is this all you have to say? She suddenly stood up. Jack will definitely become an excellent knight. He was the tallest and strongest in the orphanage. He practiced training every single day, without ever stopping. Even when beaten by the director, he could endure the longest. And he almost never cries. Leah spoke with increasing urgency. Her hands gestured wildly in the air. If you saw him just once, you would understand. The corners of Duke Ellard's mouth turned up slightly. Don't worry. I have already handled it. Leah clasped her hands together. Her eyes sparkled. Thank you, Duke. Ellard pulled back his smile. More importantly, what do you plan to do? Leah was stunned. Her gaze went blank. What did you say? Duke Ellard tapped his fingertip lightly on the table. You have been talking about others. I am asking what you want to do. Leah was dazed. What do I want to do? No one has ever asked me that kind of question before. Her fingers twisted her skirt tightly. I think... Duke Ellard turned his head toward Dana. You should have heard it from Lord Bianca. You possess mana within your body? The mage responsible for treatment said, your mana is extremely pure. That is why the healing magic was so effective. You are still young. Perhaps you don't understand. But possessing mana means infinite potential. But you cannot control it alone. Someone must guide you. There are many excellent mages in the Duke's residence. If you are willing, you can become a mage, or learn anything you want to learn. I will sponsor you. Leah's voice trembled. If I refuse, will I be sent back to the orphanage like the other children? Duke Ellard's brow furrowed slightly. What? Leah lowered her head. She avoided his gaze. I just want to be a maid. She gripped her skirt. It is foolish to refuse such a generous offer. But being sponsored by a noble means being completely bound. That goes against my plan to regain my freedom in the future. Besides, settling Jack's situation is the priority right now. She suddenly looked up. She pressed her hand to her chest. I will take good care of Miss Dana. I will prepare meals, tidy the beds, and I can even read with her. I am very good at cleaning. I did those things every day at the orphanage. Duke Ellard sighed. As you wish. Leah broke into a smile. She clasped her hands together. Thank you very much. I will head back to my room now. Please take care. I walked quickly along the corridor. Even though everything went as I wished, why do I still feel uneasy? I don't want to experience the pain of relying on others again. I bumped hidden into a hard chest. My body lost its balance. I fell heavily to the ground. I clutched my forehead. Ouch. Alan looked down at me from above. What are you doing? Why were you coming out of my father's study? I scrambled to get up. That is hard to explain. Alan suddenly grabbed my arm. Aren't Dana and Mother enough for you? He widened his eyes in alarm. Why is your arm so thin? He quickly turned around. Don't think that just because Dana is good to you, you can get carried away. Where are you going? Why the hurry? Is it something urgent? I stammered. Alan's brow furrowed. Are you trying to avoid answering again? Do you think I'm easy to bully? I gave a few forced laughs. I'm going to see a friend who came to the Duke's estate. I can only use Jack as a shield for now. Alan tilted his head. You actually have a friend. I nodded vigorously. Of course, a friend I've known since the orphanage. He helped a lot during Miss Dana's rescue. He is both kind and diligent. He has all the qualities to be a knight. Alan went silent. He stared at me. He reached out his hand. His fingertips brushed through my hair. Your hair's a mess. I froze on the spot. My gaze went blank. Thank you. Alan withdrew his hand. Why are you so frightened? As if you've seen a ghost? Footsteps came from behind. Jack stepped forward. Long time no see. Are you feeling better, Leah? I rushed forward. I tightly gripped Jack's hands. Are you all right? Your body doesn't hurt anymore, right? Jack's body stiffened. His gaze dropped. Yes, I released my grip. I took a step back. Sorry, was that too sudden? The journey here must have been exhausting. Alan's hand suddenly clamped onto my shoulder. He glared at Jack. Is this the friend you were talking about? The air froze instantly. Jack's eyes were cold. His gaze struck back like a sharp blade. He didn't back down in the slightest. I froze in place. Jack must have heard about the Duke's house and Alan. But why is there so much hostility? In my past life, they were inseparable friends. Perhaps children just grow up through fighting. I broke the silence. Jack, how did you get here? If you like, I can show you around. Taz stepped forward. Alan tilted his head back slightly. The corner of his mouth curved upward. How ridiculous. Taz bowed. Young Master Alan. Alan pointed at him. His tone was mocking. Failing to protect Dana? How dare you show your face here? Commoners truly are shameless. I opened my mouth in disbelief. Stop it. Taz lowered his eyelids. He placed his right hand over his chest. Yes, it's all my fault. No matter how much the young master berates me, I must endure it. Alan clenched his teeth. A strangled sound came from his throat. Damn it. He turned and stormed off. Laya watched his back as he walked away. I know how much he cares about Dana. I shouldn't stop him now. Let him go. Sid stepped forward. He looked at Sid. Do you feel wronged? Laya's gaze fell upon Sid. Who is this tall man? Judging by his build, he must be a knight. Sid took a step closer. Am I not speaking the truth? Although His Grace insisted on letting you off, I absolutely do not agree with it. Even cutting off your limbs wouldn't be enough. Yet you were only confined for a few days. There should be a limit to your shamelessness. Taz spoke calmly. Do you really think so? Sid was taken aback. What? Taz looked the other directly in the eye. It is a fact that I failed in my duty. But as the vice commander, you don't seem to have the right to show off your power here either. Sid suddenly grabbed Taz by the collar. You bastard, how dare you talk back to me? Leah watched this scene. This sense of oppression is definitely more than just a verbal conflict. Could there be another secret behind Dana's disappearance? Taz pressed down on Sid's hand. Enough. The children are still present. Sid violently flung his hand away. Children, truly speechless. He extended his index finger and poked Jack hard on the forehead. Don't think that by relying on His Grace's mercy, you can start daydreaming just because you sneaked into the nights. Doing laundry and sweeping floors, you are destined to spend your life just like this, being a humble servant. Taz stood between the two of them. Please stop. He is just a child. Sid let out a cold laugh. To protect him, you actually talked back to your superior. How deeply moving. He turned around. I don't want to waste any more words on someone who doesn't know what's good for them. Looking at you makes me feel sick. Taz looked down at Leah. Child, are you all right? Sorry you had to see this. Leah waved her hands repeatedly. Fine. Taz placed his hand on Jack's shoulder. We need to go pay our respects to His Grace. Well, take our leave first. Have a pleasant day. Leather shoes stepped on the hallway floor tiles. Leah stared at the receding back. She summoned her courage and spoke. Mr. Taz stopped in his tracks. Leah ran forward a few steps. If you don't mind, could you tell me why the vice commander acted that way? Taz explained. That day I was supposed to escort the young miss as usual, but the vice commander suddenly ordered my escort mission to be cancelled. I thought it was just a schedule adjustment, but I felt something was off. So I quietly followed behind the guard team and rushed to the town. But in the middle of the street, there were only a few nights the young miss had already disappeared. A broken hair accessory was left on the ground. Laya suddenly raised her head. That wasn't your fault. Mister, for the vice commander to tell such a lie. I simply can't believe it. Jack stared at Taz. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake? Leah cried out. Jack, what are you saying? Taz lowered his eyes. I swear, that is the truth. Perhaps I shouldn't be telling you children these things. I used to be a mercenary. I escaped death on the battlefield because I saw through an enemy trap. I gained His Grace's appreciation. From that day on, I became a thorn in the vice commander's side. He always considered himself the Duke's confidant and could not tolerate my existence. Joining the Knights was once my greatest joy, but recently, I've begun to doubt whether I should continue to stay. Maybe the vice commander is right. I don't deserve to be a glorious knight. Leah suddenly jumped up. Uncle, are you an idiot? The one who isn't fit to be a knight isn't you at all. It's that bastard. Taz froze. Laya gave an awkward smile. Anyway, Hay's the one who should feel ashamed. Not you. Don't ever say such things again. Why don't you tell the Duke about these important matters? Taz lowered his head to avoid her gaze. I don't want to cause trouble. The vice commander's family has served the Duke for generations. It would definitely put the Duke in a difficult position. Leah raised her voice. If you truly care about the Duke, you should tell him all the more. Keeping such a devious and petty person by his side is what's most dangerous. Taz shook his head. No one would believe a Nightborn as a commoner. Besides, there is no evidence left now. Leah stood frozen in place. Her breathing hitched. Taz said, I'm sorry. Please understand my situation. Leah lowered her head. Everyone has their own difficulties. I was too reckless. She bowed deeply. Thinking that the culprit who hurt Dana was right before me made me so incredibly angry. Please forgive my rudeness. Taz raised his hand. This isn't rudeness at all. I completely understand how you feel. Leah turned to leave. Well, I still have things to handle. I'll take my leave now. You and Jack should go see the Duke soon too. She ran quickly through the gallery. Why give up so quickly? I don't understand. Jack's situation in the Night Order is actually worse than that of a servant. Do commoners deserve to be treated like this? While Jack was enduring that kind of humiliation, I was enjoying luxury in the Duke's estate without a care in the world. She stopped abruptly. She slammed her palm against the wall. I absolutely cannot give up like this. If I just let things be, that fellow will stay by Dana's side forever. Gathering evidence of the vice commander's misdeeds, this is the primary task I must complete now. The grand mansion stood tall in the morning light. A call came from nearby. Leah, can you come here for a moment? Leah stopped walking. I'm coming. The head maid handed over a tray. Good morning. What an energetic child. Can you help me bring this to the training grounds? Leah took the tray. No problem. Leave it to me. The maid reached out and gently stroked Leah's hair. Thank you. You're such a good child. Leah ran lightly through the hallway. An older maid waved from a distance. Leah, can you come over here for a moment? Leah turned around. Coming? It'll be right there. The older maid waved goodbye. Be careful on your way. Leah, have a pleasant day. The older maid trotted away with a basket. You too, sister? Two maids walked side by side. Leah only arrived recently. She's both polite and kind. She really is a likable child. She's cute enough just standing there. Yet she's so hardworking too. Leah walked through the spacious hall. Her light footsteps arrived at the Duke's mansion. It's been a week since I became a maid. The work is going smoothly. Everyone is very friendly to children. It wasn't hard to adapt. Most importantly, being a maid makes it very convenient to gather intelligence. Anya the cook stood with a hand on her hip. You're not thinking of pretending you didn't see me, are you? Emily turned around. Of course not. Sister Anya handed over a cloth bundle. Take this. It's a freshly baked apple pie. Leah took the heavy bundle. Thank you, sister. By the way, Anya, sister, there's something I'm curious about. Anya turns around. What is it? I lean close to Anya's ear, lowering my voice. Do you know anything about the vice commander? The Valeri barony. That is a family that has held a core position in the Knights for generations. The current head is even the chairman of the Council of Elders. He is extremely powerful. Growing up in such a family, the vice commander has always thought himself superior. To him, the commoner commander of mercenary origin is simply a thorn in his side. What's worse, he is also the young master's swordsmanship teacher. I clench my fists. So that's where the source of that terrible personality is. Dana suddenly jumps up from her seat. Mama. The Duchess waves and smiles. Her face is beaming. Dana Leah, how have you two been? Dana plunges straight into her mother's embrace. I stand below the steps and bow. Welcome back. Madam. The Duchess nods. Is everything all right? Duke Ellard bends down and picks up Dana. Don't you see your father? Dana laughs. She acts spoiled in the Duke's arms. Tell me a story. Duke Ellard turns around. Well then, which book shall we read today? I stand there in a daze. My gaze is blank. The Duchess's voice rings out again. Leah, Leah. I suddenly snap back to my senses. Yes, madam, the Duchess asks in confusion. Leah, is something bothering you? You seem to be in a daze. I wave my hands repeatedly. It's nothing. It sounds like they're calling for me at the training ground. May I go over there for a moment? The Duchess nods slightly. Go ahead. Be careful on the way. I turn and run away. Then, please excuse me. The Duchess stands there, her eyes following my retreating figure. I walk quickly through the stone corridor. The hem of my skirt sways in the wind. I must first organize the information I got from Jack. If I can persuade him, perhaps he'll understand. A roar comes from the archway ahead. You bastard. Who allowed you to touch the wooden sword? I suddenly stop in my tracks. My pupils contract. That's Jack. In the center of the training ground, several tall knight trainees surround Jack. The leading knight looks down disdainfully. The vice commander said that even if the bloodline were the same, you and we future knights are completely different. Who would take someone like you as an apprentice? Probably only that former mercenary, Taz. What's with that look? Do you want to fight us? You insolent brat. A fist swings out with a whistling sound, slamming heavily into Jack's face. Jack's body flies back out of control. Crashing into a wooden crate, it makes a loud noise. Blood seeps from the corner of his mouth. The knight apprentice draws closer step by step. Let's teach this arrogant brat a lesson. I rush out from the corridor. I grab Jack's shoulder to support him. Jack, are you okay? Jack turns his head. Why are you here again? I furrow my brows tightly. I knew something like this would happen. Why do you always talk like that? The knight apprentice crosses his arms. Where did this piece of trash come from? I stand in front of Jack. Many ganging up on one. How despicable. To do such a thing, do you even deserve to be honorable knights? Lord Taz was personally knighted by the Duke. He was even granted a title and territory. Are you all despising the Duke now? The knight's expressions shifted slightly. They took a step back. We didn't mean it that way. The lead knight tried to argue. That person was born a commoner. Hayes just a mercenary who would kill anyone for money. Leah pressed forward step by step. So what? Is there any law that states a commoner or a mercenary cannot become a knight? The lead knight's body froze. He was left speechless. Lia's gaze was sharp. As expected, he can't refute it. There is no such law at all. Nobles receive swordsmanship training from a young age. While commoners struggle just to make a living, they have no opportunity to focus on a career. From the very beginning, they were deprived of the chance. Leah let out a cold laugh. You aren't even worth beating up. If you want to be knights, learn how to be human first. Anyway, you'll never catch up to Jack in this lifetime. Alan stood not far away. His gaze swept over the crowd. What are you doing here? The knights scrambled over to him. They clung to Alan's legs. Young master, this girl insulted us. She insulted the future knights of Lixion. She actually said we can't compare to that commoner, and said, we don't even deserve to be beaten. Alan was helpless. Is what they're saying true? Leah puffed out her chest. That's right. I said it. They truly aren't worth my time. If you don't believe me, I'll prove it to you right now. Let the biggest one come out. The lead knight pointed at himself. Leah turned to look at Alan. Young master, if I win, can you grant me one wish? Alan froze in place. So suddenly, the lead knight pulled a wooden sword from the rack. From the weapon rack, he drew a wooden sword. Leah stood her ground empty-handed. Jack took a step forward. Leah, what are you doing? I should be the one. Leah pushed his hand away. I will take responsibility for what I said. The lead knight was full of mockery. Do you really intend to fight me, Bear? The corners of Leah's mouth curled up. That's right. Barehanded is more convenient for me, though it might look a bit unsightly. She felt around in her apron pocket. The lead knight stood at a distance. He looked completely bewildered. Leah tossed something into the air. The wooden handle flipped in the sunlight. She held a comb. She tilted her head and smiled. I'll just use this. Alan's fingers trembled. He pointed forward. What on earth is that thing? Leah held up the object in her hand. This is the young lady's hair comb. Alan waved his arm abruptly. That's not what I meant. Do you really intend to fight with that kind of thing? Leah tilted her head and smiled. I am serious. I've always been serious. Alan stared at that slender wrist. How can you say such things with a wrist like that? He grabbed the knight's ear. Hey, come here. The knight let out a scream. It hurts, young master. Alan's eyes were cold. He stared intently at the knight. Do not touch that child. Do you understand? Cold sweat poured down the knight's face. What are you saying? Alan let go of his hand. Use your pig brain and think carefully. He clapped his hands. All right, everyone back to your positions. Leah stood in the middle of the open space. Gripping the hair comb tightly, she assumed a fighting stance. Alan waved his arm. When I call for a stop, you must stop immediately. Understand? Leah rolled her shoulders. Stop worrying. Let's just start already. Alan stood at the edge of the field, raising his right hand. Ready? The knight held his wooden sword horizontally. His eyes were cold. Arrogant brat. He'll teach you a lesson. Alan suddenly swung his arm down. Start. A faint smile appeared on the knight's face. Are you scared? I'm attacking first. An afterimage flickered past. Leah lunged forward. Her right hand held the hair comb. Striking the knight's face with precision, the comb left a red mark on his skin. The knight fell flat on his back. His body twitched on the stone floor. Alan froze. Right where he stood? Impossible. That was just luck earlier. Right. Leah pulled back the hair comb. Her expression was calm. Young master Alan shuddered violently. What? Leah's eyes curved. A smile rippled across her face. I won, so you will keep your promise, right? Leah squatted on the snow, supporting herself with both hands on the ground. Her fingertips brushed over the blades of grass, humming a little tune. She raised her head. This place is absolutely perfect. To think the Duke's backyard had such an abandoned secret place, a treasure spot I found by chance while running errands. There's no better place for training than this. Since arriving at the mansion, my stamina has recovered quite a bit. It's time to start magic training. Boots crushed dry branches. Heavy footsteps approached from behind. Leah's back stiffened. Someone is coming. The vice commander stopped in his tracks. Did you use the young master to lure me here? Leah stood up. Yes, I did indeed ask for his help. The vice commander let out a cold sneer. What a cunning little thing. Manipulating Miss Dana just to live a life of luxury. Does it make you feel happy? You should spend the rest of your life being grateful to the miss. Leah looked him straight in the eye. If the facts are as you say, then compared to the miss, I should thank you even more. The vice commander was suddenly taken aback. His pupils trembled. Leah took a step forward. If it weren't for you, how could I have ever met him? The vice commander staggered back. What on earth are you talking about? The corners of Leah's mouth curled up. I heard everything. About how you lied? and swapped Sir Tosgard shifts. The vice commander's face turned deathly pale. His pupils constricted with shock. Leah tilted her head. In order to get rid of Sir Taz, you actually gambled with the Mrs. Safety? Isn't this going a bit too far? The vice commander suddenly pointed at Leah. Nonsense. You lowly girl, your mouth is full of lies. Leah remained composed. So are you trying to say I'm lying? The vice commander grit his teeth. That's right. Even if it were true, who would believe a commoner like you? And that fellow named Taz. Lia's gaze turned icy. Whether to believe it or not should be decided by the Duke. The muscles on the vice commander's face contorted. You lowly wretch. A pest like you should be profoundly grateful for the scraps we give you. He suddenly lunged forward, gripping Lia's collar tightly, lifting her completely off the ground. The crisp sound of high heels clicking against the ground echoed. The Duchess's voice came through. Enough. The vice commander froze in his tracks. He slowly turned his head. The Duchess was expressionless. Just what do you think you were doing? The vice commander let go of his hand. His entire body trembled violently. Leah collapsed to the ground. She gasped for air. The vice commander gave a dry laugh. Cold sweat slid down his sideburns. This isn't what you think. Duke Ellard appeared. His gaze was icy. Sid Valeri. There's no need to bother explaining. The vice commander's legs went weak. Your Grace. The Duchess stepped forward quickly. She supported Lia's shoulders. Leah, are you all right? Leah looked up. She forced a smile. Yes, Duchess. I'm fine. She lowered her eyes. Her throat moved slightly. Everything was going according to plan. The teacup lightly touched the saucer. Leah looked toward the Duchess. I saw new sprouts in the back garden while I was taking a walk just now. The Duchess raised an eyebrow in surprise. Really? The ground should still be frozen, Leah said. It seems spring is coming very early this year. The Duchess always took the busy Duke 4 regular walks to let him relax from his official duties. As long as I planted a topic of interest beforehand, they would definitely pass by that spot. If the plan had failed, I was also prepared to report directly to the Duke. Sid knelt on the snowy ground. His hands braced against the earth. Your Grace, it was that fellow Taz who framed me. He set me up. I can explain everything. Leah took a step forward. If it was was it also Taz? Who made you buy the Pyrian mine? Lord Taz didn't even know the legions. The Night Order's budget. Sid snapped his head up. His face was deathly pale. How could you know about that? The knight stepped forward with spears. Your Grace. Duke Ellard waved his cloak. Arrest Vice Commander Sid Valeri immediately. As for the punishment, it will be decided later. Sid was hoisted up by the guards. His body went limp. Your Grace. Please give me another chance. Alan crossed his arms. Just what kind of wish is it? That made you cause such a huge scene. Let's hear it. Leah placed her hand over her heart. Please let me see the Vice Commander. Sid asked in confusion. What? Leah tilted her head. Isn't the Vice Commander your mentor, young master? If this makes it difficult for you? Alan's cheeks flushed red. That matter is a piece of cake. But that's not the point at all. What exactly do you want with my mentor? Leah avoided his gaze. I can't explain just yet. Alan gnashed his teeth. Leah reminded him softly. You promised to grant my wish. The second young master of the Duke's family wouldn't break his word, right? Alan was at a loss for words. Sweat broke out on his forehead. Fine. I get it. It's no big deal. I'll go talk to my mentor. Leah clasped her hands together. Her smile was brilliant. Thank you. You're the best. Alan hid behind a tree. His eyes were fixed on the commotion in the distance. Although I agreed to that promise, I don't understand it at all. Sid was being pinned down firmly by the knights. His body struggled violently. Your Grace. This is all a lie. Screams circled above the courtyard. Lord Duke. The Duchess looked at Ellard. Dear? I will take Leah away first. She needs to calm down. Duke Ellard nodded slightly. Go ahead, the Duchess took Leah's hand. Let's go, Leah. Alan peeked out from behind a tree. He watched the departing figures. Mother, the Duchess lead. Leah through the long corridor. She stopped her pace. Leah, I won't press you about what just happened, but I must scold you for your recklessness. She held Leah's hand. You won't do this again in the future? Right. Leah lowered her head. I'm sorry. For making you worry? Her throat moved slightly. To be able to take this chance to lighten the burden, it's truly a blessing, because I have already foreseen the future of both families, the Valeri family and the downfall of the Duke Ellard family. I was taken in by the guildmaster at 10 years old. To prove my value, I learned everything: stealth, martial arts, even magic. My fingertips grazed every briefing in the Union. In the early days of the Cross, I accidentally caught a glimpse of the truth. The Baron Valeri family deceived the Duke Ellard family. The Valeri family is about to face judgment. Vice Commander Sid Valeri embezzled Legion funds to amass wealth. What's worse, That stolen money was used to buy the Pyrian mine, where diamonds were actually discovered. Bribes and solicitations were intertwined. Duke Ellard pressed his forehead. His gaze fell upon the dense trial records. The Duke's family fell into a quagmire. These secrets that were supposed to be revealed 2 years later are all in my hands now? As long as I start dealing with it now, I can let the Duke's family avoid those troubles. This can be considered a way to repay their kindness to me. The Duchess took Leah's hand. All right, come with me. Lia's steps faltered. Where are we going? The Duchess looked back and smiled. Just follow me for now. A grand white tower pierced the clouds. The Duke Ellard Territory Magic Tower. Light and shadows interlaced inside the tower. Mages kept their heads down, busy with work. Leah looked around. Is this the magic tower? A mage stopped his movements. Madam, why have you come here in person? The Duchess said. I've come for this child. Can you call Talon for me? The mage bowed. For a medical examination? Understood. Hurried footsteps echoed through the hallway. Lord Talon, the Duchess has arrived. Talon burst through the large doors. You've finally come. My disciple. He rushed in front of Leah. I knew you would eventually choose me. Even if the Duke said you rejected me, I didn't believe a word of it. Leah hunched her shoulders. Disciple? Is he talking about me? The Duchess pressed Talon's forehead. Talon, sober up. It's not what you think. I am here to request a medical examination. Talon looked like he was struck by lightning. He froze in midair. You're not here to be my disciple. The Duchess nodded gently. Yes, I'm counting on you. Talon hung his head. Though I'm disappointed, there's nothing I can do. What a shame, every time I see you. You're covered in injuries. A blue magic circle glowed in front of Lia's chest. It enveloped her whole body. A warm current of air seeped into her skin. The wounds healed rapidly, leaving not a single trace. Talon withdrew his hand. There, it's all healed. Leah looked up at him. Thank you. The wounds that even divine power couldn't fix have actually completely disappeared. Was he also the one who helped remove my scars while I was unconscious? She felt the lingering warmth remaining in her body. Not only is his mana capacity incredible, but his affinity is also ridiculously strong. Talon leaned closer to Leah. He gave a bright smile. It's truly amazing, isn't it? The mages behind Talon also joined in the excitement. It really is incredible. Talon held up a glowing sphere. This is a mana measurement ball. It's magical, right? Do you want to try touching it? Another mage squeezed to the front. This is a meal replacement candy. 1 piece, and you won't need to eat for 2 days. The mages swarmed forward, showing off their strange and eccentric inventions. Talon gave a dry cough. Do you like dolls? Leah tilted her head. What dolls? Talon pointed toward the top of the tower. I made an experimental doll assistant. The lab is at the top of the tower. It takes quite a while to go up and come back down. Do you want to go take a look together? Leah blinked her eyes. Go up and come back down. Why not just use teleportation magic? The surroundings fell into a dead silence. Talon suddenly burst into a fit of laughter. That really is an idea only a child would have. The mages followed with a roar of laughter. The air was filled with a merry atmosphere. Leah looked completely bewildered. Why are they laughing like this? Talon explained. Magic is very profound. Even if you have the matching elemental attributes, you still need an extremely high level of concentration to efficiently mobilize the mana within your body. You must master it with precision. A warlock draws complex magic circles. And finally, you have to chant an incantation. Leah froze in place. Elemental warlocks and magic circles. Mages actually need so many steps. When I studied under the president back then, I only learned how to control mana and memorize incantations, and then I just used it directly like that. Isn't magic just about memorizing the incantation? Talon laughed so hard he couldn't stand up straight. How could that be possible? You must systematically study theories and formulas. If it were just memorizing incantations, even the court mages wouldn't be able to do it. Leah fell into silence. Could it be that even the court mages can't do it? Talon said. Perhaps only a grand mage could reach that level. After all, that's a genius seen once in 1,000 years. Leah stood frozen. Her pupils trembled. This is impossible. Could it be that the magic I learned before was all wrong? The Duchess and Leah walked across the snowy ground. She turned her head to look at Leah. I'm so glad the treatment ended so quickly. That's wonderful. Leah responded with a smile. Yes, she lowered her eyes. Compared to the wound, my mind is even more of a mess right now. On this continent, the person known as the Grand Mage is only the master of the Bellis Grand Duchy, the Grand Duke Bellis. If Talon wasn't lying, then someone who can cast spells without chants or circles is a genius seen once in 1,000 years? Leah gave a couple of forced laughs. This is absurd. How could I possibly be that kind of genius? Thinking carefully, the president I followed for 8 years, I didn't even know his real name. Once, my world was only the orphanage and Trensom. I thought all the information in the world was gathered there. I thought I knew everything. It wasn't until I died once that I realized all of that might just be an illusion. The facts as I knew them might all be lies. The hallway was brightly lit. The attendant stopped before the door and bowed. Your Grace, the elders have assembled in the meeting hall. Duke Ellard stopped his pace. Those stubborn old fools have finally all arrived. They must be busy speculating about the situation. Except for Chairman Valeri, he must be fuming with rage right now. After all, his second son is imprisoned, and the Council of Elders was forcibly summoned. With his personality, he will never let this matter rest. The Duke stood before the portrait. Father, because of your incompetence. For many years, the ducal family could only dance in the palm of the Council of Elders. To expel those old fools and my incompetent father, and to reclaim the title, at 18 years old, I willingly became the Emperor's sword. I rushed to the battlefield and beat the drums of the Holy War. Struggling to survive in despair, I bore the notorious name of the Empire's cold-blooded demon. With the help of Grand Duke Bellis and Marquis de, I finally seized the title from the previous Duke. However, the claws of the Council of Elders were already deeply rooted within the family, making them difficult to eradicate. A slight smile played on Duke Ellard's lips. For this moment, I have exhausted every effort. I really want to see their expressions right now. The doors to the meeting hall slowly opened. The head of the house has arrived. Duke Ellard stepped into the hall. His gaze swept across the long table. Elders sat on both sides of the long table. Duke Ellard walked toward the head seat. Everyone, please be seated. Chairman Valeri suddenly slammed the table and stood up. Your Grace, my son, the vice commander of the Knights, why was he thrown into the Duke's dungeon? Duke Ellard said. The news has not been officially released yet. How did the chairman learn of this? Your concern for the internal affairs of the Duke's manor is as impatient as ever. Chairman Valeri gnashed his teeth, letting out a dull, low growl. Duke Ellard turned his head toward Taz. Taz, let that person in. Taz bowed slightly. Understood. The doors opened again. Heavy footsteps approached. Chairman Valeri stared at the entrance in terror. Sid Valeri staggered into the room. Father, Chairman Valeri suddenly stood up. This is simply an insult. How can you treat a noble knight like this? Duke Ellard let out a cold laugh. A noble knight. How ridiculous. Sid, say it yourself. Did you truly uphold your knightly oath? Sid trembled all over. Duke Ellard pressed him again. I ask you one more time. Are you truly a knight? Why don't you answer? Whispers broke out around the long table. Duke Ellard looked around the room. Then, let us ask the vassals who are loyal to the Ellard family. I believe you have all heard about the suffering Miss Dana endured recently. Chairman Valeri tried to maintain his composure. Is that not the fault of the one responsible for her escort? That fellow named Taz. A knight stepped forward. That day, the vice commander, in charge of the secret guard, ordered us to stand by. He said that since Your Grace had already given the escort mission to Lord Taz, until further orders were received, we did not need to escort the young miss. After the young miss went missing, he also urged us to remain silent, claiming he was afraid of disturbing Your Grace. Duke Ellard let out a cold laugh. How utterly absurd. Chairman Valeri suddenly rushed toward his son, delivering a heavy slap to his face. You lunatic. How dare you use the young Miss's safety to play your schemes? Do you still dare call yourself a son of Valeri? Who is loyal to the Ellard family? Chairman Valeri turned to face Duke Ellard. Your Grace, from this moment on, this man is no longer my son. This was merely his personal act of stupidity. Please do not doubt our family's loyalty. Duke Ellard tapped his fingertips lightly on the armrest. Is that so? Then, Count Valeri's family embezzling the Knight Order's budget to purchase a mine? Was that also Sid's unauthorized action alone? Chairman Valeri froze in place. Cold sweat soaked through his collar. Duke Ellard announced that from this moment on, the Valeri family would be stripped of their vassal status. Chairman Valeri fell to his knees. Lord Duke, please forgive us this once. Knight stepped forward to drag the Valeri father and son away. Let go of me. The pleas for mercy disappeared outside the door. The heavy doors of the meeting hall slammed shut. Duke Ellard looked down both sides of the long table. Next week, I shall head to the royal capital. Before that, I want to host a small banquet. Sunlight filled the garden of the Duke's estate. Petals drifted down with the wind. Spring seems to have truly arrived. Leah strolled lightheartedly through the garden. Her skirt billowed among the flower beds. It is indeed fine weather for a walk. The Duchess followed Leah's figure with her gaze. How do you feel? Leah stopped in her tracks. She turned around and flashed a smile. I'm very happy. Thank you, madam. She specifically brought me out for a walk because she was worried about me. Although the Valeri family has already received their due punishment, she still worries that the events of that day might have hurt me. Every moment I stay at the Duke's estate, I can feel it. The Duchess is such a warm person, just like the sunlight. As long as she is around, I feel safe and comfortable. Leah's smile gradually faded. Wait, this is really dangerous. I have already decided not to depend on anyone ever again. Her hand tightened on her skirt. If this continues, it will be no different from before. I must close off my heart. The Duchess looked at the Duke beside her. This afternoon I plan to go out for measurements. To make a dress to wear at the banquet, Duke Ellard stood with his hands behind his back. Once we go to the royal capital, it will be difficult to meet with the vassals of our territory again, so we should indeed hold a banquet. Leah suddenly looked up. Her pupils trembled. Going to the royal capital? The Duchess smiled. Why do you want to go to the royal capital? That place will only tire you out. She looked at Leah. Leah, it's your first time going to the royal capital, right? Leah froze in place. If she goes there, she will die. The Duchess stayed in the territory to raise her children after marriage. Less than a year after moving to the royal capital, she passed away. The cause of death was always a mystery. Rumors said she was bedridden for a long time. When I first met her, her health was surprisingly good. Could it really be mental illness, as the rumors said? The Duchess came from a fallen noble family. Her status was close to that of a commoner. At the time, the marriage faced strong opposition from the vassals. Duke Elord ignored all the noise. Heading to the royal capital in such a situation, she will inevitably face the cold shoulder of other nobles. If mental stress was the main cause, I must stop her from going to the royal capital. But I cannot interfere with the Duchess's social activities, the Duchess said. Alan said today he wants to stay in his room. Duke Ellard was puzzled. Alan is refusing to come out. That's rare. Leah thought deeply. That day he hid behind a tree and saw his trusted mentor's true face with his own eyes. It must have been a huge blow to him. The Duchess suddenly grabbed Leah's hand. Today, let us two girls spend a warm day together. Leah looked up. Her gaze flickered in the sunlight. Yes, madam. The magnificent carriage stopped in front of the estate. Taz stood by the vehicle. Madam, miss, I will be responsible for the escort today. Taz supported the Duchess's arm. Madam, please watch the steps. The Duchess nodded. Thank you, Sir Taz. Taz turned to look at Leah. I feel both ashamed and deeply grateful. It was like this when we first met, and it is the same now. I owe you a huge favor. You are a clever and capable child. I am not sure if you will ever need my help, but if there is anything I can do for you, please be sure to tell me. I will certainly repay your kindness. Leah waved her hands repeatedly. No need, really. It was nothing. Taz looked toward the shadows deep in the garden. Jack, how long are you going to keep hiding? Don't be shy. Come out. Steady footsteps rang out. Jack walked from behind the tree shadows into the sunlight. Hi, Leah. Taz pressed a hand on Jack's shoulder. This child is exceptionally gifted. I have decided to take him as my apprentice. He has just become a trainee knight. In a few years, he will be officially appointed. Leah rushed forward and grasped Jack's hand. Jack, congratulations. Jack averted his gaze. Thank you. Leah tilted her head. Thank me for what? Jack placed a hand over his heart. Thank you for letting me become a knight. Leah stared at Jack's profile. His ears were completely red, although it's a bit embarrassing, even without me. Jack would have become one of the Empire's 3 greatest knights. Of course, I can't say that out loud. I showed a brilliant smile. Jack, this is all the result of your own hard work. Truly, many congratulations to you. Jack froze in place. A blush spread across his cheeks. All right, hurry onto the carriage, Leah marveled. At times like this, he really is just a little child. The carriage sped through the forest. Leah pressed down on the cushion beneath her. So soft and smooth, even more comfortable than the last carriage I rode. The Duchess handed over a small cloth bag. Leah, you should have some snacks too. You must eat something sweet before shopping. Leah pinched a piece of candy. She put it into her mouth. So sweet, thank you, madam. Dana looked at Leah. Sister, you are so cute. Leah was stunned. What? The Duchess laughed out loud. You are just too cute. The carriage came to a steady stop. The Duchess stepped down the footboard while leaning on Toss's hand. Her movements were elegant. Leah sat inside the carriage compartment, looking at the height from the ground. Although it's a bit high, jumping down should be no problem. A hand was extended in front of her. Jack blocked the carriage door. It's high here. Grip my hand tightly. Leah was stunned. Thank you. I took Jack's hand. She jumped down from the carriage. Jack, you really look like a knight now. So handsome, Dana rushed out from behind. She took a bite of Jack's hand. I am handsome too. Leah, look at me. The Duchess cried out in surprise. Dana, what are you doing? Dana waved her arms. She is my princess. Leah looked at Jack's hand. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Jack shook his head. It's fine. She's just a child. Dana burst into loud crying. I want to be sister's knight too. Leah looked around. There was no sign of the crying stopping at all. What should I do? Her gaze fell upon a roadside stall. That's the one. The doorbell jangled. The shopkeeper bowed. Welcome. Leah led Dana into the shop. Each of them held a giant cloud of cotton candy. Dana finally stopped crying. Her cheeks were puffed out and full. Leah observed the magnificent interior. This was the first time she had been to such a specialized clothing store. The Duchess walked toward the counter. Please tailor clothes for all of us. She opened her arms wide. Now it's happy shopping time. Let's pick out some beautiful clothes. Leah waved her hand. Have fun. Dana stood behind the fitting room door. She pulled back the curtain and walked out. Her hands were twisted together. The Duchess turned her head. What is it, Leah? Leah said. The staff kept taking my measurements, and they won't stop showing me clothes. I think they might have misunderstood something. The Duchess let out a soft laugh. Is there a problem? All the clothes you've tried on are yours. Leah's eyes widened. What? This is really too much. Dana ran over, holding up her skirt. Sister, she had changed into a long blue dress. Have you finished changing? Leah lunged forward and hugged her. Dana, you look like a little fairy. Dana nuzzled against Leah's cheek. You are super beautiful too, sister, Leah said. Let's sit down and rest for a while. Dana nodded. Okay. A voice drifted over. Why can't I have it? A girl stood with her arms crossed. Her brow was furrowed. Don't you know I took a fancy to this months ago? The clerk lowered her head. Her hands were clasped anxiously. But you didn't pay a deposit? I'm truly sorry. The girl suddenly reached out. Her finger pointed directly. Leah, what are you looking at? You rude little brat. Leah shielded Dana in front of her. I can't cause a scene here. A noble woman grabbed the girl's arm. Letitia, stop it, and let's go. Letitia struggled and looked back. But mother? That's the dress I wanted. The noble woman leaned close to Letitia. She whispered in her ear. The Duchess is here, inspecting the shop. If you cause a scene before the banquet, it will leave a bad impression. Letitia gnashed her teeth. I understand. She turned around. Her gaze stabbed toward Leah like an arrow. Leah shrank her shoulders in surprise. Young people nowadays are getting bolder and bolder. Leah lightly touched her temple. Madam, is it really all right for me to wear such expensive jewelry? The Duchess smiled and nodded. Of course it is. Dana gave it to you herself. High Heels stepped across the floor. Leah gazed at herself in the mirror. The kind people of the Duke's family. All of this is beautiful like a dream. It feels like it will vanish if I wake up. Dana, thank you. I will cherish it. Dana clapped her hands happily. Sister, you're so pretty. The heavy door was pushed open slowly. Alan stepped into the room. Are you ready? He stopped in his tracks. His gaze froze on what was ahead. His pupils contracted suddenly. Leah, what are you wearing on your head? Leah touched the side of her hair. This was given to me by the miss. Alan strides closer. He suddenly waves his hand. The hair ornament is roughly torn off. Do you have any idea what this is? The Duchess sharply intervenes. Alan, such rude behavior. Apologized to Leah immediately. That was personally put on her by Dana. Leah, did nothing wrong. You were being too disrespectful. Alan grits his teeth. His body trembles violently. I hate you. If only you had never come to our house. I freeze in place. Tears well up in my eyes. Alan turns around abruptly. His cloak draws an arc in the air. He rushes toward the door. The door is slammed shut heavily. The vibration echoes through the corridor. I lower my head. It's all because of me. Duchess. Am truly sorry. The Duchess holds my hand. It's all right. This is not your fault. That hair ornament was a birthday gift Alan gave to Dana not long ago. He probably misunderstood. It was my oversight. I will teach him a proper lesson. I shake my head quickly. It's all right. It's fine, the Duchess says. Then go to the banquet hall first. Dana and I will arrive shortly. Wait for us there. All right. I curtsy. As you command, madam. I walk alone through the corridor. Alan really cares about his sister. It's natural for him to be angry. I must apologize to him formally later. Inside the banquet hall, it's bustling with voices. Guests hold their glasses and converse. A folding fan is thrown heavily onto the sofa. So annoying, Baron Jade frowns and turns his head. Letitia, what are you doing? Can't you be more composed? Letitia pulls at the hem of her skirt. But this isn't the dress I wanted at all. Baron Jade scolds her. Enough. You must leave a good impression on that lady. This is a rare opportunity. The black pieces on the chessboard are crossed out one by one. The Valeri baronial family and their confidants have been purged. Several important positions under the Duke have become vacant. Baron Jade stares at Letitia. The Duke's favorite youngest daughter is about your age. As long as you perform well, our family can rise again. The Baroness remains expressionless. I heard that the cause of this incident was simply because of that girl. A little maid favored by her said something. Baron Jade snorts coldly. Stupid. That was just an excuse. Everyone knows the Duke has disliked Valeri for a long time. Rumor has it the Duchess dotes on that child. Perhaps she will receive support. Letitia rests her chin on her hand and looks out the window. An uneducated commoner. What kind of support could she get? They are all baseless rumors. But it has already spread within the circle of peers. That eccentric little miss has actually become obsessed with a commoner maid. The corners of Letitia's mouth curve upward. But it doesn't matter. This time I will definitely capture that lady's heart. The carriage door opens. The attendant announces loudly, Baron Jade has arrived. Baron Jade turns his head. Letitia, you must perform well. Do you understand? Letitia's tone is impatient. I know without you telling me. She looks around. Where is that lady? Her gaze sweeps through the crowd. Her pupils suddenly contract. Layers of lace and ribbons billow under the lights. That is the dress she has dreamed of. Letitia walks quickly toward that figure. She lightly tapped the other's shoulder with her folding fan. Miss. Laya turned around abruptly. Are you calling me? Letitia nodded. Exactly. May I ask which house you are from? Letitia's shoulders trembled slightly. This child is the girl I saw at the boutique that day. She is calling me Miss. Has she already forgotten me? I should use a more formal tone. Leah took a deep breath. I am. The doors burst open. The attendant announced loudly. Their Graces, the Duke and Duchess, have arrived. The guests bowed one after another. Greetings, Your Grace. I hope the Duchess has been well. Leah turned her head. Her gaze swept across the crowd. Dana was trying hard to hold back her tears. She was acting very strong. Letitia closed her folding fan. Miss, our conversation is not over yet, but you are looking elsewhere. Don't you think that's very rude? Leah froze on the spot. But the Duke and Duchess just entered. Letitia pressed her further. I was the one who spoke to you first. You should answer me first. Dana ran over quickly. The soles of her shoes tapped against the floor, making a rapid pitter-patter sound. She suddenly threw herself into Leah's arms. Her hands gripped Lia's waist tightly. Sister, I missed you so much. Dana looked up. Her cheeks were flushed. I've been watching you from over there, sister. Leah stood dazed. Miss, so many people are watching. Letitia's face turned deathly pale. The folding fan trembled in her hand. Miss Dana, why are you paying attention to such a lowly person? Dana let go of the embrace. She suddenly pointed her finger at Letitia. You dummy. Why are you bullying my sister? Letitia staggered back a step. Cold sweat trickled down from her temple. Miss, I didn't. The guests were whispering among themselves. Whispers spread through the banquet hall. What happened? Letitia froze on the spot. Her fingers gripped the hem of her dress tightly. This is bad. This has become a huge scene. Leah opened her arms. Miss Im, fine. Nothing happened. Dana puffed out her cheeks. But she was glaring at you just now. Leah took Dana's hand. You must have been mistaken. Come on, let's go play over there. Dana was pulled away. I definitely saw it. Letitia stood frozen. A shadow fell over her face. That insolent girl. I will never let this go. Sunlight filled the garden. Guests were strolling across the lawn. Leah walked with Dana under the shade of the trees. Dana looked down. I just wanted to protect you, sister. I don't like people who are mean to my sister. So I'm going to teach them a lesson? Because Dana is sister's night? Leah lowered her eyes. A smile touched her lips. Miss, you have already protected me. The way you stood in front of me earlier was truly brave. And very cool, too. Dana's eyes sparkled. Really? Was Dana really that cool? Leah nodded. So please, don't be angry anymore. After all that effort, you must be hungry. Go get some snacks. Please sit here for a moment. Dana sat down obediently. She waved her little hand. Okay, sister, come back soon. Leah picked up the plate. Could there be a better warrior in the world than him? Just to see me. He ran all the way here without even eating. I must quickly pick out some delicious things to take back. Enjoying such a luxurious noble gathering outdoors, it's truly extravagant. Which one should I choose first? The chocolate fountain poured down. A sweet fragrance filled the air. Leah's eyes widened. It's practically a chocolate paradise. Macarons were stacked into towers. Cakes were adorned with berries. They shimmered under the sunlight. Two noble women whispered nearby, Is that the child brought by that madam? Leah's movements froze. Her hand stopped in midair. Mocking laughter came from behind. She doesn't even look like much. Why did that madam bring someone like this? Leah looked down to avoid their gaze. Ignore them. It's normal for an uninvited guest to be gossiped about. Right now, the most important thing is, footsteps approached from a distance. Leah suddenly looked up. Why is Alan here? If I run into him, it will definitely be another round of trouble. I must get back to Dana quickly. A hand wearing a white glove suddenly reached out. It pushed hard against Leah's back. Leah's body lost its balance. She tumbled forward. She fell heavily onto the grass. Wine splashed all over her. The Duchess walked over quickly. What happened? Leah, are you hurt? Leah struggled to get up. Thank you for your concern, Duchess. I'm fine. The Duchess looked worried. Are you sure? Is it really all right? Lia's fingers dug deep into the grass. Someone pushed me from behind. It must be a child from some noble family. If I make a scene now, it will only cause trouble for the Duke's family. I can't let them be dragged into this. I must endure it. Whispers rose up all around. Even in fine clothes, a lowly person can't hide their rudeness. To think Shed caused such a commotion at the banquet, a hand suddenly pointed out. It was that person who pushed Leah. Alan strode into the crowd. He looked straight at Letitia. His voice was cold. I saw it very clearly. You were the one who pushed her. Letitia pressed her hand to her chest. Young master, what are you saying? How could I possibly push a maid? I swear I never did such a thing. Alan took a step forward. I saw it with my own eyes. You still want to deny it. Everyone saw it, right? Everyone saw her push. Leah, isn't that right? The surrounding noblewomen covered their mouths in shock. Their fans trembled at their fingertips. Their gazes wavered between the two. Heavy boots stepped across the grass. Duke Illard pushed through the crowd. Why has no one asked the person involved? It's meaningless for bystanders to argue here. His gaze swept over the crowd. Finally, it landed on Leah, who was sitting on the ground. Leah, answer for yourself. Were you pushed down by someone? Or did you fall by yourself? Leah lowered her eyes. I didn't fall by myself. Someone did indeed push me. Alan waved his arm forcefully. I told you this child pushed her. Letitia gripped the hem of her skirt tightly. I really didn't push her. Duke Ellard stared at Leah. Then did you see what the person who pushed you looked like? Leah shook her head gently. I didn't see. The corner of Letitia's mouth curved up slightly. Since she didn't see the face, and there are no other witnesses, as long as I act pitiful and bluff my way through, no noble will side with a lowly maid. Leah raised her head. Her gaze became firm. But I have evidence. Letitia's body suddenly stiffened. She raised her right hand. At the moment I fell, I instinctively grabbed the person who pushed me. This is the piece of fabric I tore off at that time. A scrap of lace fringe dangled at her fingertips. The torn edge was jagged and uneven. The guests let out a gasp of surprise. That's the lace from Miss Letitia's dress. Letitia froze on the spot. A glaring gap was visible on the edge of her skirt. The torn section matched the fabric in Leah's hand perfectly. Alan let out a cold sneer. Didn't you just say you hadn't gone near her at all? Then, how did this piece of fabric end up in her hand? Did it fly there by itself? Letitia's face turned deathly pale. Cold sweat slid down her temples. The sound of hurried footsteps burst into the venue. Baron Gede hurried over. Letitia, what on earth happened? To think you would cause such a scandal at a banquet, shaming the Lord Duke. Duke Ellard slowly turned around. His gaze was ice cold. Baron Gede, since your daughter has caused chaos at today's banquet, you must take responsibility for this. Baron Gede shuddered violently. Lord Duke, it's not like that. Alan reached out a hand to Leah on the ground. Leah, stand up. Leah's fingertips lightly rested on that broad palm. Alan stood in front of Leah. She belongs to Dana. She isn't someone you can just bully whenever you want. Letitia covered her face and ran away. Sorry, Alan shouted at her, retreating back. Don't forget to pay for the dress. That was a matching set with Dana. Now it's completely ruined. The Duchess supported Leah's shoulder. Leah, are you all right? Leah kept her head down. Tears dripped onto the grass. Sorry, madam. I got the dress dirty. I am truly very sorry. She wiped her tears with the back of her hand. Her shoulders trembled violently. I ruined this garment. Sorry, the Duchess comforted Leah softly. It's all right. You don't need to apologize. This was not your fault at all. She cupped Leah's face. She wiped away the tears at the corners of her eyes. We can just buy a new dress. Right. Hurried footsteps approached from the distance. Dana slammed into Leah's arms. Her hands tightly circled the other's waist. Sister, are you okay? They actually bullied Sister. The dress is all dirty. Let's go buy a new one. The Duchess stood to the side. All right, let's go buy a new one. Leah broke into a smile through her tears. Her palm rested on Dana's silver hair. Thank you for worrying about me. She lowered her eyelashes. That's right. I won't be a pushover in this life. I will never again silently endure injustice. For these people who truly care about me, I must become strong. Leah let out a long sigh of relief. I can finally breathe. And so, the banquet came to a close. At least the worst-case scenario was avoided. If there were no evidence, and if Alan and the Duke hadn't stood on my side, no one would have believed the words of a maid. As expected, having money and status is everything. Once we reach the imperial capital, I must start making money, seriously. Leah pushed open the door. Her body suddenly froze. Why are you here? Alan turned sideways. His gaze was cold. Follow me. Leah's face was full of panic. Suddenly telling me to follow, he didn't even offer an explanation. Haven't we already made up? You clearly just helped me a moment ago. Where are you taking me now? Alan pointed at the 3-tier dessert stand on the table. Eat it. I stood frozen on the spot. What is this? Alan folded his arms across his chest. Eat all of this. I stared at the table full of cakes and fruit. Although I don't understand his intention, I haven't eaten anything since this morning. My stomach has long been flat with hunger. I grabbed a fork, cut off a piece of cake, and stuffed it into my mouth. Then I want to be polite. Thank you for the treat. The cream melted on the tip of my tongue. I narrowed my eyes happily. Tears welled up in the corners of my eyes. It's so delicious. Alan lowered his eyelids, avoiding my gaze. Sorry, I stopped my movements. My mouth still stuffed with cake. What did you just say? Alan turned his head. I said, sorry. I shouldn't have gotten angry with you. I heard everything that happened from my mother. I was once certain you had ulterior motives for being good to Dana, but in such a moment of crisis, you didn't have any energy left to calculate or scheme. I said some very harsh things to you. That was all my fault. Seeing you always reminded me of the pain of losing Dana, so I took the blame that you shouldn't have had to bear. Invented my anger on you. I am truly sorry, I said. More than that. I'm more grateful that you stood up for me then, Alan said. That was only natural. That guy did something terrible, and you were wronged. I could never just sit by and let such injustice happen. I revealed a brilliant smile. The young master really is very cool, so please don't make that kind of expression. With such a handsome face, furrowing your brow is such a waste. Alan's cheeks instantly flushed red. How can you say such things without even blinking? I tilted my head. Why should I feel embarrassed? I'm just stating facts. Alan put one hand on his hip. I am indeed very handsome. My eyes curved with a smile. Yes, you are very handsome. Alan suddenly leaned in close. And you are ugly. I puffed out my cheeks in annoyance. I was clearly complimenting you. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Although today was a mess from start to finish, to be able to end it this way feels pretty good. Fireworks exploded in the night sky. A new year began. I turned 9 years old as expected. Life returned to tranquility. Preparations for heading to the royal capital were well underway. A woman wearing glasses stopped her footsteps. Her gaze fell upon me. Is it this child? The one who discovered the splesia? My throat moved slightly. I swallowed hard. What's going on? The study was brightly lit. Duke Ellard sat behind his large desk. Several attendants stood solemnly to the side. I stood in the middle of the room. Appearing somewhat uneasy, the woman with glasses placed one hand over her chest. Her gaze behind the lenses was sharp and calm. Apologies for the late introduction. I am Baron Baldo, Duke Ellard's primary physician. I held my breath. Baron Baldo, the woman who surpassed her brothers with her exceptional medical skills, to become the head of the Empire's most famous medical family. Duke Ellard's sudden summons was actually to introduce this famous doctor. I lowered my head to avoid her gaze. If only had given even a tiny hint, this meeting is truly too sudden. Baron Baldo pulled out a plant. The green leaves swayed at his fingertips. How did you recognize this as splesia? Leah took the herb. Her fingertips slid across the stalk. It looks like a weed. But there is a difference in the stem and leaves. Look at these tiny hairs here, and the leaf veins that spread out like a spider web. This is the biggest difference between it and a weed. Baron Baldo pushed up his glasses. Several attendants gathered around. They stared at the plant and gasped in amazement. I never thought I'd see splesia in my lifetime, Your Grace. Perhaps we should contact mages for collaborative cultivation research. Leah stood to the side, watching the adults discuss enthusiastically. Although I was worried this rare herb would be overlooked, it seems they are well aware of its value. Baron Baldo's gaze was burning. Child, have you seen any other herbs? Leah was stunned. Other herbs. Baron Baldo laughed heartily. If you know anything, please be sure to tell us. Studying medicine or pharmacology might be a good idea. Leah turned pale. This familiar feeling, this oppressive sense of being overexpected. Duke Ellard stepped in front of Leah. He raised his hand to signal everyone to step back. His gaze was icy. Enough. That's enough. The discussion is over. Go back and continue your research. Baron Baldo and his attendants bowed. Yes, Your Grace. The door closed heavily. Leah let out a long sigh of relief. Finally, it's quiet. Duke Ellard watched OIA. You really are a lucky charm. My wife once said that someone who brings good luck had entered the house. Leah gave a dry laugh. If I were truly lucky, I wouldn't have experienced so much suffering. Duke Ellard said, the herb you found is extraordinary. If the cultivation is successful, not only can it be made into good medicine, but it will also be sold throughout the empire. Under the name of the Ellard family, Leah crossed her hands. The reputation of the Duke's family will reach a new level. Everyone will praise this place. Duke Ellard said, I plan to reward you. Just ask for whatever you want. Leah's eyes widened. A reward? Duke Ellard's expression was composed. Since it is a rare herb, It's only fair to give you a share of the payment. You didn't think ID let you work for nothing, did you? Although, I don't know how long cultivation will take. As long as it generates profit, there will naturally be a share for you. What I said before still stands. If you want to learn anything, just say the word. Leah clenched her hands. There is something I want. The next day, sunlight flooded the Duke's estate. Leah hummed a little tune. Her skirt swayed lightly with her steps. She stood before the full-length mirror. I've finally put on the official maid uniform. Before, the butler always said there was no suitable size. I could only wear inconvenient high-end dresses. Now I've finally changed into this, although it's a bit embarrassing. I really like it. And they gave me so many spare outfits. I don't have to worry if they get dirty. Leah snapped her suitcase shut. It made a crisp sound. All right, let's go. The day of departure for the imperial capital? That day has finally arrived. The gates of the Duke's estate swung open. A magnificent carriage stood in the center of the courtyard. Servants were busy carrying supplies. Alan pressed his hand against his sword hilt. His brow furrowed slightly. Really? Was he very quiet and well-behaved before? Jack gazed at the carriage in the distance. I don't know him very well either. I didn't talk to him much at the orphanage. Leah was lost in thought. After sparring a few times, the two of them suddenly became close. Alan was pensive. Is that so? Jack gripped the sword at his waist. We lived in the same orphanage for several years, but we weren't even close, let alone friends. Alan remained silent. His gaze landed on Jack's face. Why did Leah specifically request father? To let him join the knights? Is it because of that face? Leah suddenly poked her head out from behind the two of them. Alan jumped up on the spot, startled. You scared the life out of me. Leah shrank her neck back. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Duke Ellard walked over. What is all this shouting about? Is everyone ready to depart for the capital? Dana suddenly jumped between the two of them, pointing at Alan and shouting, Don't raise your voice at sister. Duke Ellard's expression was indifferent. He turned and walked toward the carriage. We depart immediately. Everyone, get in. Dana pounced on Alan and bit his hand. Alan cried out, Don't just walk away. Someone stop him? Duke Ellard looked at Leah. You ride with us? Leah froze in place. Riding in the servant's carriage? To the capital takes 15 days. Only the Duke's family can use the expensive teleportation arrays. If I join, the cost will increase significantly. Duke Ellard spoke. If you aren't there, Dana won't stop crying. Dana waved her hands and shouted, That's right, I'll cry forever. I'll keep crying. Sweat broke out on Leah's forehead. Then, excuse me for the intrusion, the white horses raised their heads and neighed. The wheels rolled over the grass. Depart, the carriage sped through the forest. Silence fell inside the carriage. Leah sat in the corner holding Dana, watching the scenery rapidly recede outside the window. Once we reached the capital, the Duke said he would open a vault in my name and even assign a dedicated investment manager. In a while, I should be able to receive the allowance for the medicinal herbs. This is completely different from the original plan. It means I will have a continuous connection with the Illard family. But as long as I'm not bound to their household, it should be fine. Alan turned his head, his gaze cold. Hey, ugly, looks aren't everything. Since you don't seem to understand that, I'll tell you myself. Leah suddenly turned her head. What? The journey to the capital began in a strange atmosphere. Rain drummed against the domed buildings. The Duke's capital estate stood solemnly under the dark clouds. The Duchess stepped down from the carriage. Has everyone been well? Albert, the butler, bowed slightly. Yes, madam. Everything is in order. The Duchess handed over the towel in her hand. It's been a long time. Albert. By the way, where is the Duke? Albert lowered his head and responded, Your Grace. Due to some urgent matters, he has gone to the Imperial Palace first. Leah stood at the back, her gaze sweeping across the magnificent hall. What is this intense hostility? Who on earth is that woman? A woman stepped forward quickly, her hands folded in front of her. This must be Miss Dana. She looks just like the Duke. It is an honor to meet you. I am Helen, the head maid. Dana suddenly burst into loud tears. Her crying echoed through the hall. The Duchess leaned down. Dana is not usually a child who cries without reason. Alan, take her upstairs first. Alan looked flustered. All right, Dana, let's go. Albert the butler stepped aside. I shall lead the way for you. Leah took a step forward. I'll go too. The Duchess pressed a hand on Leah's shoulder. With a gentle smile, she said, Helen, it's been a long time. I forgot to introduce her. This child is Leah. Leah felt a bit awkward. She bowed slightly. Hello, my name is Leah. I am the one responsible for taking care of Miss Dana. Two maids leaned in together, whispering in low voices. Who is that girl? She actually used the teleportation array with the Duchess, dressed like a maid. Yet I just saw Miss Dana hugging her. Leah's fingers suddenly gripped the hem of her skirt tightly. It's happening again. Just like the day in my memory when I first followed the chairman to the Union, The union member's eyes were wary, staring intently at me. What followed was only awkwardness and rejection. This time will be the same. I cannot draw any more attention to myself. During my stay at the Duke's estate, I only need to show enough intelligence to remain by Dana's side. That's enough. The Duchess looked at Helen. I sent a letter before coming to the capital. Is the room for Laya prepared? Dana is very fond of her. I want a room prepared right next to Dana. Helen stepped forward. Madam, that is against the rules. The Duchess was taken aback. What did you say? Helen spoke expressionlessly. How can a maid live in the main building, let alone live next door to the young lady? We have already prepared a room in the maid's dormitory. She should stay there. The Duchess frowned slightly. But Dana will keep looking for her. Helen bowed slightly. Then place a chair for her in the hallway. That way she can be on standby at any time during the night. The Duchess's expression darkened. What do you mean by this? Leah stepped forward quickly. Madam, it's all right. I am already very grateful that a room was prepared for me. She showed a smile. The headmaid's hostility is too strong. I can't let the situation worsen. The Duchess looked down at Laya. She let out a sigh. Do as the headmaid says. Take her to the room. Helen, the headmaid, tilted her head slightly. Yes, madam. Sunlight poured into the Duke's estate. It had been a week since arriving in the capital. Leah was wiping the windows. As the deputy commander, the Duke commuted to the imperial palace every day. I hardly ever see his face. As for the Duchess, she was busy attending social gatherings with other noble ladies. Unexpectedly, the things I originally worried about didn't happen. Helen assisted the Duchess in all matters, although she always nagged about rules and etiquette. But then, the real thing to worry about occurred. Several maids blocked the path. Are you Laya? I heard the young lady dotes on you very much. You even eat with her, and wanted to live in the same room. No matter how much you are favored, you should know your place. I heard you were an orphan. Being able to work in the Duke's estate is already a great honor. Without a letter of recommendation, did you think it would be easy to find work here? Leah looked troubled. They are actually picking on a 9-year-old child. How shameless. She looked up. Yes, you're right. I feel deeply honored to work here. The maids were stunned. What? Leah showed a brilliant smile. So I will work twice as hard. The maids looked embarrassed. As long as you understand, after wiping the windows, don't just hang around there. There is a pile of clothes in the dormitory to be washed. Go get to work. Now, I trot away. All right, I understand. There is no need to respond to such provocation. Anyway, I am used to this level of bullying. The maids let out gasps. Heavens, why is Acer Knight here? A few minutes ago, Jack stopped beside a maid. I have something I would like to ask you. The maid nodded. Of course, please speak, Jack asked. Do you know where a girl named Leah is? The maid was stunned. Why are you looking for her? Jack's gaze was ice. Is it necessary for me to answer that? The maid's body trembled slightly. It's not necessary. If it is that girl, she should be in the laundry room right now. Jack turned toward the courtyard. Shouldn't she be by the missus' side at this time? Why is she doing this kind of manual labor in the imperial capital? The sound of water rang out. I scrubbed the clothes with all my might. I wiped the sweat from my forehead. But I will be done very soon. A hand suddenly grabs my wrist. The grip is heavy. I look up in shock. Jack, why are you here? Jack looks down at me. His eyes are stern. What are you doing here? Are those the only words you have for me? Jack looks down at me. I have been in the imperial capital for several days. Did you really not hear that I was here? Even young Master Allen said he hasn't seen you lately. Didn't he mention me to you? I avert my gaze. The young master has been very busy lately, so it is difficult to run into him. Whispers come from the distance. What is going on with that maid in the night? Even the Duchess and the Ms. favor her. Is she taking herself too seriously? I glance around out of the corner of my eye. This is not good. Everyone is watching us. The young maids love this kind of gossip. I force a smile. Anyway, it is good to see you again. But I am a bit busy right now. Jack glances at the piles of laundry. Are you doing all of this by yourself? Shouldn't you be by the missus' side? I look away. I just happen to be free. I am not always by her side. A maid runs over in a hurry. Leah, don't. You have a tea party appointment with the miss. Hurry over there. I show a troubled expression, but there is still laundry that isn't finished. Jack squats down. Shall I help you? You look like you are in a rush. I wave my hands repeatedly. No need, Jack. Go mind your own business. A short-haired maid approaches me. Leave this to me to handle. You go ahead. We should help each other out. The miss must be waiting for you. Go quickly. I lift the hem of my skirt. Thank you. I am truly grateful. I run toward the distance. See you later, Jack. Jack stands up abruptly. Wait, Laya. A hand grabs Jack's sleeve. Sir Knight. The short-haired maid leans in close. If you are not busy, could you help me move the washed laundry? It is really too heavy for me. Jack's gaze is gloomy. Leah is younger and smaller than you. She could do it all by herself. Couldn't she? The maid's smile freezes. What? Jack pulls his sleeve away. I am sure you can do it too. The short-haired maid stands there stunned. Please wait a moment. Sir Knight? Leah ran quickly down the gallery. Her leather shoes stepped across the carpet, making hurried sounds. She slowed down her pace. Jack, your popularity is really no joke. Those maids around 14 or 15 years old are all screaming for you, even though you are only 11 years old. You look much more mature than others your age. It's not just the maids. Even the noble ladies and high society women have nothing but high praise for him. But before he swore his loyalty to Dana, there were never any rumors about him. Leah hummed a little tune. That's only natural. With a girl as cute as Dana by his side, how could he possibly be interested in anyone else? How romantic. Alan crossed his arms. His eyes were cold and sharp. Tell me, who is romantic? Leah hunched her shoulders. It's nothing. You finished your training early today, young master? Alan looked away. His cheeks were slightly red. I moved quickly so I could eat with Dana. It's definitely not to see you. Dana has been busy studying lately. I haven't had a chance to see her. That's why I specially made time to have a meal with her. Leah nodded. So that's how it is. Dana is still so young. Isn't the home tutoring a bit too burdensome? Helen stood before the Duchess. Her tone was stern. The young lady is falling too far behind other noble ladies. The Duchess could only follow the advice and intensify her education. Regarding matters of the social circle, Helen should know best, Leah said. However, Miss Dana seems to be adapting well. I haven't heard any complaints. Alan's expression grew serious. Well, talk about that later. You're here for the tea party, right? Hurry and go in. She's waiting for you. Leah waved goodbye. Good luck with your training. She pushed open the door. I feel like Alan was avoiding the question. Dana suddenly lunged forward and hugged Leah's waist. Sister Leah asked, How have you been lately? Dana looked up. I'm learning to write and draw, and I'm also practicing etiquette. Leah smiled. Wow, you've already learned so much. That's amazing. She let out a sigh of relief. Thank heavens. It seems she's keeping up with the progress. The Duchess pushed open the door. Long time no see? Leah asked, Madam, what are you doing here? The Duchess chuckled softly. I heard you were having tea. I made a special effort to come and see you, even though I still have a pile of work to handle. Helen slapped a thick stack of papers on the table. Madam, these are the budget documents that must be approved today, and the invitations for next week's gathering. Please review them. The Duchess's expression turned stiff. I understand. Thank you. Helen Leah looked at the pile of documents. The Duchess is really busy, the Duchess said. I've interrupted you. Quickly, sit down and eat. Helen has already prepared the tea. Leah looked at the teapot. Is it black tea? Dana might not like this taste much. Dana sat on the sofa, swinging her legs. Mama, I want to drink cocoa. Helen stepped forward. Young lady, for tomorrow's salon gathering, do you also plan to drink cocoa like a child? The Duchess roared. Helen, what do you mean by that? Why didn't you discuss this with me beforehand? Helen was expressionless. I mentioned it before. The young lady needs to begin her social activities. The Duchess gritted her teeth. Then you should also remember what I said. She is still too small. When she lived in the fief, she hardly ever saw children her own age. Helen pressed her forehead and let out a sigh. Madam, you did not grow up in the capital. You might not quite understand. For noble girls like her, building a social circle from a young age is vital. The Duchess was at a loss for words, her body trembling slightly. Helen continued to press. Moreover, Miss Dana is one of the few daughters of a duke in the empire. She is the sole heir of the family. She must become the flower of the social world. Otherwise, she will become a laughingstock to everyone. Dana looked toward Leah. If I go with sister? Helen interrupted the conversation. Young lady, that girl cannot go to the salon. Leah froze on the spot, her hands tightly clutching the hem of her skirt. Helen pushed forward another maid. This girl will accompany you. The girl squinted her eyes with a smile. Hello, young lady. My name is Sophie. The list of noble ladies attending tomorrow's salon, I know it all. You can't go wrong leaving it to me. I will handle everything. The Duchess suddenly turned her head. Helen, you've overstepped. To make such a decision without permission, Leah's hands tightened on her skirt. What exactly is happening? Dana is going to attend a salon, and she's not taking me with her, Helen said. It is time to choose a dedicated maid for the young lady. You aren't really planning to choose that girl named Leah, are you? We cannot casually place anyone by the young lady's side, especially when she is attending a salon for the first time. Such an occasion is no child's play. Helen continued her interrogation. Entrusting the young lady to such a young and ignorant child, can you truly be at ease? On the surface, a salon is a gathering of friendship, but in reality, it is a microcosm of high society. Those young nobles have already begun forming cliques. The slightest mistake will turn her into a laughingstock. We must carefully choose the accompanying maid, Duchess. It's just that, Helen, you may not know. Leah is a very bright and clever child. Helen remained expressionless. Since she could win the favor of the madam and the young lady, she is naturally smart. But she is not even 10 years old yet. Leah lowered her eyelashes. As a member of a branch of the Illard family, Helen not only manages household affairs, but also once assisted the Duchess when she first entered the capital's social circle. Although, speaking so bluntly to the Duchess seems rude. If it is for Dana's future, these words are not entirely without merit. Leah suddenly stood up and bowed her head. She retreated to the door. You need to prepare for the salon. I will take my leave first. Early the next morning, the carriage stopped in front of the manor. Leah stood at the end of the line with her head down. Sophie reached out her hand. Young lady, please let me help you into the carriage. Leah watched Dana. Dana is even cuter than usual today. She will surely become the protagonist of the salon. Dana turned her head, her gaze sweeping toward Leah. Leah held her breath. She is looking this way. Dana pursed her lips, her eyes instantly turning red. She burst out crying. Sophie was in a panic. Young lady, why so suddenly? Please stop crying. Dana stomped her feet and shouted, If sister doesn't go, then I won't go either. Sophie urged from behind. Young lady, please get into the carriage quickly. Leah stepped forward. Young lady, Dana stopped crying. Leah knelt down. There will be lots of delicious food there, and you'll make many new friends. Everyone is going to like you. It will definitely be fun. When you come back, I will read fairy tales to you and play with dolls with you. Dana was stunned. Really? Leah nodded. Of course, I promise. So you can't cry anymore. You have to go bravely. The two hooked their pinky fingers together, making a promise. Dana wiped away her tears. Okay. She leaned out of the window. She waved. Sister, I'm leaving. Leah stood there watching her go. Have a safe trip. Alan stared at Lias back. You little brat. Leah giggled behind her hand. If Dana were here, she would definitely bite his leg hard. What a pity. He turned his head. Why did you call me? Alan's brow furrowed. In a while, bring some snacks to the training grounds. Leah looked confused. Why the sudden request for snacks? Alan suddenly turned his head and spoke sharply. Just do as you're told. Why all the nonsense? I'm going to spar with Jack. I'll need to replenish my energy in between. Remember to prepare plenty. Don't be lazy. Don't let another maid bring them. You must come yourself. Leah felt helpless. She replied, Understood. Helen watched Lias back. Her gaze was cold, and she said nothing. The training ground was filled with wooden stakes. Jack looked at Alan, frowning. Do you have something to say to me? Alan folded his arms. She likes people who look good. She told me so herself, that I am very handsome. Jack stood frozen. What? Alan's lips curled up. In a provocative look, she kept staring at me. I asked her why, and she said it was because I'm good. Jack's face flushed red. Sweat slid down his cheek. I didn't know she liked that type. Leah said before that I was very handsome too. Alan gnashed his teeth, the veins on his forehead bulging. Really? Then you truly are special. Leah ran toward Jack. Both she and Alan turned their heads at the same time. Leah stopped her pace. I've brought the snacks. Jack stepped forward and reached out for the basket handle. Let me help you carry it. Leah looked up. Thank you, Jack. Jack's fingertips brushed against the basket. Isn't it heavy, carrying it alone? Leah waved her hand. Not at all. The way isn't far. Actually, I broke a sweat just trying to refuse. All the other maids who insisted on coming along. Alan stood to the side, his expression gloomy. Leah noticed something was wrong. I followed your orders and brought the snacks. Why does his face look so terrible? She lowered her head, her voice getting smaller. Young master, I've brought the food. Alan sized up the two of them. So you two have that kind of relationship. My cheeks instantly turned bright red. My pupils trembled. No. I leaped backward suddenly. I waved my hands wildly in front of me. What are you talking about? How dare you say such nonsense to Dana's man? I pointed my finger forward. Jack and I have been good friends since the orphanage. It's definitely not that kind of relationship. There's not a single shred of possibility. It could never happen. I turned my head to look at Jack. Right, Jack? Jack froze on the spot. A blush crept up his cheeks. His gaze wandered. He didn't say a word. My smile froze on my face. My pupils trembled slightly. Jack's reaction was beyond my expectations. I looked confused. Jack's expression is so strange. Is he angry because of the misunderstanding? I leaned in closer to Jack. Jack, are you okay? The young master is just joking around. Alan reached out and snatched the basket away. Jack, give the basket to me. He casually tossed a wine bottle. The bottle traced an arc through the air. Drink it and let's have another sparring match. Jack caught the bottle steadily. His gaze turned cold once more. His gaze was sharp as a blade. I won't go easy on you. Their gazes collided intensely. Alan turned his head to the side. Leah, go wait on the side and eat some snacks. I stood there, stunned. Okay, why did they suddenly become like this? The afterglow of the setting sun spilled over the castle towers. Jack put away his It's finally over. I walked quickly over to Jack. Is the cleanup finished? The young master is really too much. He always runs off by himself, leaving the mess for others to deal with. Alan waved and laughed in the distance. I have a date. I'm leaving first. Jack let out a sigh. I really can't do anything about him. He stared at me. Do you like young Master Alan? I froze. Are you asking about my feelings for the young master? Jack nodded firmly. Yes, I said. I'll tell you the truth. To me, the young master is like a little brother. Jack was stunned. But the young master is older than you, isn't he? I spread my hands. So what? He acts completely like a brat. I even heard the madam say that he still sleeps with a doll. Jack's face instantly turned pale. You really didn't need to tell me that. He was silent for a moment, his fists clenched at his sides. Then what about me? My eyes filled with confusion. What's wrong with you? Jack stood in the middle of the empty training ground. Do I also seem like a little brother to you? I shook my head decisively. No. I gave a bright smile. You are my friend. Jack's tense shoulders relaxed. The corners of his mouth turned up slightly. That's good to hear. Shouts came from the distance. Laya, Laya. I turned my head sharply. A maid hurried over. The miss has returned. Quickly, go to the madam's room. My eyes widened. Has the miss returned? The maid nodded. I'll clean up here. Hurry and go. I turned and started running. Jack, remember to go to the infirmary for your wounds? Jack reached out his hand. Wait, Leah? I pushed open the door. Returning so late, I wonder if he made any good friends. Madam Im coming in. The Duchess's gaze was gentle. Leah, you're here. Dana must be exhausted. She fell asleep as soon as she returned. Leah cupped her cheeks with both hands. So cute. Alan rested his chin on his hands. She's just like a little angel. The two looked at each other. They suddenly straightened up. Their expressions were awkward. The Duchess picked up an envelope from the table. Leah, I called you over because I have something to give you. Leah took the envelope. Her fingertips touched the thick paper. What is this? The Duchess said. This is a letter from Lady Bianca. Sorry, I opened it first. The recipient's name was written as mine. They probably assumed you were illiterate. Go ahead and read it. Leah's fingertips trembled slightly. It's a letter from Lady Bianca. I thought she had long forgotten me. The letter was spread out. The handwriting was delicate. Hello, Leah. I wonder if you still remember me. I heard you are living well at the Elord estate. I am relieved to know that the scars on your body have healed. I am very pleased. I really wish I could see it for myself. Grand Duke Bellis is the strongest archmage on the continent. The air is so handsome it's hard to keep one's eyes open. The sea view below the castle is breathtaking. Leah's mouth twitched. The entire page is filled with praise. This lady is truly patriotic. I pressed the letter against my cheek. The handwriting is so beautiful. It's so moving. I must cast a preservation spell on it when I get back. I'll keep it as a family heirloom. Alan frowned. When did you learn to read? I heard the orphanage doesn't teach that. Even Jack said. He was surprised you could read. Leah's body stiffened. An older sister used to visit the orphanage often. She taught me. The Duchess spoke softly. Leah, do you want to go to the Grand Duchy? Leah stroked her chin. I am indeed a bit curious after reading the letter. The Duchess lowered her eyes. The Bellis Grand Duchy is a fine place. Leah observed her expression. Is the madam trying to say something? Have you ever been there? The Duchess nodded gently. I've been. Alan suddenly jumped in. I've also been to the Bellis Grand Duchy. Leah was startled. The young master has been there too. Alan gesticulated wildly. That's right. It's super cool there. It's simply amazing. The Duchess turned her head. Alan, you went there once when you were 2 years old. Do you really remember it? Stop bragging. Alan froze in place. Bragging? How is that possible? The Duchess stood up. Sorry for taking up your time. Leah, it's already very late. Go back and rest. Leah bowed slightly. Yes, madam. I'll head back now. Alan muttered under his breath. I hate you, mother. The Duchess sat on the edge of the bed. She gazed out the window. I wonder how that child will answer. Leah held the envelope in her arms. She walked quickly through the corridor. Her skirt billowed with her movements. A few days later, Baron Baldo smiled. Thank you, Leah. Thanks to you. Those urgent matters have been handled. This is what you wanted. She handed over a heavy cloth bag. Leah took it with both hands. Thank you, my lord. Baron Baldo gazed at Leah. Is this really all you want? You could have asked for a much greater reward. Leah gripped the cloth bag tightly. This is what I need most right now. Baron Baldo waved farewell. Very well. Take care of yourself. Come find me whenever you need something. Leah bowed respectfully. Thank you, my lord. Have a pleasant day. I merely happened to help the barons sort some medicinal herbs. Using my literacy and organization skills, I earned the immense gratitude of the overworked baron. Leah spoke. Have you still not been able to cultivate the splesia? Did the one we recovered before not grow either? The baron stood before the desk. He let out a sigh. It's already a miracle to have found even a tiny bit of live root. We need at least one complete live root. To research the effects of this herb, progress is far too slow. Leah gazed at the distant garden. To think the Duke's doctors and mages are actually at their wits' end. I still haven't replied to Lady Bianca's letter. There are so many things to worry about. Looking at their research direction, they probably have no idea how to use that herb. Footsteps approached from a distance. Dana came running over. Sister. She clung tightly to Leah's waist. I missed you so much. Sister Leah spoke. Miss, don't run too fast. You might fall. Dana pulled a piece of paper from her pocket. I have a gift for sister. I drew the princess from a fairy tale. The strokes on the paper were naive. A princess with long pink hair and a scepter, wearing a crown on her head. She looked full of spirit. Leah stared at the drawing. It looks exactly like her. She held up the drawing. Thank you, miss. To think you'd give me such a precious gift. Dana tilted her head up. Because sister is my princess? A voice called out. My goodness. Our young miss is truly generous. Sophie stepped forward. During the salon, the young miss was constantly praising how beautiful Leah is. Even the duchess. The madam only smiled in tacit agreement. All the other noble ladies were asking about you. A blush rose to Leah's cheeks. So that was it. No wonder when I asked about the salon that day. The madam only smiled without saying a word. Dana grabbed Leah's hand. Sister Leah is the prettiest. Anyone can see that. Sophie lowered her voice. The young miss even said, you're the most beautiful person in the world. Who wouldn't be curious? I'm just worried that when other ladies visit, they might feel insulted by the gap in reality. Leah froze in place. A contemptuous smile hung on the corner of Sophie's mouth. Of course, it's just a tiny bit of worry. Whispers drifted over. Exactly. What is the young miss thinking? Actually treating someone like this as a princess? Leah gripped her skirt tightly. Why must I suffer this humiliation? Dana sensed something was wrong. She pulled anxiously at the corner of Leah's clothes. What's wrong, sister? What happened? Sophie continued. It's nothing, miss. I was just marveling at how elegant and wise you are. Dana blinked. Am I elegant? Sophie straightened up. Of course, girls your age usually only like pretty and shiny things, but you value inner beauty more. Being able to follow someone like you makes me feel incredibly proud. You truly are the Duke's daughter. A foot stomped heavily on the ground. Dana, why are you standing there dazed? Alan's gaze was cold. He looked down at the farce before him. He is mocking you. He praised Leah for being pretty, but actually, it was sarcasm. He thinks you are a fool. Who can't understand such irony? Dana suddenly turned her head. What? He pointed at Sophie. What do you know, you ugly thing? Leah is the prettiest person in the world. Sophie shook her head desperately. Miss, I didn't mean that. Alan pointed at her. With great force, you dare to mock a noble lady? You are just a servant of the Duke's household, yet you dare to openly humiliate your masters? Butler, I don't want to hear any excuses. Take her away. Butler Albert bowed his head. As you command, young master. Alan's eyes were wide open. His gaze was like a blade. This maid, don't let me see her ever again. Sophie backed away in horror. Please don't do this. She knelt heavily on the ground. Young master, I was wrong. Please forgive me this once. I beg of you. Alan's voice carried not a trace of warmth. No forgiveness. Leave the Duke's estate immediately. If I see you again tomorrow, everyone present will be implicated. He turned his head. Let's go. At that time, I didn't yet understand. In the eyes of other servants, what it truly meant to have the protection of the young master. The night order's garrison. The buildings were towering. Sunlight swept across the stone walls. Leah waved her arm. Jack. Over here. Jack turned around. Leah, what's wrong? I heard you came looking for me. I thought it was a joke. After all, this is the first time you've sought me out on your own. So, what exactly is this about? Leah took an item out of her pocket. This is for you. She spread her palm open. A small medicine bottle lay in her hand. Jack took the bottle. What is this? Leah leaned forward. It's a very effective ointment. Small scratches can heal in a day. Even deep wounds heal very quickly. This was personally made by Baron Baldo. I worked incredibly hard to get my hands on it. Next time, he'll also make medicine to restore physical strength. It can even help you grow taller. Jack lowered his eyes. Leah, do I still seem weak in your eyes? His fingers suddenly tightened. He gripped the medicine bottle tightly. Leah froze in place. What are you saying? Jack turned away. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you. I will use it well. Leah waved her hand. Her eyes curved into crescents. How could you be weak? I know your strength better than anyone. Thanks for specially coming out to see me. I'm going back now. Don't work too hard in training. Jack took a step. It'll walk you back. Leah stopped. I can go by myself. Jack lowered his eyes. You won't be like a fool again. Getting toyed with by others, will you? Leah turned her head sharply. What? Her brow furrowed slightly. What nonsense are you talking about? It sounds like you're the one treating me like a fool. Jack clenched his fist. Have you really been doing well lately? I mean, with those maids? Leah's shoulders trembled suddenly. Did he hear those rumors? She quickly waved her hands. It's fine. I'm really doing great. Jack took a step closer. You aren't being bullied, are you? Like them pushing all the work onto you? Or bad-mouthing you behind your back? Leah stomped her foot. There's nothing like that at all. Don't forget. Who was it that saved you from those arrogant guys? She gave a bright smile. So, stop worrying. Leah waved her hand. Well, I'm off then? Good luck with training. I turn and run away. The hem of my skirt flutters over the stone tiles. My steps are light. Jack is truly worried about me, although that incident did happen. With Sophie's departure, everything has calmed down for now. It is indeed uncomfortable being stared at by all the servants, but as long as I am careful enough, it should be fine. My toe kicks something hard. My body pitches forward suddenly. The bucket topples onto the floor. Liquid splashes all over the corridor. I steady myself against the wall. My heart is pounding. Why would there be a bucket in such a dangerous spot? I stare at the water stains on the floor. Is someone picking on me on purpose? Giggles come from the end of the corridor. A figure flashes past the corner. I look down at my soaked shoes. Should I tell the Duchess? I shake my head firmly. What am I thinking? This is my own problem. I can't bother the busy Duchess with something like this. Just because she was kind a few times. I almost forgot my place. This is what they call proximity breeding danger. I take a deep breath. Don't make a scene. I've long been used to this level of bullying. I've experienced much worse in the past. I just need to endure it. However, things didn't go as hoped. From that day on, the harassment intensified. I stare at the laundry basket. Something strange has been stuffed inside. I grit my teeth. The bullying I suffered in my previous life is enough to make me endure this. Whispers come from the end of the corridor. Two maids huddle together, giggling behind their hands. Their eyes glance over here from time to time. I lower my head and walk past. I will expose all of you. A bucket tips over from above. Murky liquid pours right onto my head. I freeze in place. Water drips from the tips of my hair. Gears come from the upstairs corridor. Two maids lean on the railing and point. Laughter echoes in the open space. I look down at my soaked apron. This isn't just water. It's dirty mop water. The stench fills my nose. This is truly too much. Dana's lesson is about to end. I absolutely cannot appear like this. I turn and rush toward the washroom. I must wash off this stench first. And my clothes. I have to change all of them. I push open the door. This is terrible. All the maid uniforms are being washed. Only this old dress I wore at the Ellard estate is left. If I go out dressed like this, people will definitely gossip again. I grit my teeth. What else can I do? I can't exactly go out naked. I take a deep breath. I haven't done anything wrong. I should wear it with confidence. I'm already wearing an apron. I can only pray it won't be too conspicuous. I push open the heavy wooden door. I have to move quickly and avoid the other servants' eyes. The faster, the better. A pair of black boots stops. A red-haired noble asks, Lucio, is that your sister? I suddenly hold my breath. Wait, I just heard that name. Lucio's gaze is stern. She is not my sister. Lucio says, my sister's hair color is the same as mine. It's silver white. The red-haired noble strokes his chin. Indeed, looking closely, she doesn't look like her at all. I hold my breath. To have a sudden encounter here? In a corner of the orphanage, Emily says to me, Leah, did you hear? That scary person just now. What was that Duke's name again? Leah asked. Duke Eli? Emily nodded. That's right. It's that terrifying Duke. I heard the Duke's son is at this academy. A boy ran over. Then he must be that crybaby's older brother. Another girl rushed forward and shouted, Don't call her a crybaby. I told you, she is a princess, the boy said. Jack is really lucky. He sucked up to that girl, and now he must be living very comfortably. Emily rested her chin on her hand, trying to recall the name of the Duke's son. Oh, I remember now. It's Lucio Eli. Leah squatted on the ground, drawing with a branch, Lucio Eli. I thought it would be simple, but I didn't expect it to be so hard to write. If I could go to school, I could definitely write something like this. A dark shadow enveloped her. Who are you? Leah suddenly turned her head. Her pupils contracted. Lucio stood in the fragmented sunlight, his uniform crisp. He looked down at her with a cold gaze. You've been calling my name. Leah suddenly snapped back to her senses. Why did I suddenly remember things from back then? The red-haired noble tilted his head. Lucio, does this child have a hearing problem? Leah waved her hands repeatedly. I was just too surprised. I'm very sorry. I was rude just now. The red-haired noble sized up Leah. So, can you tell me who you are? Besides that youngest princess, I haven't heard of any other young lady. In the Illard Duke's house, Leah lowered her head. You've misunderstood. I am a maid working for the Duke's family. The red-haired noble frowned. But why are you dressed like this? Leah clenched her fingers. That was when Lucio suddenly reached out his hand, blocking the way in front of Leah. Your Highness, please do not interrogate a member of my household. The red-haired noble spread his hands. I'm just curious. Such a young maid. Lucio's gaze was cold. There are many of that age in the imperial palace as well. The red-haired noble gave a light snort. You always have to get the last word in. Urgent footsteps approached from a distance. Alan rushed over. Dana followed closely behind. Alan looked at Lucio. Brother, what took you so long? Dana and I have been waiting for you in the capital for ages. Dana lunged toward Leah on the side. Sister, why are you here? Alan blinked. Leah, I was looking for you just now. You changed your clothes. I didn't even recognize you. Are you going to play with dolls with Dana? The red-haired noble showed a look of sudden realization. I see. She is the princess's playmate. The maid must be deeply favored. They even dressed her up. Leah barely maintained her smile. Fortunately, it was glossed over like that. Alan pulled at Lucio. Brother, why did you arrive so late? Lucio lowered his eyes. I was delayed by exams. I'll be staying for a longer period of time after this, Alan exclaimed. Really? That's great. He looked around. Did Askar not come with you? I wanted him to meet Dana. He hasn't seen Dana yet, right? The red-haired noble bent down. Young Master Alan, if you keep showing off your sister in front of the crown prince, you might end up being disliked. Alan was stunned. Why is Lucio's gaze so icy? Your Highness? The red-haired noble clapped his hands. All right, since everyone is here, please introduce them. I feel like I'm being left out. Lucio remained silent for a moment. Understood, Dana? Alan, come here. He stepped aside and extended his palm. This is the first prince. Nicholas Laxutin, Your Highness. Laia's pupils trembled. The only prince of the imperial family, the same age as Lucio. 12 years older than Dana. That villain who coveted Dana. She trembled all over. Her fists clenched tight. Nicholas leaned toward Dana. My sister is so cute. Lucio blocked his line of sight. If you've seen enough, please leave. Dana lunged into Laia's arms. Nicholas spread his hands. Not even a cup of tea, and you're already driving me away. Leah shielded Dana. That's right. Don't stay with a guy like this for another second. Leah raised her head. Sister Leah lightly stroked her hair. What is it? Little Dana pointed at Lucio. Isn't my brother very handsome? Leah froze. What? She forced a smile. Of course, the young master is very handsome. Just like the beautiful young lady. Leah was breaking out in a cold sweat. Why ask such a question all of a sudden? Dana turned to Lucio. Brother, don't. You think sister is very beautiful too? Lucio was expressionless. She is not beautiful. Leah was petrified on the spot. I know I'm not beautiful. Nicholas burst out laughing. Lucio, I know you are honest, but saying that to a young girl is too much. Alan looked panicked. Leah, are you okay? A dark aura radiated from Leah. I am perfectly fine. Anyway, there's a certain young master who calls me ugly every day. Alan clutched his chest. I was only trying to comfort you. Leah took Dana's hand. Miss, let's go back. There's still some time before dinner. Do you want to play with dolls together? Dana's eyes lit up. Really? Leah bowed slightly. Then we shall take our leave. Young masters. Alan hurriedly chased after them. I'm coming too. Nicholas withdrew his gaze. How bold. I thought she would be hurt. But Lucio, why did you do that? If you didn't want to lie, you could have just stayed silent as usual. Lucio lowered his eyes and remained silent. Dana walked down the corridor. Is it because brother said something mean? Is that why you're angry? Leah stopped walking. It's not like that. She knelt down and placed her index finger to her lips. This is a secret between the two of us. Dana stood dazed. A secret. Leah leaned over. Because Dana is young, she still thinks the world is wonderful. Though, I'm sorry. I'll have to tell a small lie, she said. That's right. Only we know that I am very beautiful. Then how do we keep the secret? Dana puffed out her chest. I must protect her well. They made a pinky promise. I will keep the secret. Dana is a hero. I must protect the princess. Leah clasped her hands together. As expected of the young lady, truly remarkable. The maid pushed open the door and entered. Miss Dinner is ready. Leah took Dana's hand. Shall we go eat? Yes. Miss Dana nodded vigorously. All right. Duke Ellard sat in the primary seat. Dana flew over to him. She crashed into his embrace. Papa Duke Ellard supported her shoulders. You'll fall if you do that. Leah stood behind them. Lucio and the Duchess were also there. Duke Elard looked at Lucio by his side. Lucio set down his cup. Yes, father. Duke Elard pointed to the empty seat beside him. Come sit next to me. And then Leah sit here. Leah froze on the spot. Duke Elard said. Dana will eat while sitting on my lap. Leah, you sit right next to Dana. Leah looked around at her. The servants were all watching. This is against the rules. She peeked to the side. Usually, such a request would definitely be rejected immediately. But now, there was a dead silence. In this house, the Duke's word is law. But I am just a maid. To think I'm eating at the same table as the Duke's family? Lucio pulled out a chair and sat down. Leah was overwhelmed by the favor. Thank you, young master. The Duchess clasped her hands together. Let's eat. It won't taste good if it gets cold. She looked at Lucio. It's been a long time since we've gathered to eat like this. You'll be returning to the academy soon. Get some good rest these few days. Lucio cut into his food. Yes, mother. Dana held up her spoon. Sister, eat this. The dinner knife in his hand stopped. The Duke gave a cold snort. Dana, your arms are too short. The Duchess pushed a plate toward Leah, you are thinner and smaller than others your age. Eat more. Leah gave an awkward smile. Yes, madam. Thank you. She chewed on the food. Why did it have to be when the other maids were present? But today was unnaturally quiet. Everyone's gaze was locked onto Lucio. It truly is a striking face, but I still like Dana the best, thanks to Lucio being a distraction. I'm not that conspicuous. The banquet ended. Shadows shifted in the hallway. Two maids leaned in close together. Their voices were kept very low. Is that true? She actually sat beside the little master to eat. The Lord Duke even fed her with his own hands. What kind of clothes is she wearing? Did she steal the young lady's clothes to wear? Everyone in the Duke's manor has been fooled by that girl. She is cunning and malicious. What can we do? Didn't young Master Lucio just return? He will never tolerate that girl making a mistake. Early the next morning, Lucio stood in the center of the study. Did you say you had something to discuss? Duke Elard sat behind the desk. That's right, in the territory. Many things happened. Leah helped us a great deal. Lucio turned his face. So, you mean you want to sponsor that child? Duke Elard laced his fingers under his chin. Yes, it would be a waste to let her just be a maid. She is smart and talented. She does everything well no matter what you teach her. Lucio remained silent. His father, who always rejected outsiders, was actually paying her this much attention. This is very abnormal. I can't even understand it myself. The moment I first saw that child yesterday, an indescribable emotion welled up in my chest. It felt as if my heart were being pried open by a sharp blade. Intense resentment churned deep within, along with a sense of longing. Duke Elard furrowed his brow. The problem is that the sponsorship was rejected. Lucio's pupils trembled slightly. Was it rejected? Duke Elard leaned back in his chair. She said she wants to continue being a maid, so I want you to go and persuade her. Lucio hesitated to speak, but Duke Elard raised his head. Is there anything else you are curious about? Lucio stared at the tabletop. If that child accepts the sponsorship, does it mean she will leave this house? Duke Elard shook his head. She is still young, and Dana needs her too. That kind of thing won't happen. Lucio nodded. In that case, I understand. I will go and see her. Leah clenched her hands. Are you saying you want me to go to the main building library instead of the annex? The maid crossed her arms. Do you have any complaints? Leah shook her head frantically. No complaints at all. I'll go right now. The main building library, only direct descendants of the Duke can enter. It is filled with ancient books that rival the royal collection. To think I can go there alone? Lia's eyes sparkled. This is the perfect chance to see those precious books with my own eyes. She turned around, then I'm off. The corners of the two maids' mouths curled up. What a fool. The main building library is where the young master stays the longest, and the young master hates being disturbed most. Magic theory, imperial history, or advanced herbalism. Leah cupped her face. Which book should I read first? She stepped onto the carpet, humming a little tune. Oh, right. I also need to check the location of the mines and learn about the Duke's territory while I'm at it. Leah stopped before the massive double wooden doors. This is the moment I've looked forward to most since coming to the capital. She took a deep breath. She pushed open the heavy doors. The interior was dim. The curtains were closed tight. Leah walked to the window. She pulled the curtains open with force. Sunlight flooded into the room instantly. The lighting is good. It's perfect for cleaning. Leah looked around with her hands on her hips. I'll start by dealing with the dust. Something caught her eye. There seems to be something in the back. Lucio was lying on the sofa. His eyes were tightly closed. Sunlight fell across his clothes. Leah covered her mouth. I didn't sense his presence at all when I walked in. Why hide his presence in his own home? My heart nearly stopped from the shock. Lucio lay there quietly. His breathing was steady. Leah observed him while holding her breath. Come to think of it, the Lucio I saw before was always like a flawless work of art, always alert and elegant. This is the first time I've seen him so relaxed, probably because Hei's home. Leah quietly tidied the stack of books on the table. Her movements were extremely slow. I should just tidy up a little and leave. I mustn't disturb his sleep. She reached out and picked up a book. What on earth is he reading that made him sleep so soundly? How to make friends with timid animals. How to feed a dog. Leah stared at the cover. I didn't expect him to be interested in dogs. I prefer cats. They're cute, just like Dana. Lucio's brow furrowed slightly. His body trembled in his sleep. Leah leaned down. Why is he curled up sleeping in the library? She reached out her hand. Her fingertips hovered in the air. Looking closely, I noticed his long... She really looks like Dana. Even their hair texture is exactly the same. Lucio opened his eyes. His gaze was cold and sharp. What are you doing here? Leah jerked her hand back. Her shoulders shook violently. I'm sorry. I'm truly very sorry. She stumbled backward. Her heel hit a stack of books. Lucio reached out to stop her. Careful, Leah fell heavily to the ground. It hurts. She rubbed the back of her head. Now is not the time to cry about pain. I must leave quickly. She stood up. I'm really very sorry. I just came to clean. I saw you sleeping uncomfortably and just wanted to help. Lucio looked down at her. Who told you to clean here? Leah was at a loss for words. Cold sweat ran down her temples. Those maids knew Lucio was here. They sent me here on purpose. I actually didn't notice at all. Leah handed over the papers in her hand. These are the organized documents. Please have a look. Lucio took the pages. Categorized by theme. Very good. Are you literate? You even recognize many obscure words. How much can you understand? Leah's heart raced. Why is he asking this? She looked down at the tips of her shoes. Just a little bit. Actually, I don't know much. Lucio looked down at Leah. You look like you want to run away. Who are you hiding from? Leah's shoulders trembled. Her breath hitched. Lucio looked away. You're afraid again? It can't be helped. Faint noises came from outside the door. Two maids were pressed against the door crack, listening. You don't hear any movement? He must be getting scolded right now. Inside the room, a bell chimed clearly. The maids straightened up abruptly. The young master is calling for someone. A maid pushed the door open and entered. Her face was covered in a wide smile. Yes, young master. What are your orders? Lucio flipped through the documents. You found everything on the list very thoroughly. The maid stood by the door snickering. She's getting scolded as expected. The young master calling me in must be to give her an even heavier punishment. She walked forward quickly. Young master, what are your orders? Lucio raised his hand. His fingertip pointed toward Loya. Prepare some hot tea. And some easy-tote snacks. The maid's smile froze. The air fell into a dead silence. Exquisite tea sets were placed on the table. The snacks emitted a sweet fragrance. Leah sat in the middle of the sofa. Her hands tightly gripped her skirt. He actually didn't scold me. The maid bowed and withdrew. The sound of the door closing was sharp. Leah looked at Lucio opposite her. Young master, why did you suddenly prepare food? Lucio sat upright on the sofa. This is a reward for finding all the books on the list. I heard that food is the best reward. Stop asking questions. Eat the snacks. Starting tomorrow, report to the library every day. Leah stopped her fork. I have to come every day. She lowered her head. I clearly disturbed his sleep, and I was caught peeking at him. Could it be to torture me up close? Leah wrung her fingers. But my assigned work area isn't fixed. I'm afraid I can't guarantee it. Lucio was about to speak. Urgent shouts shattered the silence. Alan and Jack rushed into the study. Leah, what are you doing here? Leah stood up. I came here to clean. Alan took a step closer. This is almost my brother's private study. Why are you appearing here? Leah took half a step back. The other maids assigned me to come here. Alan's brow furrowed. Assigned by other maids? That doesn't make any sense at all. Helen stood with her head bowed. I am very sorry. Young master, it seems the maids under me have made a mistake. There must be some misunderstanding in this. Lucio's voice was ice cold. I don't care if it's a misunderstanding. Don't let this kind of thing happen a second time. He stood by Leah's side. From now on, this girl will be in charge of managing the library. Remember that? Helen suddenly looked up. What? Lucio looked down at Leah. So you are to come here tomorrow as well? Don't do anything else unnecessary. Come directly here. Leah's face was pale. Her shoulders trembled slightly. Lucio's gaze was cold. Even if I go back to the academy, you must continue to work here. Do you understand? Leah lowered her head to avoid his gaze. Yes, young master. Helen turned to the side. Young master, if I may be so bold as to ask, why are you handing this place over to that girl? What is your reason? Lucio's gaze was like a blade. Helen, do I really need to explain all of this? Helen's body suddenly stiffened. I am very sorry. Young master, Lucio turned around. You may leave. Helen bowed her head and retreated toward the door. Yes, I will leave at once. Lucio looked at Alan. So, what did you suddenly come here for? Alan explained. I wanted you to come and see Jax in my training. But seeing the head maid here, I got a bit curious. What happened? He stared at the table full of desserts. Why does brother want her to come every day? And what is the deal with this food? Lucio rested his fingertip against his chin. I have quite a few things for her to do. As for these, they are a reward for her. Alan's face was full of astonishment. A reward? Lucio's expression was, as usual. She said these are her favorites. He looked at Jack. By the way, who is that brat behind you? Alan stepped aside. He is a trainee who just joined the Night Order. Jack and Laya come from the same orphanage. He is also my sparring partner. Jack took a step forward. He saluted with one hand over his chest. It is an honor to meet you. Young Master Lucio's gaze lingered on Jack. The same orphanage. He started walking. Before my next appointment. I still have a little time. Let's go to the training grounds. Alan's face lit up with joy. Really? He turned to look at Jack. Jack, you go ahead. You'll be there as soon as I grab a few books. Jack bowed and replied, Understood. Alan looked at Laya. My brother never lets anyone enter this library. If you wake him up during his nap, you would have been kicked out of the dukedom long ago. Leah hunched her shoulders. Her body trembled slightly. Alan stared at her. What kind of reaction is that? Don't tell me you actually woke him up. Leah nodded desperately. Alan swung his arm abruptly. Are you crazy? You almost lost your job today. Leah lowered her head. I'm sorry, but I really didn't know anything. Alan sighed. Forget it. Don't think about it. However, why do you think he let you off so icily? Leah froze in place. He didn't like me at all at first. Why would he show such mercy? To a maid he detests. Could it be because... Alan suddenly spoke up. Is it because of Dana? Leah was stunned. What? Alan spread his hands. I mean, my brother let you off because of Dana. He is completely helpless when it comes to her. I heard that after he called you ugly, Dana ignored him for an entire day. That was enough to make him realize that you are very important to Dana. Leah covered her mouth with both hands. Dana actually did such a thing for me. Her eyes grew moist. So that was the reason. Alan watched Laya cry. Getting this moved over something like that, I really can't stand it. Anyway, when you see Dana, remember to tell her that my brother was very kind to you. Leah looked at the clock. Oh no, Dana's lesson is almost over. I have to go, Alan shouted behind her. Did you hear what I said? Leah ran away quickly. Her skirt swayed in the corridor. Alan chased after her. Laya, wait for me. Were you being bullied by the other maids? Laya stopped abruptly. What? Alan turned his head. Assigning a newcomer to such a sensitive area? There's no explanation other than bullying. Usually, no one wants to come here, Leah retorted loudly. It's not like that. I spend most of my time in the library now, so it's fine. You don't need to worry. So please, whatever you do, don't get involved. I'm in a hurry. Take my leave now. The door was pushed shut heavily. Leah disappeared at the end of the corridor. Alan noticed it. Then Lucio must also know I was being bullied. Leah covered her mouth. Because I am someone his sister treasures. That's why he stepped in to protect me. Even a brat like Alan could see it. How embarrassing. Leah pushed open the heavy wooden door. Her palm pressed against the doorframe. As she gasped for air, it clearly wasn't my fault. And so, the princess and the hero lived happily ever after. Leah closed the picture book. She turned to look at the bed. Dana had her eyes closed. Her breathing was steady and calm. She had already fallen into a deep sleep. A slight smile appeared on Laya's lips. She was the one who pestered me to read a story. Yet she fell asleep first. If I had just been given a little more time, I could have handled the trouble with those maids myself. Now it feels like I owe Lucio a favor. This wasn't in the plan at all. Why do the problems keep piling up? Dana's eyelashes fluttered. She slowly opened her eyes. Sister Leah looked down at the bed, her gaze tender. Dana propped herself up. I want to live happily with you forever. Dana closed her eyes, murmuring a blurred dream. Always stay with sister. Laya's fingertips gripped the edge of the picture book tightly. When I first followed Duke L, I thought it would just be an easy job. Dana following me was perhaps just a child's survival instinct when she had nowhere else to go. So, I never wavered in my resolve to leave one day. But every time I see this child, loving me so wholeheartedly, my heart wavers. Leah quietly closed the room door. Jack and the young master. The matters at home should have been resolved smoothly by now. The Duchess approaches. Is Dana asleep? One bow slightly. Yes. I just finished reading her a fairy tale. The Duchess nods. Thank you for your hard work. She looks toward Helen. Dana will soon receive a tea party invitation from the princess. Please inform the etiquette teacher. To intensify her court etiquette training, Helen bows her head. As you command, madam. I meet Helen's gaze. My body suddenly freezes. Helen watches with an expressionless face. Then, I shall take my leave. I lower my head. Those cold eyes, why did they look so worried? The Duchess looks at me. I heard that you will be working in the main building's library starting tomorrow. I look up suddenly. Yes, my fingers tightly twist my apron. Did the head maid tell the madam? Does the madam also know that I am being bullied by the other maids? The Duchess reaches out her hand. Her fingertips lightly brush my shoulder. That is truly good news. Lucio is a bit different from other children. It might be difficult to get along with him at first, but I hope you can stay by that child's side for now. Help him. Lucio usually doesn't let anyone get close. Since he is willing to let you stay by his side, he must truly like you. I shake my head desperately, waving my hands wildly in front of me. That's impossible. That must be because of Miss Dana. The Duchess lowers her gaze. That might not be the case. He is my son. How could I not know what he is thinking? Lucio has always been the kind of child who didn't need instructions to handle everything perfectly on his own. I have always been proud of him, but because of that, I always prioritized giving him rest. Instead of pushing him to study, the elders once criticized me, saying I was ruining the heir of the dukedom. Eventually, I couldn't withstand the pressure and sent him to the imperial capital. Although he grew up to be excellent, I still feel regret. Perhaps it's because I didn't spend as much time with him as I did with the other children. Lucio is always very reserved in front of me. I even feel he is more at ease with the head maid. I wave my hands repeatedly. That's not true, madam. Young Master Lucio would never think you were difficult to be around. The Duchess chuckles softly. Heavens, what nonsense am I saying? Complaining about such things to you? Anyway, starting tomorrow, read more in the library. Follow your heart. And go study. I bowed deeply. Yes, madam. I walk alone through the moonlit courtyard. My steps are slow. So the reason the madam couldn't be firm with the head maid was because of Lucio. When Lucio was young, it was the head maid who took care of him in the madam's place. I stop by the fountain, lost in thought. Lucio's attitude toward the head maid isn't warm. It even seems chilly. Is there some secret I'm still unaware of? I suddenly turn my head and look toward the depths of the garden. Lucio is standing under the moonlight, holding a long sword. His silver hair glimmers in the night. His silhouette looks lonely. I stop in my tracks. Lucio, I have so many things I want to ask you. About how to save the Duchess. About the real relationship between you and the head maid, but as I am now, I can do nothing. Lucio suddenly looks back. The grass makes a faint rustling sound. The courtyard is empty. He withdraws his gaze and tightens his grip on the sword hilt. Was it just my imagination? Fingertips brushed across the thick books. Leah moved through the library carrying books in her arms. During these past few days working in the main building, many things have happened. The maids who used to bully me have all been transferred away. Although they still grumble behind my back, they no longer dare to raise a hand to my face. Thanks to Lucio's orders, I can stay in the library all the time. Even though I'm no longer being bullied, those hostile glares are exhausting. Leah sat deep in the sofa. She opened a heavy tome. When Lucio is away, I can indeed read freely. Yet I still feel uneasy. A voice drifted over. What makes you uneasy? Lucio suddenly appeared behind the sofa. He leaned in close. Leah jumped up with a start. Young master, when did you arrive? Lucio looked away. Why are you so frightened? Go prepare some tea and milk. Leah hurriedly got up. Yes. She walked back carrying the tea tray. Did Lucio bring snacks again? Although I'm grateful, I feel like I've gained a lot of weight lately. Lucio opened the paper bag. This is the bread sold at the stall by the academy gates. He handed over the bread. Eat. Leah took it with both hands. Thank you, young master. I didn't see him this morning. Did he go all the way to the academy specifically to buy this? No, he definitely wouldn't do something so troublesome. Leah took a bite. So fragrant. So this is what it tastes like. This reminds me of the care you gave me in the past, Lucio said. You were staring at it before. Didn't you want to eat it? Leah's movements froze. I really did want to eat this ordinary bread back then. At that time, I could only watch the academy students holding it in their hands. Lucio frowned. Why are you making that face? He knelt on one knee. He held out a piece of candy. Then how about this? This is a potion that can make a person feel better. His expression was serious. Try it. Leah stared at the candy held before her eyes. Her heart beat violently. This was the first time I had seen real magic. She reached out. The candy fell into her palm. A noble young master wouldn't lie to me, right? Leah put the candy into her mouth. The sweetness melted on the tip of her tongue. It's delicious. The corners of Lucio's mouth turned up slightly. Do you feel any better? Then try calling my name, like you did last time. Leah shuddered. My name, Lucio. Eler. That was an unconscious murmur when I was practicing writing. He actually heard it. Leah bowed deeply. I am sorry. I promise I will never address you by your name without permission again. Please forgive me. Lucio remained silent. That day I never did receive his answer. After that, Lucio would still bring magic potions from time to time. To find me, it wasn't until much later that I learned those so-called potions were actually just chocolates. Not long after leaving the orphanage, I never did get to hear him explain in person why he was so kind to me. I never tasted chocolate as sweet as that day again. I thought I would never taste it again. Until I came to the Duke's residence, I tasted that sweetness once more. Laius' gaze became fixed. The Duchess has not yet visited the study. Perhaps she is just too busy. But when she mentions Lucio, her expression is tinged with loneliness. Does she think Lucio feels uneasy around her? Leah looked at Lucio. Why do you call the head made by her name? She suddenly shrugged her shoulders. Oh no, why did I ask such a nosy question? Lucio said. It's just a habit. I have lived in the imperial capital since I was a child. Back then, she wasn't the head maid yet. Later, I wanted to switch to a formal title, but she insisted that I call her by her name, so I didn't think much of it. Why are you asking this? Leah hesitated. It seems he isn't angry. Perhaps I can ask a little more. She looked at the bread on the table. Young master, do you feel uncomfortable in front of Madame? Lucio let out a cold laugh. Are you seriously asking me that? Am I actually closer to the head maid than my own mother? There's no such thing. How could you have such an absurd idea? Is that what my mother said? Leah shuddered suddenly. It's not like that. If it's not, then can you be a bit gentler toward Madame? I know this is metal, but if it can bring a little comfort to Madame's heart, perhaps it can prevent the tragedy that has yet to arrive. Lucio lowered his eyes. I promise you. Leah was stunned. He actually didn't get angry. Was Lucio always this gentle? Lucio pressed his palm against the sofa. I have already been honest with you. Now it's your turn. He looked directly into Laius's eyes. Why are you afraid of me? Leah was stunned. What? Lucio's expression was grim. When we first met, you were trembling when you looked at me. After that, every time you see me, you become stiff. Is it because of what I said when we first met? I said you weren't pretty. Was your pride wounded because of that? Leah waved her hands frantically. No, I wasn't hurt at all. Though it was indeed a bit unpleasant to hear. Wait, what am I blabbering about? Lucio lowered his eyes. In that case, do you want to appear beautiful in front of me? Laius' expression turned calm. No. Lucio's gaze froze. Leah said, I have never thought about becoming beautiful in your eyes. As long as I am beautiful enough in the young lady's eyes, that is enough for me. I am indeed a bit strange. Please don't misunderstand. I'm sure many people want to show their beauty to you. Lucio remained silent. Urgent footsteps approached from a distance. Dana burst through the door. Sister Leah turned her head sharply. Miss Dana threw herself into Leah's arms. I missed you so much. Sister Leah hugged her back tightly. I missed you too. Lucio stood to the side, watching the two of them embrace. Leah let go of her hands. Did you come here alone? Dana nodded vigorously. I came by myself. Laius' expression turned serious. Please call for me next time, or have the servants in the hallway accompany you. Dana said. I know the way. Leah urged. You can't always run around alone. I'll be worried. Dana showed a brilliant smile. I'll follow sister from now on. I like sister the best. Leah held Dana in her arms. Young master, may I be excused? It's time for the young lady to play. Lucio looked at the two of them. His gaze lingered on Leah's face. Go ahead, Leah took Dana's hand. See you tomorrow. The footsteps grew distant. The door closed gently. Lucio stood alone in the empty room. Her words kept echoing in his mind. I have never thought about showing my beauty to you. I just feel that being beautiful enough in the young lady's eyes is sufficient. Please don't misunderstand. I'm sure many people want to show their beauty to you. Lucio looked down at his toes. Do you want to look beautiful in front of me? He raised his hand. Why did I say such things? Those bold remarks. And the way she woke me up in the library? If it were any other maid, I would never have let them off so easily. Why is it that with her, I just can't bring myself to get angry? Dana closed her eyes. Her breathing was steady and even. Leah sat by the bed and whispered. She was persistent in making me read to her, but she fell asleep while listening. Have a good dream before dinner? Her gaze sharpened. The opportunity has come. Dana has already fallen asleep. My work in the library is also finished. It is now or never. She tiptoed, moving through the corridor without a sound. Finally, I can reply to Lady Bianca's letter. I still have that beautiful stationery the Duchess gave me last time. I must go and get it quickly. Leah trotted through the courtyard, humming a light and cheerful tune. Raindrops hammered onto the leaves without warning, making a crisp, sharp sound. The rain intensified instantly. Mist filled the bluestone path. Leah lifted her skirt and ducked into the gallery. It's raining so hard, I should take an umbrella when I head back. She stopped in her tracks. The corridor ahead was crowded with people. The maids were whispering to one another. Why is everyone gathered here? Leah pushed through the crowd. Her gaze landed at the end of the hallway. That is my room. She rushed forward. What are you all doing here? The head maid turned around. Perfect timing. We heard you touched the madam's things. So we searched your room while we were at it. She shook out a magnificent long dress. Look what we found. Leah rushed forward to snatch it. The madam gave that to me. The head maid let out a cold sneer. Don't be ridiculous. No matter how much the madam likes you, she would never give such an expensive dress to a lowly little maid. Leah's pupils constricted suddenly. That's Lady Bianca's letter. The things I carefully kept in my box, how did they find them? Whispers surged in like a tide. How shameless. To think her hands were so dirty? Precisely. Lia's gaze swept past the crowd. An envelope lay alone on the wooden floor. The letter had been crumpled into a ball. Discarded in the shadows, the head maid blocked her path. A cold smile hung on her lips. How arrogant. Just because the madam dotes on you. Do you think you can escape this? Leah pushed away the arm blocking her. She lunged toward the floor. Her fingertips trembled as they reached for the floorboards. She stared at that ball of paper. Her breathing became rapid. It was like this in the past, and it is like this now as well. All I get is ridicule and contempt. Why am I just a lowly orphan? If I leave here, I have nowhere else to go. The head maid stood with her hands on her hips. Do you think an insignificant person like you is qualified to resist like this? Know your place. Leah clenched her teeth. So it's my fault, because I'm too ordinary. Not beautiful, not outstanding. So very ordinary, even inferior to them. An existence whose favor they cannot comprehend. Weak and lowly. Someone who can be stepped on at any time. Leah gripped her skirt tightly. Do you know? I have been yielding all this time. She slowly stood up. I was planning to let it go. I have been holding back. But now, flames are erupting frantically from beneath Lia's feet. In an instant, the room is devoured. The maids scream in terror. Leah stands in the center of the sea of fire. Her long hair flies wildly amidst the blazing flames. Her eyes are bloodshot. Why do you torture me like this? The maids scramble backward on all fours. It's on fire. Run. The head maid collapses onto the ground. This girl is like a demon. Lia tilts her head. A demon. I could have left the Illard dukedom at any time, but I didn't leave. What independence fund? What research and investigation? They were all just excuses. I endured all the torment. I stayed here. The only reason was that I wanted to stay by Dana's side. I want to protect her. To protect the people who are important to her. Leah steps forward through the flames. If I am a demon, then what does that make you? I stayed here, but not to be bullied by people like you. She reaches out her palm. Hot sparks of fire pulse within her heart. I can abandon all of this at any moment. A call rings out. Leah, please. Look at me, Leah's pupils contract. The Duchess? The Duke also rushes into the fire. Lucio follows closely behind. Even they have come. Leah covers her face. Her body trembles violently. Are they angry? Is it because I burned their house down? Or is it because I've turned into a monster? She suddenly presses her hand against her chest. A deep blue light overflows through her fingers. Her heart won't stop pounding wildly. The Duchess reaches her fair hand toward the sea of fire. Lia, come here. Take my hand. It's dangerous there. Come here quickly. Lia raises her head. Her head is spinning as if it's on fire. Madam, all right? The only way to end all of this is to sacrifice myself. The Duchess's eyes suddenly widen. Stop. Lia. Lia's body tips backward. Like a kite with a broken string. Lia's gaze falls upon Lucio. Her vision loses focus in the smoke. Ah, I remember now. Lucio's eyes, I've seen them before. A man kicks Lia. You stole my pen, right? Lia curls up on the stone floor. I didn't. I just wanted to pick it up and return it to you. The man roars. Don't lie to me. Leah grits her teeth. Her body stiffens under the rough tugging. Lucio stands among the crowd, watching her. Lia's heart feels as if it has fallen into an ice cellar. He is looking down on me. She suddenly scrambles up. The sound of footsteps echoes in the street, urgent and disorganized. Behind her, a man points at her back. Where do you think you're running to? Stop right there. Lia runs desperately. Her leather shoes thud heavily on the ground. At the very least, I don't want him to see me in this state. Why does it have to be him? Why does no one believe me? Lia collapses in a corner. Her hands clawed desperately at the ground. Lucio, why did you have to look at me with that kind of gaze? Footsteps approach from far too near. A black pant leg stops before her eyes. You look like you're in pain. Leah looks up abruptly. Tears swirl in her eyes. The guildmaster looks down at her. A faint, ambiguous curve plays at the corner of his mouth. He extends his hand. Come, follow me. Lia's hair flutters in the firelight. Lucio, if we could meet again, I have so many things I want to ask you. How did you recognize me? Do you really still remember me? Lucio's eyes widened suddenly. His pupils trembled in the firelight. Leah closed her eyes. A tear slid down her cheek. How did you know my name? I never told you? A torrential rain poured down. Thunder echoed through the entire mansion. A pink-haired woman knelt on the bed. Her hands were clutching her hair tightly. The door was suddenly pushed open. A blondie-haired man burst into the room. Madam, are you all right? Look into my eyes. The pink-haired woman grabbed the man's collar. Our child is hurt, but I can't do anything about it. The blonde-haired man looked pained. Sorry I couldn't protect our child. Leah lay among the velvet bedding. Her face was deathly pale. Her breathing was rapid and broken. Duke Ellard stood by the bedside. His gaze was heavy. How is her condition? Talon lowered his head. Duke Ellard, to be honest, tonight is the critical period. Duke Ellard's pupils shrank. What did you say? Didn't you say before that she had stabilized? Why has it suddenly become a critical period? Talon explained. What she experienced was a mana rampage. Under normal circumstances, mana would instantly burst the body, resulting in death. That she is still alive with her limbs intact is nothing short of a miracle. It's likely because at the moment of the rampage, she used all her strength to protect everyone. If she had lost consciousness then, and let the mana run wild in the estate, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Everyone would have died in the explosion. That's why she instinctively fled. Duke Ellard's profile was tense. Cold sweat dripped down his jaw. I see. At that moment, the one suffering the most pain must have been her. Sobs came from the gap in the large door. Dana was crying loudly. Tears soaked her collar. I want to go in too. Mama, I want to see Laya too. She is very sick. Right. The Duchess knelt down. Her hands held Dana's shoulders. Sister needs to rest now. Let's let her sleep for a while. Okay. She picked Dana up. Turning to Lucio. Lucio, I'll take Dana back first. Tell me immediately if there are any changes. Lucio nodded. Yes. Mother Dana struggled in the Duchess's arms. No. Jack came running. He was panting heavily. Young master, where is Leah now? Lucio's voice was low. She is inside receiving treatment. Jack took a step forward. Is her body all right? Can I at least see her face for a moment? Lucio's shoulder trembled slightly. Come here. He raised his hand and pointed into the distance. Go and find the head maid immediately. The manservant bowed. Yes, this subordinate will go at once. Lucio clenched his teeth. I will definitely make certain people pay the price for this. Leah lay in the center of the large bed. Her eyes slowly opened. Her gaze drifted across the ceiling. The Duchess suddenly stood up. Leah, you're awake. Laya's gaze was hesitant. Yes, madam. But where is this? She looked around. Is this the Duchess's room? Why am I here? The Duchess looked at her. Don't move. Your body hasn't fully recovered yet. The door was suddenly pushed open. Taylor rushed into the room. Duchess, is that child awake? The Duchess was keeping watch by the bedside. Yes, Taylor. Please examine her immediately. Taylor opened the wooden medicine chest. The crystals emitted a faint light. He raised his hand and cast a healing spell. The light enveloped her. Leah, I have already cast a healing spell, but you haven't fully recovered yet, especially your throat, which is severely damaged. You must take your medicine on time. The Duchess leaned in close. It was your mana that went out of control. Do you remember? Laya's pupils trembled slightly. Yes, I remember. The Duchess leaned down. What is it, Leah? Are you still in pain? Leah kept her head lowered. Her voice was tiny. I just feel grateful. Because you treated me, and you didn't throw me out. Duke Ellard spoke up. Everyone, get out. Taylor and the attendants bowed. As you command, Lord Duke. The door closed behind them. Leah lowered her eyelids. Am going to be scolded? I'll probably be kicked out of the Duke's estate. I closed my eyes. At least I want to say goodbye to Dana first. Duke Ellard turned his head, his gaze falling on Leah. Are we to you? Such unreliable adults. Leah looked up. Her eyes were dazed. What did you say? Duke Ellard walked to the bedside. Why didn't you tell us from the very beginning? The servants in the capital are not like the confidants back at the estate. They don't know how you came to the Duke's house. To protect Dana, we did indeed keep the news hidden. But if we had known this would put you in such a difficult spot, we definitely would have taken action immediately. He swung his arm abruptly. If you had just said a single word to us earlier, his voice stopped abruptly. His pupils suddenly contracted. Leah lowered her head. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Sorry, Lord Duke. The Duchess leaned forward suddenly. She held Leah tightly in her arms. There's no need to apologize. It's our fault for not noticing sooner. Sorry for letting you endure all this alone. This sort of thing will never happen again. Laya was trembling. Then, you won't throw me out? The Duchess released her embrace. What are you saying? Of course not. Why would you think that? Leah lowered her gaze. I was so scared. It seemed like everyone hated me. I felt like I had become a burden to you. The Duchess took Leah's hand. It's okay. From now on, you must speak up like this. When you're afraid, tell us. Ask us for help. Only then can we help you. She turned to glare at Duke Ellard. And also, what good does it do for you to pressure such a small child? Apologize quickly. Duke Ellard looked away. Sorry, Leah. I was just too worried. From now on, do whatever you want to do. Don't worry about anyone else. You don't need to work anymore. When we let you be a maid, it was because you wanted to do it yourself. We never intended to make you work for us. Once you're feeling better, you'll move into the room next to Dana. Leah looked up, but the head maid will object. Duke Ellard's expression turned grim. Helen has already been suspended. Don't worry about her. Leah froze in place. The head maid. Has she been suspended? Duke Ellard explained. Lucio handled the matter. He interrogated each of the maids who bullied you, punished everyone, and drove them out. The Duchess said, "There is no need to tell the child these things." Leah was stunned. The head maid was once a pillar of the dukedom. I thought punishment wouldn't come so easily. Urgent footsteps came from the corridor. The door was suddenly burst open. Dana rushed into the room. With Alan following closely behind, Dana pounced to the side of the bed and grabbed Lias's arm. "Lia, are you all right? Does it still hurt a lot?" Leah looked at the girl in front of her, the corners of her mouth turning up slightly. "I am fine now. You don't have to worry anymore, miss. As long as I don't have to be apart from Dana, I am already very happy." Lucio lay alone on a bench, his arm covering his eyes, his brows knit tight. Even so, his anger had still not subsided. Should I have made them all kneel before Leah? Lucio stopped in his tracks. Leah was squatting by the flower bushes, her back looking thin and frail. He looked down at Leah. "Who are you?" Leah suddenly turned her head. Her gaze collided with those cold eyes. Lucio stood in the light and shadow. "You have been calling my name." Memories surged. "I still remember. The moment I first saw this child." Lucio's gaze was cold. She looked more fragile than anything else in the world. That appearance left me feeling unsettled. She was completely different from me, yet I couldn't help but stay by her side. I hated the way she looked at me, even if I gave her food or medicine. That fear never changed. Lucio walked along the stone-tiled path. Why? Why does she always look at me with those frightened eyes? He stopped walking. Listening to the whispers around him, Leah ran past him. A blond man cursed loudly. "You beggar brat! How dare you touch someone else's things?" Lucio suddenly reached out, gripping the man's wrists tightly. His gaze was icy. "What do you think you're doing?" To that child, he threw the man aside. "Get out of my sight immediately. I will reconsider how to punish you for your insolence." The man stumbled as he ran away. Sorry," two girls whispered to each other. Why has Lord Lucio become unlike himself? What exactly is his relationship with that child? Lucio stood in the sunlight. "One day I casually asked her what her wish was. She told me." Leah turned her face to the side. "I don't have any extravagant demands. I just hope that when I am sick, someone will ask me if I am okay." Lucio clenched his fists. "Then I shall grant that wish. This world is full of terrifying things, so come with me. As long as you stay by my side, the path won't be so difficult to walk. Don't be afraid." Lucio suddenly opened his eyes. Cold sweat slid down his forehead. He pressed a hand to his brow. "That dream again. But once I wake up, I can't remember anything at all." A cold smile pulled at the corner of his mouth. This kind of dream might as well be a nightmare. Sunlight pierced through the thin curtains. Spilling onto the empty bed, Taz carried Leah into the room. Alan, Jack, and Dana followed behind. Taz announced, "Welcome to your new room." "Leah." He placed Leah steadily onto the bed. Leah looked at him. "Thank you." Dana pounced onto the bedside. "How is it, sister? Is the room very neat?" Leah stroked the bed sheets. "I like it very much. The bed is very soft, too." Alan handed over a gift box. "This is a gift." Leah was stunned. "Thank you." She opened the packaging. A neatly folded dress lay inside the box. A letter was pressed on top of it. Alan turned his head away. "Thank Mother. Don't thank me." She had personally ironed out the wrinkles on the dress, and she wrote that letter. Leah lowered her eyes. "Yes, thank you very much. How am I to repay this kindness?" Alan said. "First, concentrate on getting your body healthy." Dana leaned toward the bedside. "Sister, since we live close now, you must play with me more often in the future." Leah responded softly. "Once I've recovered, it'll make your favorite chocolate fountain for you." Lucio stopped in his tracks. Her body hasn't fully recovered yet. Is it really all right for things to be this noisy? Taz bowed. "Young Master Lucio, you're here." Dana and Alan cheered as they crowded around. Brother Leah felt a bit awkward. "What wind blew you here?" Lucio handed over the book in his hand. "This is the one you were reading before? I thought you would be bored lying in bed all the time." Leah was stunned. She reached out with both hands to take it. "Thank you. To think you brought it over specifically." Lucio suddenly reached out and grabbed Leah's arm. "It took so much effort to get some meat on your bones, yet here you are like this again." Leah froze on the spot. Lucio stared at her. Her slender wrist looked like it could snap at any moment. How can you work in this state? Leah pondered. How can he say such things without any shame? Lucio opened his palm. An exquisite golden key slid out. Take it. This is the key to the main library. Leah tightly gripped the key. Why are you giving this to me? Lucio stepped aside. It'll be returning to the academy soon. You will keep it while I am away. Sunlight pierced through the floor-to-ceiling windows, spilling into the room. Vine leaves swayed in the light and shadow. Time flowed quietly. Leah stretched her arms on the bed. That was a comfortable sleep. The weather is very nice today. Can I still not go out? Alan, Lucio, Dana, and Jack had taken turns appearing by her bedside. The Duchess had issued a strict order. No, leaving the room until she recovered. Not even getting out of bed was allowed. Leah sat on the edge of the bed. Like a cat? She had been kept indoors for many days. Her body no longer ached. Lying down all the time was actually making her restless. What excuse should I use to go out? Her gaze fell on the nightstand. A letter was placed there. That's right. I finished writing the reply to Lord Bianca last night. I must ask the Duchess to help me mail it today. Leah put on her shoes. She pushed open the heavy door. In the hallway, a maid was holding a broom. She stopped her movements in surprise. Oh my, do you feel any better? Are you allowed to come out now? Leah nodded. The doctor said I can walk around now. The maid broke into a smile. That's wonderful. Please take care. Leah bowed slightly. Thank you. She walked through the empty corridor. What is happening? Ever since moving into the new room, the attitude of everyone she met had changed. Those maids who used to be cold now had eyes full of gentleness. Leah stopped in her tracks. The door ahead is slightly ajar. Light filters through the crack in the door. A low voice comes from inside the room. I have something important to tell you all. I hold my breath. My hand hangs in midair. My fingertips tremble slightly. Duke Illard sits in the center of the sofa. His gaze sweeps over everyone present. This concerns our family. The Duchess holds Dana in her arms. You are all well aware that Leah is a kind child, right? Alan sits to the side, arms crossed. Though she's a bit clumsy. That is indeed true, the Duchess says. Regarding this matter, I have considered it for a long time. Because of her status as a commoner and an orphan, Leah has suffered bullying and harm here. That is extremely unfair. From now on, I will ensure that such a thing never happens again within the Duke's estate. But I cannot guarantee that she won't face the same situation outside. Alan interrupts. What outside? Are you planning to send her away? A child that small wouldn't last a day out there. Dana and I are both so good to her. Why would she leave? The Duchess says. We have no intention of sending her away. But perhaps Laya herself wants to leave. We don't know her thoughts yet. Alan is stunned. Does Laya want to leave? I never thought of that possibility. The Duchess says, I feel the same way. So, just in case, should we make Laya a true member of the family? Lucio asks. What do you mean? Duke Illard says, I intend to formally adopt Leah, give her the Illard surname, and make her a member of the Duke's household. That way, no one will dare look down on her again. She can live her life with pride. Dana tilts her head. What is adoption? The Duchess hugs Dana. Adoption means that Sister Leah will become Dana's real older sister. Dana blinks, but she's already Dana's sister right now. The Duchess smiles. With a gentle gaze, she strokes the top of Dana's head. It seems you really like Leah. Dana narrows her eyes. Yes, I like her super much. Duke Illard looks at the other two. Since Dana agrees, what do you two think? If you also agree, Leah will become your younger sister. Alan is stunned. A younger sister? Lucio lowers his gaze. I don't like it. I object to adopting that child. The Duchess freezes. Why? Lucio turns his head. To me, Dana is my only sister. The envelope falls to the ground. I cover my mouth. I should be grateful just to be considered for adoption. But why? Lucio's voice echoes in the room. I do not agree. I tightly clutch the hem of my skirt. Will this expectation eventually turn into resentment? I suddenly look up, wiping away my tears. What am I thinking? Do I even have the right to resent them? The kindness given by the Duke's family is already too much. Even though I've experienced this once before, I still couldn't help but have expectations, expecting that this time would be different. They are a complete circle, and I have always stood outside that circle. I can't let them be troubled. I must hide these emotions. Now, I must prepare to live independently. A few days later, I hand over an envelope. The Duchess takes the letter. Should I just send it out like this? Leah nodded. Yes, please, the Duchess said. It took longer than I imagined. Was it difficult to write? Leah said. I didn't write anything special. It's just about the Bellis Grand Duchy. The more I learn about it, the more I feel it is a beautiful and wonderful place. The Duchess lowered her eyes. I see. Then, could it be that you... Alan pushed open the door. Mother, the carriage has arrived. The Duchess stood to the side. Let's go together. Time passed. The day for Lucio to return to the academy arrived. The Duchess gazed at Lucio. Be careful on the road. Though our time together was short, I will miss the times we spent drinking tea together, Lucio said. Once the festival begins, we will be able to see each other again. Don't be too sad. Leah remembered something. That guy Alan has been excited all this time, clamoring for everyone to go to the festival together. During the festival, the academy is always crowded with people. Lucio looked at Leah. Treat this place as your own home. Leah looked up. What? The corners of Lucio's mouth curled up slightly. I truly like that you are staying here. He reached out and brushed his fingers against the hair at Leah's temple. So from now on, stay here forever. He turned and walked toward the carriage. It's time to set off. The carriage wheels turned. It gradually moved further away. Leah stood in place. Why? He clearly said he didn't want us to become family. He clearly said having Dana as a sister was enough. But now he wants me to stay here. Lucio, I really cannot see through your heart at all. The Duchess clapped her hands. All right, don't you both have things to do? It's time for your afternoon lessons. Alan and Dana hunched their shoulders. As you wish, the Duchess looked at Leah. I need to go out for a while. Leah bowed slightly. As you wish, madam. The Duchess raised her hand. Please take good care of the children. Sunlight fell upon the outer walls of the Duke's estate. Only silence remained. Leah hugged the thick ancient book tightly. I don't understand. He used to reject me so coldly. Why use such gentle words to sway me now? She closed her eyes, letting out a long breath. Forget it. Stop thinking about it. It only gives me a headache. Her fingertips touched the pages. A slip of paper slid out. Leah leaned down to pick it up. What is this? Why was it tucked in here? The pages flipped through her fingers. Basic Noble Etiquette. Foundations of Imperial Protocols. Directory of Nobility 100. Leah stared at the densely packed handwriting. Do I have to read all of these? Could it be that Lucio wrote them? Every single book was filled with notes. Why did he give me these? She suddenly remembered something. In the future, I will frequently accompany Dana in and out of the Imperial Palace. I must fulfill my duties as an attendant. I am the person Dana trusts most. There must be no mistakes. Leah's mouth curled up. In that case, I had better not fail Lucio's expectations. Sunlight pierced through the high windows. It spilled into the empty corridor. The white flowers in the vase bloomed quietly. Leah recited in a low voice, repeatedly memorizing the words and sentences in the book. Alan tilted his head. Don't you feel tired? Leah looked up from the stack of books. What did you say? Alan stared at the thick stack of pages. You have been staying in the study for several days now. What exactly is so fun about it? He held his head with both hands, leaning back against the chair. Never mind. Just forget it. He glanced at your desk. Fundamentals of Magic. The Origin of Mana. Can she really understand them? Overview of Neighboring Countries. Why is she reading this? Could she be planning to go to the Bellis Grand Duchy? Alan stood up abruptly, supporting himself with his hands on the table. Tomorrow is finally arriving. Colorful flags snapped loudly in the wind. The Academy season officially opens. Leah, aren't you looking forward to tomorrow's celebration? Leah turned her face. Yes. Alan's brow furrowed. He clenched his teeth. He turned around suddenly, stalking toward the door. How boring, just a pile of worthless books. What's so great about them? He walked through the gallery alone. The sound of his footsteps echoed in the empty hall. It's not like I can't read. What's the big deal? His hair swayed slightly. A chill swept across the back of his neck. Alan was startled. There is actually a breeze. We are indoors. He looked around. Where is it blowing from? His gaze locked onto the depths of the bookshelves. A faint light flickered between the gaps. Alan held his breath. His pupils suddenly contracted. Leah suddenly lunged toward him. Alan was startled. Where did you come from? Weren't you reading? Leah lowered her head. You're She nudged Alan. The young lady's lessons are almost over. Shall we go to her door and give her a surprise? Alan backed away repeatedly, blocking with his hands in front of his chest. I get it. Now get out of my way. The two walked side by side toward the end of the gallery. Leah glanced back sideways. That was close. I was almost discovered. The secret space behind the bookshelves? I was too flustered when I first arrived here. I didn't notice it at all. But after staying in the library for a long time, I finally discovered this hidden area. If it were the old me, I would have definitely investigated it thoroughly in secret. But now I am just a servant. I shouldn't have too much curiosity, so I don't know what that place is used for either. Alan scratched the back of his head, looking irritated. Don't just pop out like that and scare people, Leah thought to herself. This was all to protect you. Please, don't be angry with me. Morning light spilled into the courtyard. The carriage was parked in front of the mansion. Dana leaned out of the carriage window, waving her small hand vigorously. Papa, am heading out. Duke Elard raised his hand. All right, he looked toward Leah. Be careful. Leah sat inside the carriage. Her breathing hitched. She showed a smile and nodded firmly. Okay. The wheels crushed the gravel. Driving out beyond the mansion gates, Duke Ellard stood in the light and shadow. Leah, I will make sure you have a place you can truly call home. The carriage sped through the woods, Alan said excitedly. When we get to the academy, let Askar show us his rainbow magic. He used to make so many bubbles for me. It's super amazing. Leah looked up sharply. Her pupils trembled slightly. Askar. Could it be Askar? That young Duke of Bellis? The heir to the Bellis Grand Duchy. A handsome man as famous as Lucio, and the grandson of the Marquise guarding the border. The corner of Lias's mouth curled up slightly. He is one of the few nobles who does not look down on commoners and treats them with respect. The academy spires pierced the clouds. Colorful flags fluttered loudly in the wind. We have arrived at the academy. Lias's mouth curled into a slight smile. Although I've been here many times, it's exceptionally beautiful today. The Duchess looked toward the clock tower. It seems we arrived a bit early, much earlier than the appointed time. Let's wait for Lucio to come out then. Steady footsteps approached from a distance. Lias's body stiffened. Her gaze froze in midair. The strange man's lips curled up slightly, showing a polite smile. Hello, I introduced myself at the last ball. Do you happen to remember me? I am Kenneth Pettit. A junior 1 year below Lucio. Leah suddenly held her breath. Kenneth Pettit. It's this bastard. He's the one who framed me for theft in my previous life. Kenneth knelt on one knee. This must be Lord Lucio's younger sister. Dana's face turned pale. Her body wouldn't stop trembling. She screamed and hid behind Alan. I don't like monsters. Kenneth froze on the spot. It seems the miss is a bit shy around strangers. A noblewoman stepped forward. Duchess? She fluttered her folding fan. I heard some noise, so I came over to look. Long time no see. The Duchess nodded. Hello, everyone, the blonde noblewoman said, opening her arms. Let's not stand around here. Let's go have a chat. There's still plenty of time. The Duchess looked at Alan. Wait here for your brother. Go inside once he arrives. He'll be back shortly. Kenneth turned around hurriedly. Then let me lead everyone to the most famous cafe on Academy Street. Alan patted Dana's shoulder. They're gone. You can look up now. Dana raised her head. Are they really gone? Alan nodded. If any strangers try to talk to you again in the future, just hide behind me. Dana pointed at the counter. Then I want to buy that blue one over there. Leah sighed. Dana recovers so quickly. Leah pressed a hand on Alan's shoulder. You stay here. I'll be right back. So we don't miss young Master Lucio. Alan reached into his pocket. The money is here. Leah held up a heavy coin pouch. I'll buy it for her. Please wait a moment. Alan's eyes widened. So rich. Taz looked at Jack. You follow Leah. Jack straightened his back. Yes. All right. Leah leaned over the counter. 2 of the blue ones. Red, green, and yellow. 1 of each. She turned her head toward Jack. You should have one too. I'll buy it for you. Jack was stunned. For me? Leah nodded firmly. Yes. Jack lowered his eyes. He remained silent. The heavy coin pouch slammed onto the counter. Leah looked up in shock. Jack said, pay with this. As for the change, I don't need money. You keep it. Leah whipped her head around. What are you talking about? The future is unpredictable, yet you say you don't need money. As the saying goes, money in your pocket keeps your heart at ease. Take it back, quickly. Jack looked at her. The way you talk is exactly like an old lady. The clerk set down the drinks. Stop arguing, your order is ready. Leah flashed a smile. Thank you, I'll pay. Leah watched Jack's back. Jack doesn't seem to understand what I'm saying at all. He completely disregards the importance of money. This is really a problem. Jack carried the basket. Leah walked by his side. The sound of the fountain's water splashed loudly. Leah pointed her finger at Jack. Look over there. Jack turned his head, following her fingertip. His gaze fell in the distance. In the center of the square, a statue stood tall. Clear spring water gushed upward. Sunlight pierced through the mist, refracting into tiny glints of light. Jack stopped walking. Why did we come here? Leah turned her head. Don't, you know? Toss a coin into that angel statue and make a wish, and the wish will come true. This is a famous landmark on Academy Street. Jack rested his chin on his hand. Lost in thought, Leah observed Jack's expression. As expected, he doesn't believe in this sort of thing, does he? That's actually more sensible. Memories surfaced in her mind. Leah knelt before the fountain. She clasped her hands together. Please, let me not go hungry again today. I hope that when I am in pain, someone will ask me if I am okay. She shook her head violently. Forget all that. Only achieving one thing is useless. The legend says you have to toss a coin, but I don't even have a single coin. It seems the wish will never come true. Footsteps stopped behind her. Here's a coin. Leah snapped her eyes open. Her pupils trembled slightly. Lucio opened his palm. A gold coin lay in his hand. Toss it in and make a wish. Leah was stunned. This much money? Lucio's gaze was cold. Just take it. Lia's body shivered. Her gaze locked onto that gold coin. He tossed the gold coin into the water. This money was enough for a full meal. Or to find a warm and comfortable place to sleep, but I still want to make that wish. Leah closed her eyes tight. Whether it's parents, brothers, or distant relatives, I truly want to find my family. Jack turned his head. Do you want to try too? Leah. Lia suddenly snapped back to reality. I'm fine. It's all just superstition anyway. She started walking. Let's go quickly. Everyone must be waiting for us. Even though a whole gold coin was tossed in, the wish still didn't come true. Jack carried the basket, walking in the middle of the street. He looked back. Do you want to make a wish come true?